And I thought she was praising you. So can you see any flaws in me? Xiao Yi suddenly realized that the reason why Yuya, who was known as the most beautiful teaching assistant, invited him here was because of her physical defect, not because he was the top scorer in the college entrance examination. Yuya poured herself another glass of strong liquor with a rich aroma, and drank it all in one gulp with a slightly sad look on her pretty face. She explained, "After my husband died at the hands of a demon beast, my realm has remained at the 10th level of the Great Venerable. 100 years have passed, and I have tried thousands of ways, but I have not been able to advance to the supreme realm." Gulp. Liuya drank one strong liquor after another, her face flushed with drunkenness, and continued, "I want to be promoted to the supreme and avenge my husband. I must kill that supreme Pegasus monster." Nangong Saya and Cheng Bingshi were touched when they heard this. The teaching assistant is so infatuated. "Yes, you will definitely be promoted to the supreme and avenge your sacrificed husband. You will." Nangong Saya grabbed Xiao Yi's face with her greasy hands and said, "Xiao Yi, don't you know how to solve the template problem? It was you who solved my template problem back then. You must help teaching assistant Liu solve the template problem." Xiao Yi's mouth twitched and he slapped away Nangong Saya's greasy little hand, leaving his face covered in grease. "I'll let you eat it all with your mouth when the time comes." Upon hearing this, the most beautiful assistant Liu stared at Xiao Yi in amazement and said, "You can not only solve the physical defect but also the template problem?" Xiao Yi nodded helplessly and said, "Teacher assistant, I have a chance to solve the template problem, but I can't guarantee that I can solve it." The most beautiful assistant teacher Liu suddenly started breathing rapidly and became very excited. It took her a long time before she gradually calmed down. At the back of the space, an exclamation mark appeared in Yun Bing's beautiful eyes as she was observing in secret. "Can this kid solve the template problem? Why didn't he tell me? Can he solve my template problem?" Nangong Sayao's words not only excited the most beautiful assistant Liuya, but also froze Yun Bing, who was in the dark. Because of the template problem, Yun Bing was ready to distance himself from Xiao Yi, and push Xiao Yi to Liuya step by step, letting Liuya teach knowledge and train Xiao Yi specifically, just like a private tutor, and let Liuya answer all the questions that Xiao Yi had. But now, Xiao Yi said that he can solve the template problem? This caused Yun Bing's brain to crash. Liuya twisted her sexy and charming body to come to Xiao Yi's side, grabbed Xiao Yi's shoulders with both hands and got close to him. Her little face excitedly said, "Xiao Yi, can you show me if you can solve my template problem?" Xiao Yi frowned. Liuya was too close to him. The smell of alcohol from her nose sprayed on his face, making his face itchy. "Wait a moment, this is a technical job, I have to check it carefully. Sorry, this is a necessary procedure." Xiao Yi stretched out his hand and pressed Liuya's face and body a few times, pretending to check something. Liuya's face turned red, but she didn't stop. Nangong Saya, Cheng Bingshi, and the peeping Tom Yun Bing were all attracted and watched intently. Xiao Yi frowned and turned on the template adjuster's detection function. Template adjuster exploring. SSS level ghost cat template, Liuya incomplete template. Problem 1. Because the man did not agree to the forced separation of the contract, it caused a huge cost, resulting in the loss of the template rule crystals, forming an incomplete template. He cannot sign a contract with anyone, and cannot use any treasures below the law level to summon the spirit cat summon beast. Problem 2. The template is incomplete. Not only can the realm not be improved, but it will gradually regress over time until the realm returns to zero. One solution: add 2 pieces of Fateral fragment crystals to completely solve the problem of incomplete templates. Dissolution. Combine the human body acupuncture point massage chart to a dry energy and stabilize the state. The detected information was displayed on Xiao Yi's retina. After reading it, Xiao Yi understood the situation of assistant teacher Yuya and then used the system's exploration function to explore Yuya's current realm. SSS level spirit cat template. Realm, Great Venerable 1 star. As expected, Liuya's realm at this time was not the first under the Supreme, the Great Venerable 10-star realm, as the Student Union President Cheng Yi said, but it was reduced to the Great Venerable 1-star realm. 10 minutes passed, and seeing Xiao Yi's hands pressing on Liuya's charming body, Yun Bing, who was at the back of the space, suddenly got a little angry and said, "Xiao Yi, you old pervert. Touching me is not enough, you even touched the most beautiful teaching assistant." Yun Bing is jealous. After 10 minutes, Liuya couldn't stand the hands on her body anymore. She said with a slightly awkward expression on her pretty face, "Student Xiao Yi, have you found anything?" Xiao Yi's hands froze. He had already discovered it, but he was addicted to the massage, so he pressed it for 10 minutes. But Xiao Yi's face remained calm and he said, "There's a result." Xiao Yi didn't feel ashamed at all. It was her hand that pressed the teaching assistant Liuya. What did it have to do with him? Xiao Yi? Chapter 67. Xiao Yi takes action. Solve Liuya's defect. Xiao Yi, what did you see? Nangong Sayo felt that Xiao Yi was taking advantage of her. When Xiao Yi showed her the template, he had never pressed it like this. Xiao Yi frowned and hesitated for a moment, then looked at Liuya. His sword-like brows furrowed into a shape of a river. Assistant teacher Liu was panicked and said, "Kokathis lie. If you can't find anything, then press for another 10 minutes. Xiao Yi shook his head, his eyes solemnly said. Teacher's assistant, you lied. A reason why your template has problems is because you forcibly terminated the contract without your husband's consent, which caused a huge and unbearable price. Everyone present was shocked. Is this true? There is actually such a secret. Assistant teacher Liuya widened her beautiful eyes, her expression became unbelievable, and said excitedly, You can see this. Xiao Yi nodded. Assistant. There are rumors outside that after your husband died at the hands of the monster, the power of the contract was automatically released, but the facts are completely the opposite. With a thump, assistant teacher Liuya collapsed on the broken stone chair next to Xiao Yi, her expression revealing hatred. A trace of hatred surged from her heart, and anger appeared on her pretty face. She said, Yes, that damned guy started having an affair on the first day he signed the contract with me, and he kept it a secret from me until that day more than 100 years ago, when I castrated him and forcibly lifted the power of the contract between us. Then he became furious and rushed into the range of the Supreme Magic Beast by accident, and died at the hands of the Supreme Magic Beast. I am even very grateful to that Supreme Demon Beast. That damned beast deserved death. His death has relieved the hatred in my heart. Perhaps it was because teaching assistant Liuya drank too much strong liquor, and she did not mobilize her energy to dispel the alcohol, so she fell into a state of drunkenness and began to show her true side. You stinky men deserve to die. Since then, I have been wearing clothes with very little fabric every day, just to seduce you and make you want it but not get it. Xiao Yi touched his nose and felt embarrassed. But Liuya was also unfortunate because the person who signed the contract betrayed her on the first day. The Supreme King of King Kong was also unfortunate. The goddess he had pursued for a long time was cheated on by someone else after he signed a contract with her. Nan Gong Xiao and the other girl, as well as Yun Bing in the dark, widened their beautiful eyes in surprise. Unexpectedly, Liu Yana's husband, who had been dead for more than 100 years, was unfaithful and was punished with death. Didn't expect that. Did you, classmate Xiao Yi? You must not mess with girls casually, otherwise these two little sisters will take advantage of you while you are sleeping. Liu Yi raised her hand and made a scissors gesture with a smile on her face. Suddenly, Nan Gong Xiao, Sheng Bingxi and Yun Bing looked at Xiao Yi suddenly, with a hint of coldness in their eyes. Xiao Yi hastily assured the two women, I have always been a clean person and I would never mess around with anyone. Unless you can't help it. Nan Gong Xiao rushed over and said with a grin, Of course you won't, I can't bear to castrate you. Sheng Bingxi blushed and said, Me too. Xiao Yi turned the topic to Liu Yi and said, Assistant Liu, your realm must have regressed a lot in the past 100 years, right? Liuya was shocked. She opened her flaming red lips and said in astonishment, You are amazing. This can all be checked out. That's right, ever since I forcibly terminated the contract, my realm has been regressing no matter what method I use. I can't stop this trend. And the most beautiful assistant Liuya stared at Xiao Yi closely and said, Brother Xiao Yi, do you have a solution? Xiao Yi hesitated and said, Yes, I do, but I can only solve the problem of your realm regression. As for the main problem with the template, I don't have the materials to solve it for you right now. Assistant teacher Liuya was shocked and very happy. The goddess in the dark, Vice Dean Yun Bing, held her breath, afraid to miss any word Xiao Yi said. Assistant teacher Liuya was very surprised and asked, So, as long as there are enough materials, you can solve my template problem? Xiao Yi nodded, but then shook his head, frowned and remained silent. Seeing Xiao Yi didn't say anything, Yun Bing snorted and thought to himself, This bastard, nodding and shaking his head. What does he mean? It's really frustrating. Xiao Yi had no choice. Liuya's template lacked pieces of fake rule fragment crystals, but rule fragments were too high-end and there was no way to obtain them. Crystallization of fragments of the rules of creation. Assistant teacher, do you know this thing? Xiao Yi asked. Liuya's expression froze, a look of disappointment appeared on her face, and she said, I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. With her status, it was normal for her to have heard of some high-end materials, but this kind of overly high-end material was too difficult to obtain. Yun Bing's pretty face turned red with embarrassment. She knew this thing and also had a way to obtain it, but it was very difficult to get this thing. She had to pay a huge price to have a chance of getting one or two. Xiao Yi comforted him, That can't be helped, but I can help the teaching assistant solve the problem of regression. Liuya felt less disappointed and said happily, Then I'll have to trouble brother Xiao Yi. Xiao Yi glanced at Liuya's charming body and tried to ask, This kind of defect requires physical contact. You won't castrate me afterwards, right? Liuya was in delight and quickly shook her head to indicate no. Yun Bing, Who was at the back of the space, snorted coldly, "This bastard is really lucky. The only 3 goddesses in Kunpeng Battle Academy have all had intimate physical contact with him." Xiao Yi continued, "Assistant, my method is a human ACU point massage passed down from our ancestors. You need to take off all your clothes and then perform a full-scale ACU point massage." Xiao Yi made his words very clear, and Liuya also realized that if she insisted, she would probably be seen and touched naked. But Liuya really didn't want to endure the mental pain caused by her regression in realm over the past 100 years. She would definitely be promoted to the Supreme Realm and become the 11th Supreme in Demon City. But since that incident, not only did she fail to be promoted to the Supreme, many of her halos left her, and her realm dropped again and again. Liuya speculated that in a few months, his realm would definitely drop to the Venerable Realm. The realm of the Venerable and the realm of the Great Venerable are as different as heaven and earth. In the end-time Blue Star era, cultivation is the foundation and realm is everything. Liuya does not want to lose the realm of the Great Venerable. After figuring it out, Liuya said solemnly, "Father Xiao Yi, I'm totally fine." Half an hour later, everyone was full and satisfied. Nangong Saya, O and Qingbing she lay there, patting their bulging bellies contentedly. Liuya went into the bathroom, trying to wash off the smell of alcohol. Xiao Yi was familiarizing himself with the template adjuster and the Liu Special Human ACU Point Massage catalog provided. About 10 minutes later, Liuya, barring only a bath towel, led Xiao Yi into the Syrian-style Wasim boudoir bedroom. After locking the door, Liuya threw away the towel, lay there, and urged, "Xiao Yi, don't be nervous. Come on." Chapter 68, being pushed against the wall by the goddess Dean. A white cylinder comes into view. Xiao Yi took a quick look at her and found that Liuya had an explosive body, just like the goddess Vice President Yun Bing, but she was full of the charm of a young woman. Xiao Yi cannot describe this charm, but those who understand it will understand it. A blush appeared on Liuya's delicate face, and her whole body tensed up. Seeing that Xiao Yi was still not moving, she urged him, "Brother Xiao Yi, don't be nervous, come quickly." Xiao Yi raised his eyebrows, his eyes revealing surprise. "Good man, it's obviously you who are nervous." Xiao Yi put on the massage gloves with a normal expression. He prepared them specially to prevent his hands from being marinated. Next, Xiao Yi took out a blue Tao energy ball from the system space and started the massage journey according to the diagram given by the template adjuster. Start by transmitting Tao energy from the occupants at the spiritual C position on the head, neck, upper part. Half an hour passed. But when massaging Liuya's lower part, she suddenly had a stress reaction. "No, sorry, no one has touched me for more than 100 years. Liuya buried her head under the pillow and said shyly. Xiao Yi wiped his face and said, "And I skipped this step?" "Liuya, then will the effect be weakened?" Xiao Yi pondered and said, "Yes." "Liuya then continue, don't skip any steps." Xiao Yi took a deep breath, trying to calm himself down, and then continued. Lower part, back, posterior, legs, feet. After another half an hour, it was finally completed. There are 720 acupuncture points in the human body. This project was more complicated, and Xiao Yi put in a lot of effort to complete it. A main reason was that Liuya was a little sensitive and had several stress reactions. After the massage, Xiao Yi ran out as if running for his life. Scary, 10 times scarier than Nangong Sayao back then. Liuya felt too embarrassed to face anyone. After being a widow teaching assistant for more than 100 years, this was the first time she lost her composure like this. However, when the most beautiful assistant Liuya felt the mysterious Taoist energy flowing through her meridians, she was immediately surprised. Her state of mind, which was about to decline at any moment, actually stopped. Liuya threw away her shyness and surprise and did a backflip onto the floor in Assyrian style. "It's amazing. It really stopped my downward spiral." Liuya waved her arms on the ground, and then performed a set of punch and kick moves. Suddenly the room was filled with noises and a faint fragrance. Outside, Xiao Yi fled into the bathroom. He said in a slightly depressed mood, "It's too bad that the gloves were worn in vain. The clothes were all pickled and smelled. It was all Yuya's fault because of her stress reaction. It can't be washed off, and it has a faint fragrance." Suddenly a voice came from behind. "Xiao Yi, it smells good." "Smells good?" Xiao Yi turned around and saw that it was the charming and domineering Sister Yun Bing who was staring at him with murderous intent. Xiao Yi was startled by this sudden scene and asked, "Sister Yun Bing, why are you here?" Yun Bing was wearing a purple dress with a pair of long white legs underneath. Doesn't she like to wear stockings? Why didn't she wear them today? Xiao Yi was a little confused. The goddess Vice President Yun Bing pouted, as if she was angry, and said with a resentful look, "Xiao Yi, why didn't you tell me that you can solve the template problem?" Xiao Yi was stunned by Yun Bing's resentful look. Yun Bing pushed Xiao Yi into a corner and pressed him against the wall. "I don't care, just tell me right now how to solve the problem with my template." Xiao Yi was pressed against the wall. Looking at Yun Bing's beautiful face so close to him, his breath hit his face. He felt a little overwhelmed and said quickly, "Sister Yun Bing, your template problem requires a fortune-type rule fragment crystal into space-type rule fragment crystals to be completely solved. It's useless for me to tell you. I don't have this thing, and we weren't close before. So it's not convenient for me to tell you. One is of the creation type, and two are of the space type." Yun Bing remembered this in his heart. And with a smile on his face, he said happily, "Then if I find all three crystals, can you guarantee that you can solve my template problem?" This template problem has troubled her for more than 1,000 years. Moreover, her twin sister Yun Shi has also been troubled by the template problem for more than 1,000 years. Yun Bing takes it very seriously. Xiao Yi nodded solemnly and said, "Sister Yun Bing, as long as I have these three rule fragment crystals, I can guarantee that your template problem will be fixed." Yun Bing was very surprised. "Okay, I'll go find it right away. Wait for me." "Yeah," Xiao Yi nodded. Suddenly his pupils widened. And a pretty face quickly came close and kissed him on the mouth. Xiao Yi only felt a little cold, and something extra appeared in his pocket, and then the goddess vice president Yun Bing disappeared. "Oh no, we were ambushed. You are so bad, Yun Bing. You have no moral principles. As the vice president, you are the holy and noble goddess in the hearts of all students. Even students are being attacked." He cursed and swore, expressing his disgust and hatred for such behavior. Then he changed the subject and said, "At least come here openly. It's not like I won't give it to you. It was only 0.5 seconds, and there is no summary of experience. It should have been at least 10 minutes. What about writing a graduation thesis? You also need to experience and summarize." Xiao Yi already knew that ever since he entered the home of the most beautiful assistant teacher Liu Ya, he had been under the attention of the goddess vice president Yun Bing. Otherwise Yun Bing would not have suddenly said those words. However, Xiao Yi didn't know where Yun Bing had gone and whether she could really obtain the fragments of rules. Bang, bang, bang! There was a knock on the door. And then a pleasant widow's voice with concern came in. "Xiao Yi, are you scared? I'm so sorry. I promise I won't do that again next time. Can you come out and talk?" Xiao Yi's mouth twitched, and he replied, "No, I am a tough man. I can fight to the death with aliens in wars, and I can also cook in the kitchen. How can I be scared by such a small scene?" He cleaned it casually, and then with a bang, a tremendous amount of energy burst out from his body, forcibly expelling the wet moisture and drying the clothes. A minute later, Xiao Yi tidied himself up and walked out. However, the smell kept lingering on my body, and the only way to solve it was to go back and change clothes. Nangong Xiao and Sheng Bing fell asleep in the chairs hugging each other, with crystal clear saliva flowing from the corners of their mouths and solidifying on their white cheeks. At the side, the neatly dressed teaching assistant Liu Ya saw Xiao Yi coming out of the bathroom and said happily, "Xiao Yi, my realm has finally stopped falling." Chapter 16. The powerful function of the origin level rare treasure, extracting the crystals of rule fragments. Xiao Yi uses the template adjuster to explore the function. Template adjuster exploring. SSS level ghost cat template, Liu Ya incomplete. Problem: forced termination of the contract leads to the loss of the rule fragment crystals, resulting in incomplete templates. You cannot contract with anyone and cannot improve your realm. Solution: to fate rule fragments crystallize to complete the incomplete template and completely solve the template problem. Liu Ya's realm regression problem was indeed temporarily solved. Facing the joy of the most beautiful teaching assistant Liu Ya, Xiao Yi couldn't bear to reply, "Sister teaching assistant, this is only temporary. After half a month, your realm will still regress." A hint of doubt appeared on Liu Ya's mature and delicate face. Xiao Yi took out a ball from the system's face that had faded in color and only had a little Dao Rime energy left, and said, "Assistant sister, you should be able to sense that when I massage you, I replenish this Dao Rime energy, so that your template can be stabilized a little and your realm will not regress. In about half a month, the Dao Rime energy in your body will disappear completely." Liu Ya understood and her expression became panicked. "So what do you mean?" Xiao Yi nodded. "That's right, you have to replenish this Dao Yan energy every half a month. Otherwise your realm will continue to decline. Besides, I don't have many of these Daoyan energy balls." With a thud, Liu Ya collapsed on the chair. Her beautiful face showed despair as she said, "So, in the end, I will still become weaker step by step, and finally become an ordinary person without a realm." Liu Ya took the Daoyan energy ball and looked at it, then said in a jerky tone, "The Daoyan energy can only be used by the Supreme Realm." The joy on her face completely disappeared, replaced by deep despair. Xiao Yi asked, "Teaching assistant sister, don't you have this kind of thing?" Liu Ya said in despair, "The Daorim energy is only contained in the crystal cores of the supreme beasts." "A crystal core of a supreme beast? Where can I find one for a great venerable like me?" Xiao Yi was silent. I didn't expect that the Daoyan energy ball purified from the Xuanhuang gemstone would be so awesome. It is worthy of being a law-level treasure. The Xuanhuang gem, which starts out as the supreme one. Looking at Liu Ye lying there in dejection, Xiaoyi's brows were furrowed into a shape of a river shape. It's a pity that Liu Ye is not his wife, otherwise Xiaoyi would definitely find a way to complete Liu Ye's template. Although Liu Ye is a 100-year widow, she is chaste and has never had any affairs. She has never touched a man in the past 100 years, otherwise she would not be so sensitive during massage and have a stress reaction. If possible, Xiaoyi said he wouldn't mind. Oh, right. Xiaoyi, Liu Ye narrowed her eyes, you said you can use to fate rule fragment crystals to solve my template problem? There was still a faint fragrance on Xiaoyi's clothes. Which was Liu Ye's body fragrance. He nodded, yes. Liu Ye suddenly sat up straight. Took out a communication device from her arms, and dialed one number after another. After stating her needs, she heard a series of awkward words from the other end. These words shattered the hope in Liu Ye's heart once again. Creation of fate rule fragments? Sorry, teacher. I've never heard of this thing. Rule fragment crystals, or good fortune. This requires the peak of the supreme realm to obtain. I'm sorry, teacher, I don't have such a high-end treasure. Otherwise I would definitely give it to you. Sorry. Well, teacher, you should go find a great supreme 10-star. We weaklings like us, who are only great venerable 10-star, can't do it. Liu Ye made more than 100 calls in total, all of which were her students' numbers, but in the end no one could produce the rule fragment crystal. In the back, Liu Ye was slumped decadent lie on a stone chair, her beautiful eyes staring blankly at the communication device. Suddenly she called King Kong Supreme. Hey Liu Ye, this is the first time you've called me in 100 years, I'm so happy, what do you want from me? Liu Ye said word by word, to pieces of creation rule fragment crystals. King Kong Supreme paused. A little embarrassed, this Liu Ye, it's not that I don't want to help you. You also know that I have just entered the supreme realm not long ago, and I'm not qualified to take the rule fragment crystal. This thing can only be obtained by a top-level supreme being who has comprehended some kind of rules in Dao Rhyme, and at a great cost in the turbulence of the world. Liu Ye ignored it and said, if you help me get to fate rule fragment crystals, I will be your lover. You have always had a crush on me. Right? Here is the chance for you. Fuck, Liu Ye? Are you serious? King Kong Supreme was very shocked. Liu Ye, really? More real than real gold? King Kong Supreme was silent for a long time before he said, no need, I already have a family. So we can just be friends. But I will use my connections and try to get it for you. Liu Ye's beautiful eyes, which were extremely dim, lit up. How long will it take? King Kong Supreme made an estimate and said, if it's fast, it will take 100 years. If it's slow, I'll be promoted to the supreme or the supreme peak. It will take me 300 years to get it for you. Liu Ye's mouth twitched, and her beautiful eyes dimmed again. Thank you. After saying that, she hung up the phone. In 100 years, her realm would probably have returned to zero. She could only find a way to get some supreme realm crystal cores and let Xiaoyi massage them to prevent her realm from regressing. However, as a great venerable, she must pay a huge price to obtain the crystal core of the supreme monster. Suddenly, a cold mechanical voice from the system sounded beside Xiaoyi's ears. Trigger mission. Enter the top 10 of Kunpeng Battle Academy's prodigy ranking. Reward to fate rule fragment crystals. Just as Xiaoyi was delighted, a template adjuster also sent out several messages. Template adjuster's third function, can extract rule fragment crystals from Warcraft. Grandmaster Realm Magical Beast, Grandmaster Realm Magical Beast. Extract at least one rule fragment crystal in its entirety. Venerable and Great Venerable Realm Monsters, extract at least 2 rule fragment crystals completely. The Supreme Beast that has initially come into contact with Daoyun, at least 3. Sacred Realm Magical Beasts that have initially come into contact with the law, at least 4. There is loss during the extraction process, so it is not possible to completely extract all the crystals in the template. Xiaoyi stood up from the chair in a flash. He was surprised, really surprised. He actually ignored the role of the template adjuster from the beginning to the end. Template adjuster, this is a top-level treasure of the origin level. He can easily extract the rule fragment crystals that only the top supreme beings can barely obtain from Warcraft. Even the Grandmaster level Warcraft can do it. The creation rule fragment crystals only required to Grandmaster level magical beasts. Chapter 70, Receive the Mission, Actual Combat Training Base. Please collect. Receive the mission. Xiaoyi accepted the system task anyway. Completing the task did not conflict with the use of the template adjuster. Looking at the teaching assistant Liu Ye who was lying there in despair, Xiaoyi comforted her. Teaching assistant sister, you don't have to prepare for the worst. Think about the positive side. Maybe you can solve the template problem soon. Liu Ye pulled the corners of her mouth stiffly, revealing a bitter smile, and responded without hope, you are right, a miracle may happen. She didn't believe in miracles. A miracle hadn't happened in more than 100 years. How could she expect one now? Next, Xiao Yi brought the two women back to Villa 1, which was a few hundred meters away. It was quite late at this time, so Xiao Yi simply fell asleep. The next day, Xiao Yi got up early and checked the official website. To kill monsters, the Magic City Beast Tamer Academy has a special outdoor combat base called the Actual Combat Training Base. The academy specially captures monsters from the wilderness for students from the 10 colleges of the Magic City Academy to practice in actual combat. Those captured monsters were screened. Their combat power was generally not very high, and their realm was also average. It is most suitable for Xiao Yi to extract the rule fragment crystals. However, to go to the practical training base, you need to apply for qualifications from the class teacher. Half an hour later, a Jiaoyi class, a huge class. All the students were in place, and the two class teachers and the most beautiful teaching assistant Liuya were also watching, and the teacher who taught the first class. It has to be said that the Tianjiaoyi class is the elite class of the academy. Students do not have to run around to go to other classrooms to attend classes. Teachers of all subjects must come to the Tianjiaoyi class to teach. This class is Introduction to Warcraft on the 360-degree virtual screen. All kinds of strange-looking monsters appear. There are more than 100 kinds of monsters, including Violent King Kong, Ancient Titan, Dark Night Wolf, Spirit Disc, Golden Eagle, etc., including appearance characteristics, weaknesses, habits, etc. In a 2-hour class, more than 100 monsters were introduced. Xiao Yi has a very strong memory and he remembers everything after reading it once. After listening to this class, some geniuses felt that Warcraft was not scary at all and threatened to kill it. Before the get out of class ended, the teacher solemnly warned, "The battlefield is ever-changing, and the monsters will not actively expose their weaknesses for you to attack. This class is just an introduction to the basics of monsters, and there is no actual combat teaching yet. Don't be complacent." Unfortunately, many of the genius contractors did not take it seriously and threatened to go to the Void God Tower. The Tower of Virtual God is the same tower that all candidates enter during the college entrance examination. All the monsters in the tower are transformed by great magical powers. If students are injured in the tower, they will only feel mentally exhausted when they leave the tower, but will not suffer any actual harm. There was only one class a day, and Xiao Yi brought to school animal-eared girls to the class teacher. At this time, the most beautiful teaching assistant Liuya was chatting with two class teachers, and they were all very satisfied with the teaching of this class. However, in the class just now, the teaching assistant Liuya paid special attention to Xiao Yi, while other students ignored him, as if he was the only student. "Class teacher, I want to apply to go to the actual combat training base." Xiao Yi made a request. The male class teacher frowned and said, "No, a combat training base is only for sophomores and above. You are only a freshman. If you want to get in touch with Warcraft, just go to the Void God Tower." Nan Gong Xiao panted and said, "Class teacher, the Void God Tower is too enchaling and we have to kill real monsters." Nan Gong Xiao didn't know why Xiao Yi was going to the actual combat training base, but she didn't think about it and directly supported Xiao Yi. The female class teacher smiled and said, "You have pride, which is good. But classmate Nan Gong, classmate Xiao Yi, the actual combat training base is not the Void God Tower. People can I there?" Xiao Yi asked, "What if I insist on going?" Cheng Bingshi nodded, "Yes. We are going there." The two class teachers stared with frowns, feeling that Xiao Yi, Nan Gong Xiao, and Cheng Bingshi were troublemakers. If they refused forcefully, they would definitely annoy Xiao Yi and the other 3 top-ranking geniuses, but if they agreed, it might put Xiao Yi and the other 2 in danger. In the Magic Capital Beast Tamer Academy, all students from the 10 colleges must be familiar with various types of magic beasts. After fighting with various types of magic beasts in the Virtual God Tower, they will be promoted to the sophomore year and then be led by their teachers to the practical training base for real combat. But those are sophomores and freshmen who have never even seen a real Warcraft. Why would they go to a combat training base? The atmosphere became solemn and the two class teachers were in a dilemma. At this time, Liuya, who had been staring at Xiao Yi and blushing from time to time, stepped forward and said to the class teacher, "How about this? I'll take Xiao Yi and the other 2 to the actual combat training base, and I'll be responsible for their safety." The 2 class teachers breathed a sigh of relief. The male class teacher smiled and said, "Since Teacher Liu has said so, then Xiao Yi, you guys can go. But after you get there, remember not to run around and don't leave Assistant Teacher Liu too far." Assistant Teacher Liu is the number 1 person under the Supreme, so the 2 class teachers are very relieved. And Xiao Yi and the other 2 followed Liuya, boarded the helicopter and headed to the combat training base. When the students in the Tianjiaoyi class learned that Xiao Yi and the other 2 were going to fight real monsters, they were all shocked. "Awesome, I was mumbling about going to the Void God Tower to kill monsters, but he went straight to the wild and started killing people. This is the top scholar. There will be blood and injuries there. Do you dare to go? Anyway, I don't dare to go. I'm not afraid of you laughing at me if I tell you, but I don't dare. At this moment, the impression of Xiao Yi and the other two in the minds of the geniuses suddenly became taller. Half an hour later, Liu took Xiao Yi and the other two to conduct a test under the tall iron gate of the actual combat training base. Professor Liu, you're here. The 4 or 5 burly security guards obviously knew Liuya. Liu nodded and said, is it okay to bring 3 students here for some training? The burly security guard said, yes. There is no need for testing. Another burly security guard said, yes, that's right. These 3 students are so lucky to have Professor Li personally bring them to practice. Then, Liuya brought Xiao Yi and the other 2 in. Several strong guards looked at the 4 people going away inside. Liuya's still as sexy as ever. If I could spend a night with her, I would be willing to lose 10 years of my life. Forget it. Even though she's wearing sexy clothes, she's just a poisonous rose with thorns. Yes, I think she was deliberately tempting us and making fun of us for not being able to get it. Liuya's dress at this time was still so bold, revealing the tender belly and long white legs. She twisted her waist sexily and led Xiao Yi and the other 2 in front. Liuya vaguely heard what the strong men said, but she didn't take it seriously. She was happy to see men wanting her but unable to get her. However, when Liuya thought of how she lost her composure in front of Xiao Yi yesterday, her pretty face couldn't help but blush. A minute later, after passing through many tall walls, the 3 of them arrived at a jungle. The long-armed violent ape, the fire marmot, the poisonous glasses king. One monster after another came into view. Liuya transforms into a ghost cat girl with cat ears and animal ears. Xiao Yi and the other to mobilize the power of the contract and transformed into summon beasts, a 3-2-head golden dragon and a holy 2-tailed white fox. The crystallization of rule fragments is coming. Chapter 71 Surprise, Crazy Extraction of Rule Fragment Crystals. After a holiday replenishment, the number of monsters in this jungle has doubled. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 magical beasts surrounded Xiao Yi and his 3 companions. Cat-eared girl Liuya leisurely shook the furry tail on her leather pants and said, do you need my help? Unnecessary. The 3-2-head golden dragon roared and rose into the air, its long and narrow body shining brightly in the sunlight. Cat-eared girl Liuya came to a towering tree in a flash, leaned her graceful body on a thick branch, took out a bag of melon seeds from her pocket and ate it, watching with interest. She wanted to know how capable the so-called top scorer in the college entrance examination really was. She had heard about it from Vice Dean Yun Bing before, but now she was seeing it with her own eyes. Hearing about it was never as interesting as seeing it with one's own eyes. 20 meters high in the air, it hovered in the air, its golden vertical pupils constantly looking at the monster below. In fact, it was Xiao Yi who was observing. Information about the black wolf, eagle, magic snake, and giant python appeared in Xiao Yi's retina. Template adjuster exploring. Grandmaster Rao 1-star demonic snake can extract a rule fragment crystal. 7th order black wolf cannot be extracted. Level 3 eagle unreachable. Grandmaster 3-star eagle can extract a rule fragment crystal. Grandmaster level 4-star frozen python can extract a rule fragment crystal. Level for black wolf unreachable. Under the frequent death state, it is easy to extract successfully. Xiao Yi had a goal in mind: which monster could extract the rule fragment crystals and which one could not. Yin. A mysterious spiritual wave spread out from the 3-2-head golden dragon. In an instant, it covered the entire jungle. At this time, all the water elements in the jungle leapt up, resonating and vibrating with the control of the 3-2-head golden dragon. Conceptual talent skills. Water element control. As the name suggests, you have absolute control over the water element. You are the king of the water. The master level eagle flew over, with its sharp claws raised high, making a loud noise, trying to grab the golden dragon's tail. Solidify, the 3-2-head golden dragon said secretly. The eagle began to freeze from the surface, then seeped into the body. The blood, muscles, and bones quickly froze in the blink of an eye. The eagle was completely frozen from the inside out. A huge block of ice fell from the sky and hit a first-level black wolf with a bang, killing it. The 3-star eagle at the Grand Master level is also in a state of near death. Extract. A vast and deep force like the deep space of the universe descended upon the eagle and the black wolf. Xiao Yi tried to extract the rule fragment crystals of the eagle beast. But something surprising happened. The eagle let out an extremely tragic cry, and its entire body became dilapidated and filled with deathly aura. Then it exploded into a bloody mist with a bang, and the scene was filled with a foul smell of blood. Extraction successful. The eagle was in better condition, but the first-level black wolf was instantly turned into nothingness, without even a trace left. Extraction failed. Tip: the body strength of Warcraft below the Grand Master level is too low to support the crystallization of rule fragments. Is that so? Xiao Yi understood. It turns out that the extraction of crystals of materialized rule fragments is also related to the strength of the Warcraft's body. No wonder the higher the level of the Warcraft, the more crystals can be extracted. Xiao Yi checked the system's face. Sure enough, a rule fragment crystal appeared there, with an extremely mysterious rule power emerging on its surface. Creation of fragments of creation rules. Xiao Yi was delighted. In just a short while, he had obtained a piece of the Fate Rule Fragment Crystal. King Kong's supreme brother Cheng said that it would take at least 100 years. Yin. The three-two-head golden dragon hovering in the air let out a joyful dragon roar, and its golden eyes stared excitedly at the Grand Master level monster below. 1 Grand Master level 1 star, 1 Grand Master level 6 star, 1 Grand Master level 2 star, and 1 Grand Master level 4 star. In Xiao Yi's opinion, these are all treasures. This, Liu Ya, the century-old widow teaching assistant who was lying on a branch not far away, widened her beautiful eyes in surprise and didn't even notice that a melon seed had fallen into her chest. Instantly killed a 3-star master. Is this really a freshman who just entered the university? The breath of a golden dragon hiss. It's actually the 7-star Grand Master realm. My god, the realm of the top junior genius is only at the level of a 7-star master. Liu Ya made a comparison and found that among all the students she had taught in the past 200 years, none of them could compare to him. Even the 10 supreme beings in Demon City today cannot compare with Xiao Yi and the other two. Xiao Yi's amazing talent made Liu Ya's long silent heart throb. Her pretty face blushed and she thought to herself, this bad guy Xiao Yi will definitely be able to become the supreme in the future, so should I take him down in advance? A young, hot-blooded man like Xiao Yi is most likely to fall into the trap of a gentle woman. Liu Ya shook her head violently, slapped herself, and spat. How is it possible? He is my student Liu Ya. Have you been a widow for too long and haven't touched a man for more than 100 years? Are you missing a man? Xiao Yi naturally didn't know about this. He was staring at his assistant Liu Ya, who was sometimes excited, sometimes blushing, and sometimes slapping him in the face. Otherwise everyone would think she was going crazy. 10,000 degrees of heat. A spiritual wave spread out from the 3-2-head golden dragon, and the water elements in this small jungle suddenly resonated. With a few loud noises, the jungle was suddenly filled with magma, like a high-temperature steamer in the core of the sun. All the monsters below were trapped on the lava ground and began to struggle frantically. The monsters below the Grandmaster level died tragically. The Grandmaster level monster broke away from the lava and jumped onto the tree branch. The 4-star Grandmaster Ice Python revealed a mocking look. The 1-star Grandmaster Demon Snake hissed and spit out apricots with a look of disdain. The 2-star Grandmaster Black Wolf hauled to the sky, and the 6-star Grandmaster Groundhog emerged from the earth in the distance and shook its tail proudly. Arrogant to arrogant, he didn't take the attack of the 3-2-head golden dragon seriously at all. Isn't it a little too early for these monsters to be happy? Said the 2-tailed holy white fox in the distance. But Xiao Yi sneered. Next second, flames burned directly on the bodies of the 1-star Grandmaster Demon Snake and the 2-star Grandmaster Black Wolf, and their body surface temperatures quickly rose to several thousand degrees. The other 4-star Master Ice Python was not in a much better condition. Its body surface became red hot, like a roasted snake, and it kept rolling and struggling on the tree. As for the 6-star Master Groundhog, the whole rat had become a burnt red roasted rat, with white steam coming out of its butt. It was cooked through. The control of water element is so terrifying. Soon, the 4 Grandmaster level monsters fell into a state of near death. Almost there, Xiao Yi activated the third function of the template adjuster, extracting rule fragment crystals. 1-star Grandmaster Demonic Snake successfully extracted a piece of rule fragment crystal. The star Grandmaster Black Wolf, extraction successful. 4-star Grandmaster Python, extraction successful. 6-star Grandmaster Groundhog, extraction successful. In the system space, there are 4 more crystals, namely Fortune, Fire, Fortune, Ice. Chapter 70 to Harvest. This is the strongest monster. At this time, Xiao Yi already possessed 3 pieces of crystal fragments of the laws of creation. However, Xiao Yi was a little confused about the types of crystals. Gold, wood, water, fire, and earth, creation type, space type. Could there be time type, cause and effect type, and destiny type? So far the most common ones are the crystals of creation. As for the space category, there is not a single one. Xiao Yi, you did a great job. Liu stood on the thick branch, twisting her sexy waist, her hands on her hips, her pretty face full of widow charm and full of excitement. Her beautiful eyes stared at the 3-2-head golden dragon with naked fiery eyes, and said, as expected, he is the most powerful demon in ancient and modern times, and his talent surpasses all the supreme beings. She added in her heart, if she were to choose a man again, Xiao Yi would definitely be her first choice. And since she had been honest with Xiao Yi, she would be easy to accept him. In response to the praise from the most beautiful assistant teacher Liu Ya, the 3-2-head golden dragon let out a melodious cry. Ian. Xiao Yi had only been here for 5 minutes and hadn't killed enough, so he controlled the 3-2-ed golden dragon to circle and fly towards the next forest. Xiao Yi wanted to see if he could obtain 1 or 2 pieces of regular fragment crystals other than the 5 elements crystals and creation crystals, such as space crystals, time crystals, etc. Zhang Bingxi, who was controlling the holy two-tailed white fox alone, was a little unhappy they were all SSS level templates, and her 9-tailed celestial fox was also very powerful. She also wants to get praise from the teaching assistant. Thinking of this, the holy two-tailed white fox flashed with white light, and its body broke through the air in the sound barrier, following the 3-2-ed golden dragon and rushing towards the next forest. The cat-eared girl Yuya followed the two leisurely, lying on one ancient tree for a while and sitting on another ancient tree with extremely bold postures. But her attention never left the 3-2-ed golden dragon and the two-tailed white fox. At this time, in the base camp of the actual combat training base, in the ancient castles, a monitoring room can monitor 90 of the places within the hundreds of kilometers of the actual combat training base without blind spots. There were many powerful beings with extraordinary aura watching the performance of the 3-2-ed golden dragon and the two-tailed white fox. 3 muscular men with terrifying auras grabbed the people on duty and threw them aside, then gathered in front of the wall full of screens to watch. Is this the teacher's new disciple? Well, his realm is at least above the 5-star master, probably a junior. It's quite interesting crush for grandmaster level monsters that's pretty good. Not bad at all. Jin Long is wasting so much energy using a cannon to kill ants. That's right, on the battlefield, you must accurately control the energy output. Persistence is the key, not the 3-second man. Alas, the teacher is going to be troubled again. I hope they can be more understanding. Comprehension. You're a junior now, haven't you listened to your teacher's lectures? Your attacks are so crude. Do you really need teacher Liu Ya to teach you with just this little skill? One of them praised them without hesitation, but the other two poured cold water on them and belittled Xiao Yi and the other two. He even showed a little disdain towards Xiao Yi and the other two. Why use a butcher knife to kill a chicken? The praise man also nodded and said, you are right. It turns the earth into magma, which is a huge waste of energy output. If it acts on monsters, it can kill several more. Those who are above 5 stars in the Grandmaster realm are at least junior students. They must often skip classes and do not study seriously. Oh, right? Let's look up the identity information of these 3 people. We have to get to know these new disciples, master. The 3 of them were once Liu Ya's disciples. Although several decades had passed, the staff on duty who was thrown aside was trembling and dared not say a word. These 3 people are the deputy directors of the actual combat training base, and they are terrifying great masters. Within a minute, the identity information of Xiao Yi and the other 2 were retrieved and displayed on a screen. Name, Xiao Yi. Gender, male. Education, freshman. File, born in the welfare house of Mangyuan Bay City. Top scorer in the college entrance examination. Name, Nan Gong Sayo. Education, freshman. File, born in Mangyuan Bay City, daughter of the city lord. Top scorer in the college entrance examination. Name, Cheng Bingxi. Education, freshman. File, Mangyuan Bay City. Born in a teacher's family, top scorer in the college entrance examination. After reading the message, the 3 deputy directors glared and cursed. Fuck. Or only freshman. I admit I spoke too loudly just now. An 18-year-old grandmaster. Damn. This would shock my mother for 100 years. It was my bad attitude just now. We were too arrogant. That's right. I was wondering why the teacher suddenly accepted disciples. It turns out that the ones he accepted were 3 monsters. Thinking back to when they first entered college, they were at level 6 or level 7. There was no comparison at all. What's wrong with a rough attack method when you just enter the freshman year? You haven't learned anything yet, and it's only been 2 days since the start of school. The 3 deputy directors' perceptions of Xiao Yi and the other 2 changed. Quick, switch the screen to the top scorer in the college entrance examination and see what level they have reached. After a series of operations, the figures of the 3-2-ed golden dragon and the 2-tailed white fox appeared on dozens of high-definition screens on the wall. However, the situation at the scene made the 3 vice chiefs frown. Just see it on the big screen. Among the towering ancient trees that reach into the sky, a 3-2-ed golden dragon hovers between the huge ancient trees, its scales sparkling with brilliant golden light. There were about hundreds of dark night wolves surrounding the holy 2-tailed white fox on the ground. Template adjuster exploring. Level 5 Dark Night Wolf cannot be extracted. 1-star Grandmaster Dark Night Wolf 1 piece can be extracted, type is unclear. 3-star Grandmaster Dark Night Wolf 1 piece can be extracted, type is unclear. 8-star Grandmaster Dark Night Wolf 1 piece can be extracted, type is unclear. 10-star Grandmaster Dark Night Wolf 1 piece can be extracted, type is unclear. Information about more than 100 magical beasts appeared in Xiao Yi's retina. The Wolf King, who is obviously larger in size, is a 10-star master. The left and right guardians are 2 8-star masters. The rest include approximately 15 Grandmasters and 80 to Magic Wolves below the Grandmaster level. Xiao Yi's eyes flashed with fire. The 18 Grandmaster monsters were 18 pieces of crystallized rule fragments. Do you need my help, Liuya? The widowed assistant teacher, who was dressed boldly and seductively, flashed and lay on the branch of an ancient tree, only 1 meter away from the 3-2-ed golden dragon, revealing a large area of glowing face. The sexy body is reflected in the golden vertical pupils of the 3-2-ed golden dragon, and the panties can be vaguely seen on the long white legs. It's lace. Xiao Yi was just about to speak and remind the teaching assistant Sister Liuya to pay attention, but the holy two-tailed white fox on the ground spoke. Cheng Bing she was seen controlling the holy two-tailed white fox and said in a gentle voice, "Teaching assistant sister, and Saya, oh, please don't do anything, let me play with these little loish." Having not fought for a long time, Cheng Bing she was itching to fight. Suddenly a wave spread out from the holy two-tailed white fox. God's charm forces the enemy's mind into confusion. Group attack. Chapter 73. Liuya, take him down. He deserves it. A shocking scene appeared. Except for 2 8-star Master Magic Wolves and 1 10-star Wolf King, the remaining 80-odd Dark Knight Wolves were all hit. The demon wolves that used to have violent auras and cold eyes calmed down and their eyes became dull. They all squatted there with a confused mind, not knowing what to do. Now, with a bang, the holy two-tailed white fox's body broke the sound barrier and layers of her shockwaves spread out. The white fox moved among the wolves like a ghost. With every step it took, 10 demon wolves died under the claws of the two-tailed white fox. Ooh, oh. The 10-star Master Wolf King roared angrily. The 2 8-star Masters violent auras soared into the sky, and they opened their bloody mouths full of disgusting saliva and rushed towards the two-tailed white fox. The two-tailed white fox is only a 7-star master. This sudden attack made the cat-eared girl Liuya a little nervous, fearing that the white fox would be hurt. The 3 deputy directors in front of the screen also looked solemn. But the 3-2-ed golden dragon didn't care, and neither did the holy two-tailed white fox. God's counterattack forcefully instill ideological stamps to make the enemy change their attack target's single target skill. An invisible wave emanated from the white fox and hit the 10-star Master Wolf King in an instant. Roar! The Wolf King seemed to be on hormones, with red eyes as he charged towards the 2 8-star Master Dark Knight Wolves. The Wolf King, who was 2 levels higher, was fighting with 2 8-star Grandmaster monsters. Roar, roar! The 2 8-star Master Demon Wolves were stunned and roared angrily. But they did not dare to attack the Wolf King and dodged again and again. Why doesn't the Wolf King attack humans, but attacks his own wolves? God's rebellion maximum power. The holy two-tailed white fox secretly expanded the effect of the conceptual skill God's rebellion and directly increased it to maximum power. With a bang, the Wolf King's blood burst out. His cold eyes were filled with bloodshot. His momentum surged, and his speed increased dramatically as he bit and scratched at the 2 guardians. Within 10 seconds, the 2 8-star Master Demon Wolves were seriously injured. His body was covered with scratches so deep that you could see the bones, and bloody teeth marks. Bang, 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 bang. The two-tailed white fox flashed and killed more than 80 other demon wolves with its claws. Xiao Yi hurriedly transferred his consciousness into the body of the holy two-tailed white fox and used the template adjuster at close range to extract crystals from the 15 Grand Master Demon Wolves. 1-star Grandmaster Dark Knight Wolf was extracted successfully. Crystallization of the Fate Rule Fragment. 3-star Grandmaster Dark Knight Wolf was extracted successfully. Crystallization of the Fate Rule Fragment. 6-star Grandmaster Demon Wolf extraction successfully. Dark Rule Fragment crystallization. After the extraction was successful, a thick aura of death appeared on the bodies of the 15 Grandmaster Demon Wolves. Their auras were dilapidated, as if they were tainted by something ominous, and the land around them showed signs of beginning to collapse. But Xiao Yi didn't care about these. He harvested 15 crystals again, 12 of the creation type and 3 of the dark type. Seeing such a mighty white fox, the 3 deputy directors in front of the screen all showed shocked expressions, finding it unbelievable. One beast took on an entire wolf pack. And fucking one. Moreover, this white fox, who only looked like a 7-star master, but actually controlled a 10-star Master Wolf King. This was a cross-level battle. It was exclusive to super geniuses. White Fox and Golden Dragon are both super geniuses. The 3 deputy directors now suddenly became respectful towards Viehu and Jinlong. They raised the status of Xiao Yi and the other 2 and treated them as their peers. A super genius, worthy of respect from everyone. On sight, assistant teacher Liuya had a large side glow. Her beautiful eyes widened in surprise, her fiery red lips opened so wide that an egg could fit in them. Oh, it turns out that not only the 3-2-ed Golden Dragon is powerful, this noble and holy-looking detailed white fox is also so awesome. Assistant teacher Liuya's breathing became rapid. She would definitely focus on training these 3 disciples, not because of the vice president's instructions, but because Xiao Yi and the other 2 were worthy. A plan emerged in Liuya's mind. She wanted to capture Xiaoyi. Since Xiaoyi can contract two, he can definitely contract a third beast girl with Xiaoyi's qualifications. He may be able to reach the pinnacle of the supreme power in the next few decades. By then rule fragments and the like would be easily available. Yuya is willing to wait for 50 years. Below, after the holy two-tailed white fox had killed more than 80 demon wolves, it did not stop but flashed towards the only 3 remaining strongest demon wolves. Absolute true damage. Any physical attack can ignore the enemy's defense and cause 100 true damage. But the sound of rip. The white fox's sharp claws flashed by, and the neck bones of the 2 8-star Master Guardian demon wolves were broken. The demon wolf's defense was of no use at all, and it fell to the ground with a bang, about to die. Ouch! The Wolf King's divine control effect finally passed. It woke up and let out a deafening roar of anger. It was the only wolf left in the entire wolf pack. There were wolves lying all over the ground, with various causes of death and looking very miserable. Roar! The 10-star Master Wolf King rushed towards the white fox angrily from its undefended movements. It could be seen that it wanted to fight to the death and was ready to die. I want you to be buried with my wolf pack. Shadow pursuit, speed is quadrupled. And two phantom bodies appeared to confuse the enemy. But the strong murderous intent, it split its body into 3 parts, all of which pounced towards the white fox. God's charm forces the enemy's mind into confusion. Group attack. The white fox dodged first, then activated its innate skill in the blink of an eye. In an instant, the violet wolf king on the left fell to the ground with a bang. His eyes became blank and he was at a loss. The other 2 phantom wolf kings continued to pounce, but their figures became extremely illusory and disappeared before they could touch the white fox. With a loud bang, the white fox stepped on the wolf king's head and the wolf king's scud and the wolf king's skull was broken immediately and blood spurted out. 10-star Grandmaster Wolf King, dead. Xiaoyi was also secretly extracting the crystals of rule fragments. The vast, deep and imperceptible force descended, and the last 3 demon wolves on the ground became broken and filled with death. There were suddenly 3 more crystals in the system space. But Star Grandmaster Demon Wolf, extracted successfully. 10-star Grandmaster Wolf King, extracted successfully. The Dark Rule Fragment crystals and 1 Gold Wool Fragment crystal. Wolves all destroyed. At this time, Xiaoyi already had 14 Creation type, 5 Dark type, 1 Gold type, 1 Fire type, and 1 Ice type Rule Fragment crystals. What made Xiaoyi a little disappointed was why there was no Space type 1. Even if there was no Space type 1, a Time type 1 would be fine. Creation is so common that it is not a rare thing at first glance. If the Supremes knew about your disdain, they would probably be furious. Do you know how difficult it is to get the Rule Fragment crystals, and you still disdain it? At this time, Xiaoyi's consciousness was transferred to the 3-2-ed golden dragon. The golden eyes reflected the widow assistant Liuya's sexy body and some scenery. He reminded. Assistant sister, please don't lie like this. I can see your vagina. Assistant teacher Liuya curled her lips and began to implement the plan she had just thought of. She rolled her beautiful eyes and said, "It's okay. Just don't look at it. She wants to take down Xiaoyi." As she spoke, Liuya changed her lying position so that the 3-2-ed golden dragon could see her thoroughly. Xiaoyi glared. "Oh my god, what is this? Does the teaching assistant know that I can repair her template? You want to seduce me in advance? Hey, teaching assistant. Please be more reserved. I am your student." Chapter 70 for mission accomplished, meeting the great and powerful Lord. Nangong Xiao's consciousness leapt up and teased Xiaoyi. "I can also receive everything that the golden dragon sees." Xiaoyi, do you like this kind of tune? I can do it in the future. Xiaoyi was embarrassed, but there was nothing he could do at this time. The teaching assistant Liuya was like a target, attracting his arrow all the time. Besides, what man doesn't like to watch it? The system's cold mechanical prompt sound rang in Xiaoyi's ears. Congratulations to the host for completing the mission, entering the top 10 of Kunpeng Battle Academy's Tianjiaoi list. Task reward, defeat rule fragment crystals. This is quite bald. The suddenness surprised Xiaoyi a little. Why did he enter the top 10 of the Tianjiaoi list? Was it because of the wolf pack and several master monsters he just killed? That was the only possible reason. Including these 2, he already has 16 creation type, 5 dark type, 1 gold type, 1 fire type, and 1 ice type rule fragment crystals. It's really true that those who are drought-stricken will die of drought. And those who are flooded will die of flood. Xiaoyi is a little disgusted with this kind of fate, but it just has to come. Fate. You are so pretentious about whether to eat fried cakes or not. Xiaoyi achieved the purpose of this trip, and then the 4 of them headed back home. A holy two-tailed white fox and the 3-2-ed golden dragon exited their summoned beast forms and followed the cat-eared girl, Yuya, towards the exit of the actual combat training base. At this time, the 3 deputy chiefs in the castle seized the opportunity and said hurriedly, "Let's go and see the teacher and the fellow students." Yes. Now they're a young and enchanting junior brothers and sisters, and I must get to know them. Afterwards, the three deputy chiefs went straight to the exit of the base. At the exit iron gate, they arrived earlier than Xiao Yi and his three companions. But they heard some words that made them very angry. They were said by several strongmen guarding the iron gate. Hey, you guys think that Whittle Yuya's wearing such a sexy outfit? Is she trying to seduce us? Yeah. This guy doesn't look serious at first glance. How can he wear so little? His whole legs are exposed. There are a lot of rumors about her, saying that she is the secret lover of King Kong Supreme. It's possible. How can a woman not have contact with a man for 100 years? The security guards were chatting as if no one was around, when suddenly a cold voice came from behind them. So do you want to spend the night with her and have some sex with her? Nonsense, who wouldn't want to? That's right, she has so many male disciples, and many of them admire her. Don't you want to? The 5 strong security guards turned around and looked. Oh my god, they were startled and said respectfully, "Greetings to the 3 vice chiefs, greetings to the 3 vice chiefs." At this time, 3 muscular deputy general managers stood there with gloomy faces, anger in their eyes, and rebuked. You've got too much free time, right? You've become insane from standing guard, talking nonsense about others. Did you know that Liu Ya is our teacher? What? The deputy chief's teacher? Several burly security guards showed fear on their faces and were terrified in their hearts. The 3 deputy directors scolded, "You 5 will have your salary and bonus for this year deducted. And you will report to the customs defense line tomorrow. Being a gatekeeper is so relaxing, right? You should all go to the front lines of the battlefield to fight sea beasts. If you fail to meet the performance standards once in 10 years, you will stay at the customs defense line for the rest of your life." When the guards heard this, they immediately showed despair and misery on their faces and wailed. "No, Vice Chief, we know we were wrong. People will die at the customs line. We don't want to go there. You can fine me 2 years' salary, no, 5 years' salary is fine, but please don't let us go to the customs line. The customs defense line is the national border line. It is attacked by sea beasts all year round, and many soldiers die every day." The 3 deputy chiefs snorted coldly and insisted on their own arrangements. "Report to the customs defense line tomorrow, or we will expel the 5 of you from the Magic City." How dare they presume to call the teacher they respect slutty and someone else's lover? As a student, I can't stand it. Although, the 3 of them also had some admiration for Liu Ya. They had secretly watched teacher Liu Ya washing her feet before, the kind of simple foot washing with her trouser legs rolled up. Those crystal clear jade feet make me want to hug them and bite them. But they absolutely do not allow anyone to talk about teacher Liu Ya behind her back using vulgar words. Hey, the teacher is here. When a muscular deputy general manager saw the beautiful figure appearing from behind the layers of iron doors, his eyes suddenly lit up. And the 5 sturdy security guards saw that the 3 deputy directors who had been so majestic just now immediately became respectful. "Hello, teacher." "Greetings, teacher. Teacher, long time no see. You are still as beautiful as ever." There was a flash of surprise in Liu Ya's beautiful eyes. She was surprised that she met these 3 disciples she had taught 80 years ago here. She would train several disciples every 4 years. "Hello," Yu Yan nodded her white chin and responded with a smile. Ordinary students can only see the teachers in class, and if they have any questions about study or cultivation, they can only ask questions in class. Unlike ordinary students, disciples will be given special treatment to help them solve various problems in study and cultivation. They will have frequent contact in daily life, and the teachers will provide a lot of help in daily life, just like the elders in the family, helping the disciples. Moreover, teacher Liu Ya will not charge any fees for her disciples. She treats all of them equally, regardless of whether they come from ordinary or wealthy families. This is the key reason why all disciples respect and honor Liu Ya. Hey, are these 3 the new disciples that the teacher has accepted at this stage? Just one look at them makes them look handsome and have extraordinary auras. These 2 junior sisters are so beautiful. Junior brother is so lucky. Seeing the bewildered looks on Xiao Yi and the other 2's faces, Liu Ya chuckled and said, "Just call me senior brother." When a stunning beauty like Liu Ya smiles, it's as if she is blooming, making the surroundings pale in comparison. The 5 guards and 3 deputy chiefs were all stunned. Xiao Yi stays with the 2 beautiful girls every day, so he has a certain immunity and did not make a fool of himself. "Hello, 3 brothers. Gu Lulu." A deputy chief swallowed his saliva, and after realizing what was happening, he hugged Xiao Yi's shoulders and said with a grin, "Junior brother, does it feel great to kill monsters? It's really cool." Every time Xiao Yi killed a Grandmaster level monster, he would gain a rule fragment crystal. Of course, he felt great. The deputy chief smiled cheerfully. "Then come often. We know all the types of monsters within the hundreds of kilometers of this base. Come to us directly when you come and we will show you around." "Thank you very much." Xiao Yi's eyes lit up. According to his speculation, The type of crystals extracted by the template adjuster should be related to the attributes of the monster. If he wants to extract a certain type of crystal in the future, he can just ask about the attributes of the monster. Liuya introduced with a smile. These three are now deputy chiefs, and their role is Great Venerable. The chief usually only participates in important events. Under normal circumstances, it is these three brothers who manage the actual combat training base. Xiao Yi, if you want to come here in the future, you can come directly without asking the class teacher for permission. Chapter 75 Liuya's Shameless Plan. After a few minutes of chatting, Xiao Yi added the contact information of the three deputy directors general. The three deputy directors general warmly invited Xiao Yi and the other two to visit their homes, but were rejected by Liuya. 10 minutes later, the three deputy chiefs kindly escorted Liuya and Xiao Yi out of the actual combat training base. The 5 guards standing nearby didn't dare to say anything. It was the first time for them to see such an approachable deputy director, which gave them the illusion that they were living in a dream. This evil junior brother is really shy. Yes, the teacher has accepted a new disciple, so we must inform the other brothers and sisters. That's a must. As they spoke, the 3 deputy directors returned to the castle base, took out their communication equipment, on which a virtual screen popped up, and they entered a group chat of Liu family disciples. The number of group chat members is 250. The group chat was very lively, with messages flooding the screen. 2 pieces of fortune wool fragment crystals, everyone try to put them together. I can take out half of my assets but not more. No, we didn't know what this thing was before. I was shocked when I asked about it. I can't do Jia Yi. I'm a mid-level base city lord and a weak chicken venerable. Don't even mention the venerable. I'm a weakling great venerable with 10 stars, and I can't do it. A great venerable 10 stars, who has a high status outside, calls himself a weakling here. The identities of these people include city lord, military pavilion master, underground mine owner, deputy chief, etc. They are located all over Dragon Country. They are all in high positions or are elders of a clan. The deputy director sent out 2 messages, which quickly attracted everyone's attention. A teacher has accepted 3 new disciples who are top scorers in the college entrance examination. Everyone please come to the academy when you have time, come and visit the teacher. And get to know the new students that the teacher has just accepted. His words even blew away many diving guys. The top scorer in the college entrance examination. Oh my god. This class of juniors is incredible. I'm free, let's go to the academy and get together. I agree with this with both hands and feet. I agree with the +1. I haven't been back to my alma mater for more than 10 years, I just want to go and take a look. By the way, everyone wants to help the teacher, let's work together to find a solution after we meet. That's right, this is the first time the teacher asked us for help. So we have to help. Seeing that there were about 10 to 20 people who wanted to come to the academy, the vice president smiled and replied, everyone, please set a time, I will host you when you arrive at the academy. I will take care of your food, clothing, housing and transportation. Finally, the time was set for 3 days later. There will be more than 20 brothers and sisters at the level of Venerable and Great Venerable who will come. There are several of them, they are great masters and high-level powerful beings. The other side. Liuya brought Xiao Yi and the other two all the way back to the No. 3 Lakeview Villa District. After seeing Xiao Yi's enchantment, Liuya's heart couldn't be restrained. Perhaps it was because of her cognition that a woman must find someone to rely on. Or must find a companion. Of all the people she had ever met, no one could compare to Xiao Yi. Xiao Yi's talent that crushes all supreme beings is the most amazing talent Liuya has ever seen in the more than 100 years of living in this apocalyptic world. If she must find a man, Liuya feels that Xiao Yi is the first choice and the best choice, and the best choice. First, Xiao Yi can contract multiple beast girls. Second, Xiao Yi is young and handsome, and she likes him. Third, recently, there are suitors who are pursuing her by any means. She wants to end her widowhood and make it public to discourage those suitors. What worries Liuya is how to take down Xiao Yi. He currently has 3 methods. 1. Put a knife on Xiao Yi's neck and threaten him to make a contract with himself. 2. Get Xiao Yi drunk. Force himself on her, and then pretend to be the victim and hold Xiao Yi responsible. 3. Use her own advantages and beauty to seduce Xiao Yi step by step in life and make him completely fall in love with her. Liuya was absent smite and her feet were knocked down by a stone. Her mature and sexy body fell backwards unexpectedly with her head facing down. If it hit the hard ground, she would definitely get a bump. Seeing this, Xiao Yi hurried forward, hugged Liuya idly in the air, and held her up like a princess. Are you okay, teaching assistant sister? Liuya, with her head buried in Xiao Yi's chest, smiled brightly with her beautiful eyes. She was of course pretending to fall down. How could a great master fall down while walking? It's okay, thank you, brother Xiao Yi. After hugging for 2 minutes, Liuya replied, but can you put me down now? I'm glad you're okay. Xiao Yi's old face turned red. Liu Ya was so soft and fragrant that he became addicted to hugging her unconsciously. He put Liu Ya on the ground and looked at her ankle, where there was a bump. It was swollen and red. And I didn't know if it was caused by falling or being hit. Liu Ya secretly mobilized her energy and created an injury on her ankle after she was put on the ground. She cried out in pain. But agony all over her pretty face. Bah, you widow, you are so shameless. You even resorted to such low-level seduction tactics. He is your disciple, Liu Ya? Liu Ya secretly cursed herself for being shameless and scheming. She figured it out, and she decided to try all three methods. She was determined to capture this treasure boy Xiao Yi. After being a widow for more than 100 years, she was already thirsty and eager to end this identity. Nangong Xiao said with concern, "Oh, the teaching assistant must have accidentally touched something at the actual combat training base. Xiao Yi, come and carry her back to the villa and apply some healing potion." Changbing she also looked concerned. Without any doubt, she took the initiative to step forward and support Liu Ya. Xiao Yi nodded, squatted on the ground, and said, "Assistant sister, I will carry you." "That's embarrassing." "No thanks." Liu Ya said this, but her body was very sincere and she couldn't wait to lean on Xiao Yi's back. Xiao Yi supported Liu Ya's butt with both hands, found a comfortable carrying position, and then sent her back to Villa No. 10 in the No. 3 Lakeview Villa District. Liu Ya was placed on a stone chair in the Syrian style, and her shoes were taken off, revealing her crystal-clear jade feet. Nangong Xiao and Cheng Bing she went to find healing potions, while Xiao Yi stayed to take care of Liu Ya. Xiao Yi considers himself a gentleman. He never bothered to take advantage of a woman who was not his wife, unless another woman asks for it. Liu Ya secretly cursed herself for being shameless, but on the surface she pretended to be in pain. She kept rubbing the lump on her ankle with her hands, and her beautiful eyes like autumn water were full of grievance. "Really? It looks like she's too old. She bumps into things even when she walks." "Oh, she's getting old. She is almost 100 years old. She has become an old woman." "Xiao Yi, you think so too, right?" Xiao Yi's mouth twitched. Liu Ya is now at the level of a great venerable and can live for 700 or 800 years, which translates to less than 20 years old for an ordinary person. She is also one of the 3 goddesses of the academy, possessing a peerless beauty and explosive figure that all the boys in the academy drool over. She doesn't look like an old woman at all. Of course not. The teaching assistant is still in her youth and still as charming as ever, Xiao Yi said with a smile. Liu Ya chuckled, very happy, and placed her crystal clear jade feet on Xiao Yi's legs, saying, "It hurts so much, help me rub it." Chapter 76 Liu Ya, show it on your mouth and see if it stinks. Xiao Yi's mouth twitched. I put this stinky foot on his leg. Seeing Xiao Yi's disgusted look, Liu Ya glared at him and said fiercely, "Help me rub it quickly, or I will put my feet on your mouth and let you taste whether it stinks or not." Xiao Yi was shocked and said, "It doesn't stink." "Of course it doesn't stink. How could a fairy's feet stink? If you really show off, you will be in big trouble." Xiao Yi reached out and rubbed his ankle, which felt smooth and delicate. A satisfied look appeared on Liu Ya's pretty face, and she thought to herself, "Little guy, can't I control this youngster?" Needed for about 10 minutes. Nangong Xiao and Cheng Bing she ran in breathlessly, panting. "The healing potion has been found." As she spoke, Nangong Xiao opened the bottle of medicine and poured the blue medicine on her ankle. Xiao Yi applied the medicine evenly to allow the skin to absorb it better. 10 minutes later, the swelling on Liu Ya's ankle visibly shrank and was almost healed. She finally retracted her jade feet, allowing Xiao Yi to breathe a sigh of relief. When Liu Ya saw Xiao Yi's relieved look, she couldn't help but feel suspicious and put his feet in front of her nose to smell them. "It doesn't stink. It smells good." Liu Ya came to the conclusion. Xiao Yi and the other two stared at Liu Ya's funny movements in amazement, and asked in surprise, "Teaching assistant sister, what are you doing?" "Embarrassing." Liu Ya looked embarrassed and said something shocking. "You want to show off your big pig's trotters, but what's the difference between them and pig's trotters?" Xiao Yi was full of black lines on his forehead. "Of course, there is a difference between jade feet and pig's trotters." "This bastard, let me smell it." Liu Ya felt uncomfortable and wanted to roll around on the stone chair. The ankle has recovered as before, which was an illusion she created. She looked at Xiao Yi's disgusted expression and couldn't help but think viciously in her heart. "I'm going to find an opportunity to let you take a bite and see if it's delicious." If Xiao Yi knew, he would most likely flee, begging for mercy as he ran. "Assistant sister, there is no need to do that. I am not a pervert, I just don't want to show off." Seeing that Liu Ya's injury was almost healed, Xiao Yi said goodbye. Liu Ya didn't want to let Xiao Yi leave, so in a hurry, she found an excuse that even she found ridiculous. "Student Xiao Yi, I tried to practice for a while, but I found that my level has regressed again. Can you give me a massage again?" After saying this, Liu Ya even felt ashamed of herself. Massage requires her to be honest with Xiao Yi. Xiao Yi's eyes narrowed, and he asked in surprise, "Backslide again?" Liu Yi blushed and decided to risk it all. She smiled and said, yes. Xiao Yi frowned and looked at Liu Yi hesitantly, feeling that she was lying. Her Daoyan energy had not been exhausted yet. So how could her realm regress? Nan Gongxiao patted Xiao Yi's shoulder and pouted, hey, Xiao Yi? Don't be so stingy. What's wrong with a massage? It won't hurt you. Xiao Yi was full of doubts. But he smiled helplessly. Okay, teaching assistant sister, I will give you another massage later. Assistant sister, see you tomorrow. Xiao Yi, we will wait for you at home. And Nan Gongxiao and Cheng Bingxi left here and returned to Villanelle, one a few hundred meters away. Seeing that Liu Yi wanted to show off her beautiful feet to him, Xiao Yi felt the urge to pee and quickly went into the bathroom. Ding dong. The doorbell rang outside. Liu Yi thought it was Nan Gongxiao and the other girl, and thought to herself, oh no, could it be that they didn't want Xiao Yi to give her a massage? Liu Yi ran to open the door anxiously, and it turned out to be a fierce muscular man with a narrow scar on the right side of his face. He pulled the corner of his mouth, revealing an extremely fierce smile, and said, Liu Yi, I haven't seen you for a year, and you are still as beautiful as ever. When she saw that it was not two women but this fierce man, the fresh smile on Liu Yi's pretty face disappeared, and she said expressionlessly, what are you doing here? Do you want to talk to me? Liu Yi had no intention of welcoming the fierce muscular man into the house. A fierce muscular man looked inside the villa and said dissatisfied, Liu Yi, we are colleagues after all, why don't you let me come in and sit down? Could it be that you have hidden a man in there? Don't you want me to find out? Liu Yi's pretty face sank. There really was a man inside. Is there something wrong? If not, get out. This fierce muscular man is her pursuer. The kind who will do anything to achieve his goal. His name is Hong Tao, and his realm is the Great Venerable 10 Stars. He is a gold medal coach at the Hong Family Martial Arts School, one of the 3 major martial arts schools in the base city of Magic City. He is also an external assistant teacher at the Titan Combat Academy of the Magic City Beastmaster Academy. Strictly speaking, the two are indeed colleagues. Both are hired teaching assistants, but they do not work in the same college. Titan Combat Academy and Kunpeng Combat Academy are both among the 10 academies of the Magic City Academy. Faced with Liu Yi's harsh words, the fierce muscular man Hong Tao did not feel fierce at all, but instead thought Liu Yi was cute. Hong Tao, something's up. I need to talk to you about something. It's great news. Liu Yi welcomed the fierce muscular man Hong Tao in with doubt, and began to prepare tea and fruits as the host. The fierce muscular man Hong Tao kept looking around, looking at the Syrian style of decoration with curiosity. Liu Yi is still so unique, just like me. I like her. Then Hong Tao looked at Liu Yi's sexy body without any scruples, sweeping around wantonly, with deep greed emerging in his eyes. After Liu Yi noticed it, he retracted his gaze and pretended to look around the room. After Liu Yi prepared tea and fruits, she drank her tea and frowned as she asked, what do you want? The fierce muscular man Hong Tao did not rush to reply, but carefully tasted the tea brewed by Liu Yi, and said with a look of enjoyment, it is worthy of the tea brewed by assistant Liu, it is so fragrant. Hearing the praise, Liu Yi felt no emotion at all. But, fragrant? If Xiao Yi said her feet smell fragrant, she would wake up laughing in her dreams. Xiao Yi, retreat, 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 retreat. I'm not idle. If you have something to say, just say it. An impatient look flashed across Liu Yi's pretty face. A fierce muscular man Hong Tao didn't expect Liu Yi to dislike him so much, so he said straight to the point, I came to see you. It must be good news. It's like this, my Hong Family Martial Arts School has opened more than 100 new branches across the country, in every base city. Assistant Liu has a wide network of contacts and many disciples. Our Hong Family branch is willing to offer a salary far higher, and the market price. How do you think you can recruit many of Assistant Liu's disciples as coaches? No, Liu Yi refused directly without leaving any room for negotiation. Hong Tao frowned. Why? The salary at my Hong Family Martial Arts School is always high. I am willing to pay twice as much as your many disciples. As the young patriarch of the Hong Family Martial Arts School, I have this right. Liu Yi rejected it, saying, the disciples Liu Yi, have brought up are all at a high level and have extraordinary abilities. They don't need your salary. Besides, they can do whatever they want. I have no right to interfere. Moreover, Hong Tao's motives are impure. If many of her disciples went to the Hong Family Martial Arts School, Hong Tao would find an opportunity to hold something against those disciples and use various excuses to threaten her and force Liu Yi to submit to him. Based on Liu Yi's understanding of Hong Tao, the unscrupulous Hong Tao would definitely do it. At this time, Xiao Yi finished peeing and walked out, and asked in surprise, teaching assistant sister, who is this? Hong Tao was shocked when he heard this. There really was a man hiding in this room. Chapter 77. Confident Hong Tao, the genius of Titan Academy, is coming. This is the assistant instructor of Titan Combat Academy, Liu Yi. Xiao Yi nodded and smiled, hello. Hong Tao looked at Xiao Yi with suspicion. Xiao Yi's resolute face and handsome looks made him wonder if he was the gigolo that Liu Ya kept at home. This is my student Xiao Yi. Liu Ya was a little impatient. It turns out he's not a gigolo. Hong Tao felt inexplicably relieved. He had been pursuing Liu Ya for more than 100 years but had never even touched Liu Ya's hand. Hey, such a handsome student. At first glance, I thought it was you. Xiao Qinglang, he joked without any reservation. Liu Ya rolled her eyes at him speechless. Lie, my lover? If it's true, that's good. While talking about this topic, the fierce muscular man Hong Tao took the opportunity to ask. Liu Ya, after so many years, have you ever thought about finding a new man? Looking for a strong man with a strong background, good qualifications, and a high level of realm? Hong Tao was testing whether Liu Ya had any plans in this regard. Liu Ya's beautiful eyes turned brightly and she said, "It really is true." Hong Tao and Xiao Yi were shocked at the same time. Hong Tao thought to himself, damn it, after more than 100 years, this most beautiful widow is finally finding a man. Liu Ya paused and glanced at Xiao Yi's expression, only to find that he was very surprised. Liu Ya continued, "But the time is not ripe yet." Hong Tao stood up, showing off his muscular biceps, and said, "Liu Ya, what do you think of me?" Liu Ya said speechless. Lie, get lost. Hong Tao stated the conditions. I can provide you with Fate Roll fragment crystals. Don't be so hasty to refuse. Think about it carefully. I am absolutely sincere to you. Besides, if you miss this opportunity, you may never get to crystals in your life. Liu Ya wanted to say, get out. But she choked on her words and frowned in thought. Hong Tao showed an arrogant look on his face and said confidently, "And I will go back first. Give me an answer when you figure it out. I will wait for you." Now only Xiao Yi and Liu Ya are left in the living room. Xiao Yi asked with a little curiosity, "Sister Assistant, since he is sincere to you and can provide you with the fortune crystal, why don't you agree to him?" "Really? He's just after my body," Liu Ya said unhappily. "Besides, he has a contractor and wants me to be his secret lover. I hate this kind of man the most. But he is just after my body. I can't possibly do what he wants. I just want to see these men wanting me but being helpless." Liu Ya was chirping, as if she hated all men. Template adjuster exploring. SSS level ghost cat template, Liu Ya incomplete. Problem, the template is incomplete, and 2 pieces of the creation rule fragment crystals are missing. The information appeared in Xiao Yi's retina. At present, Liu Ya has not appeared, and her realm has regressed, so there is no need to replenish the rhyme energy. After getting the results of the investigation, Xiao Yi patted his clothes, stood up and walked out the door, saying, "Since the teaching assistant sister hates men so much, I won't be an eyesore here. See you tomorrow." Liu Ya. Seeing that Xiao Yi was about to leave, Liu Ya rushed forward like a flash, stopped him and pouted. "Don't leave, you haven't given me a massage yet." Xiao Yi retorted, "Teaching assistant sister, don't you dislike men touching you?" Liu Ya pulled Xiao Yi into the bedroom, and under Xiao Yi's stunned gaze, she took off her clothes and became naked. "Hurry up and give me a massage, or you will never leave this door today. Those men can't be touched. But you can." Under Liu Ya's strong request, Xiao Yi had no choice but to agree very reluctantly. Do not look at or touch anything inappropriate. As an upright young man, Xiao Yi would never look or touch anything inappropriately. Taking out the crystal ball with only a little Dao Rhyme energy left, he began to replenish Liu's Rhyme energy through the acupuncture points of the human body according to the atlas. An hour later, Xiao Yi fled in panic. It was so scary that Liu Ya had several stress reactions, making the scene a mess. Horrible, so horrible. Xiao Yi ran back home as if escaping, forgetting even to take off his gloves. The next day, outside the wall of the No. Free Lakeview Villa District, a group of students came and clamored to see their teacher's wife. The security guard stopped them and did not allow them to enter. This group of students are the Titan Battle Academy's talented contractor students. There are a total of 24 people, 12 pairs of contractors. A young man with a scar tattoo on his face led the group and shouted, "Let's go see Master's wife. Why don't you let us in? I want to complain to you." "Yes, doesn't Master Liu Ya live in this villa area?" The security guard had a sullen face and refused to let anyone in. As a famous assistant instructor at Kunpeng Ombat Academy. When did Liu Ya become the mistress of the students at Titan Academy? "No, assistant instructor Liu Ya didn't tell me that someone was visiting." The security guard's attitude was very firm. If it was just 1 or 2 people, he could let them in, but there were too many people, more than 20 people. The young man with the scar and tattoo sneered and waved his hand. "Don't worry about him, let's climb over the wall and go in." Yes, climb over the wall. This old man is really in the way." "That's right, you actually stopped us from seeing Master's wife." Seeing these people trying to force their way in, the security guard got anxious. He was just a weakling at the 3rd level who got the job through connections, and he couldn't stop them at all. At this time, a young man with a blue dragon tattoo on his arm came over with a group of people. "Stop. How dare you? A bunch of Titan Academy trash break in by force. Cheng Yi, along with a group of people from the student union, surrounded the geniuses of the Titan Academy's contractors. The scarred and tatted young man smiled arrogantly. Who was it I thought? It turned out to be Cheng Yi. Why, you want to stop us from seeing Master's wife? Cheng Yi frowned. Master's wife? Which Master's wife? This scarred and tatted young man is the son of Titan Supreme, the president of Titan Academy. The scarred and tattooed young man said proudly. Of course it's Master Liuya. Our Master Han Tao asked us to come visit his wife. Cheng Yi sneered and said to the student union members, brothers, these rubbish from Titan Academy say that our goddess teaching assistant is their teacher's wife. Do you think it's true? The student union laughed loudly and said, what a fart you want. The goddess assistant has taken a fancy to that Hong Tao? The sun is rising from the west. That's impossible. The goddess teaching assistant is so proud, how could she possibly look down on Hong Tao, who has a messy private life and a bad reputation? Hearing this, Cheng Yi looked at the scarred and tatted young man with contempt, and said distaffanially, did you hear that? You want nothing more than to call us goddess assistant teacher and visit us? Oh, back to where you came from, get lost. Chapter 78, School Showdown. Liuya's heart-stealing plan. Titan is trash, Hong Tao has bad character, go back? These words were like sharp swords, piercing the heart of the scarred and tatted young man. His face was as gloomy as charcoal, and blazing fire burst out of his eyes. He said, Kunpeng Battle Academy has been ranked third among the schools in the Magic City for hundreds of years, and our Titan Academy has always been ranked first. I don't know where you get the confidence from. You dare to say that our Titan Academy's genius is trash. As he was talking, the young man with scar on his face and tattoo started laughing out of anger. Ordinary but confident. You Kunpeng Academy geniuses are really a group of ordinary students. The Titan Academy's geniuses all sneered and groaned. We won't give up until we see Master's wife today. But before we enter this village area, we must teach those arrogant and presumptuous bastards a lesson. Then let us experience the power of the genius of Kunpeng Battle Academy. The student union led by Cheng Yi saw that what they said was ineffective and was looked down upon, so they rolled up their sleeves and prepared to fight. Boss, kill him. Yes, boss, leave it to us. This is intolerable. They come to our territory and even take advantage of us. How arrogant. The student union's contractors immediately wanted to transform into some and beasts and have a satisfying battle of revenge. Wait. Cheng Yi raised his hand and everyone looked at him, waiting for his order so they could rush over to fight. Our student union has been thoroughly reformed. We can no longer do things in a crude and simplistic way like before. Cheng Yi said to the scarred and tatted young man calmly. All about this. In 2 hours, the geniuses of our two academies will meet in the Rio of the Void God Tower for a life and death duel. As long as you, the Titan Battle Academy, win, I will personally lead you to meet Assistant Instructor Liuya. How about that? The scarred and tatted young man raised his eyebrows, feeling a little surprised. I really didn't expect that the always arrogant Kunpeng Student Union would actually follow the rules. Cheng Yi raised his head and said proudly, of course, my students will be able to bend and stretch. Why? You guys from Titan Academy don't dare, and you're ranked first, rubbish. The scarred and tatted young man twitched his mouth, widened his eyes and cursed. Come on, why don't you dare? I praised you and you are so proud of it. It's really speechless. Then the two sides headed towards the Zushentao Arena in the center of the 10 colleges. A top post soon appeared on the largest official forum of Kunpeng Combat Academy. Stepping on Titan garbage. Interested Kunpeng Tianjiaoi list Tianjiaoi come quickly. The address is the Zushentao Arena. Student Union President Cheng Yfa. The Void God Tower is waiting for you. If you play once, regardless of whether you win or lose, you will be given a Grand Master's lower grade crystal core. If you win, you will be given a Grand Master's middle grade crystal core, sent by the Kunpeng College Student Union. It was a top post and it was posted by Student Union President Cheng Yi, so it immediately caused a huge sensation. You know, the 10 colleges of the Magic City Academy have always disliked each other and always want to step on each other. Over the past few hundred years, Titan Academy has always been superior to Kunpeng Combat Academy. Kunpeng Combat Academy ranked second, while Titan Academy ranked first. Is the annual college competition starting again? Why wasn't there any advance notice? It's not a competition at all, it's just a fight between the student council and the genius of Titan Academy. No matter what the reason is, I must go and join in the fun of stepping on the genius of Titan Academy. Yes, that's great, I'll go too. It is human nature to join in the fun, no matter what area it is. After the students of Kunpeng Combat Academy saw the post, contractors from all 4 grades rushed to the Void God Tower in groups. The top 30 genius contractors on the genius list were all sent private messages one by one by the student union members. The invitation to step on the genius of Titan Academy is very generous. It is the beginning of the school year, and the genius contractors on the genius list all have plenty of free. Almost all of those who receive private messages are willing to step on the Titan genius for fun. After all, they lost to Titan Academy in the college championship last year, so it is a happy thing to be able to get back some ground now. In less than half an hour, the Battle of the Void God Tower spread like a gust of wind throughout Kunpeng Battle Academy, with a large number of geniuses participating in the No. Free Lakeview Villa District. Villa number 10. In the Syrian-style bedroom on the first floor, Liuya felt refreshed after the massage. She stretched her body, revealing her devilish figure. After tidying up the messy bedroom and taking a shower, Liuya was still dressed boldly and coolly. She was a little depressed at this moment, and her delicate face was full of distress. Liuya held her chin with one hand and said dissatisfiedly, "It's just a stress reaction, is it that scary? It's like a niche reaction. I feel good after being pressed, so what if I do it a few times? What's wrong with that?" Thinking of Xiaoyi's escape-like movements, one feels depressed. It was obvious that he had taken advantage. Why did he still look so scary? After thinking about it, Liuya felt that she should not be too anxious, otherwise Xiaoyi would be scared to win over Xiaoyi. She needs to do it step by step. From the shallow to the deep after all, it is best to steal his heart first. But how to steal someone's heart was beyond Liuya's grasp. Ding dong. The doorbell rang, and an old man shouted outside, "Assistant Liu, there is a group of students from Titan Academy looking for you outside, and they got into a fight with the Kunpeng Student Union." Liuya opened the door and found out what was going on. After the third-level old man security guard explained what happened in detail, he glanced at Liuya's hot body and left reluctantly. After learning what happened, Liuya punched the stone table with a bang, and the table broke into pieces, and said angrily, "It's Hong Tao again, how despicable. Is he trying to use these students to force me to agree to his request?" Snort. "Even if all the men in the world were dead and he was the only one left, I would not agree to him. There is already a way to solve the template problem. And Liuya is not interested in Hong Tao's to creation rule fragment crystals." Then Yu Pei's eyes lit up. She had a better plan to win Xiaoyi's heart. And it would also discuss Hong Tao. He walked into the storage room, took some things from the safe, and went out to Villa No. 1 where Xiaoyi was. The distance of several hundred meters. In Villa No. 1, Xiaoyi took off his gloves, locked the door, and his fluctuating emotions gradually calmed down. But there was still a trace of palpitations in Xiaoyi's eyes. "Oh, the teaching assistant used me as a tool to vent her anger. That won't do. Although I, Xiaoyi, am willing to help others, I won't do everything. Unless I get comfortable too." Xiaoyi shook his head, forcing himself to get rid of the messy thoughts in his mind. How could it be possible? Just then, a doorbell rang. Ding dong, a crisp sound. Chapter 79. The dispute over the goddess teaching assistant's identity. Nangong Saya let Liuya in. After seeing what Liuya was wearing, she was very surprised and said, "This is the first time I've seen a teaching assistant wearing stockings." Liuya was wearing a purple short shirt that was about to burst, revealing her white belly button, and Ultraheart's purple leather pants that just covered her buttocks. Her long legs, which were longer than many people's lives, were wrapped in a layer of black gauze stockings. She exudes the charm of a young woman with overflowing hormones and is full of femininity. Nangong Saya walked over and stood next to Liuya to compare herself, only to find that she was a complete loser. A most beautiful teaching assistant. Liuya has the advantages of her fruitful results and also the advantages of Cheng Bingxi's long legs. She and Cheng Bingxi are only 18 years old. Both their figures and faces are a little immature. They have not yet completely gotten rid of their youthfulness. They give people the impression of being beautiful women with a fresh and youthful temperament. Assistant teacher Liu and Vice Dean Yun Bing are both mature and sexy queens once they put on stockings. That mysterious and sophisticated feeling comes out at once. "Is it beautiful?" Liuya asked with a smile, "Like a beautiful flower." Nangong Sayo kept nodding her head. "Yeah, of course it looks good." Liuya's beautiful eyes lit up. "Does Xiaoyi like it?" Nangong Sayo tilted her head and thought, "Xiaoyi is a normal man, of course he likes it. But why is the teaching assistant asking this? Are you wearing this for Xiaoyi to see?" Embarrassing. Liuya's pretty face turned red with embarrassment. Normally she didn't like to wear this. The reason she put on the stockings was for Xiaoyi. However, she seemed to be outspoken and exposed her intentions directly, so she hurriedly made amends. "Of course not. I'm not used to people who I approve of being prejudiced against me. But Xiaoyi seems to think that my sister's feet are smelly. So I want to get rid of the prejudice." Nangong Saya nodded thoughtfully, her beautiful eyes revealing a silly look. At this time, Xiaoyi changed into casual clothes and walked down from the second floor. He heard Liuya talking about resolving prejudices. The corner of his mouth twitched. How to get rid of prejudice. Are you really going to let him open his mouth and show off? Although this is not a punishment, it is still a reward for some people. Xiaoyi. I think it's a reward too. But it is not necessary. In order to change the subject, Xiaoyi took out a campus version tablet, on which a virtual screen popped up. Third on the Tianjiaoyi ranking, nine-tailed heavily fox, contractors, Xiaoyi, Chengbingshi. This was his ranking on the Tianjiaoyi list in Kunpeng Combat Academy, after killing a 10-star Grandmaster Wolf King and destroying a group of magic wolves at the actual combat training base. He ranked third on the Tianjiaoyi list. As for the second and the first, they are other people. There was another private message in the private message status bar when I opened it. It was a battle invitation from the student union, and there was a link at the bottom. Xiaoyi clicked on the link out of curiosity. This is a live video link. On the virtual screen, a live broadcast of the virtual God Tower Arena appeared. The title of the live broadcast is very attractive. It is called Goddess Assistant Teacher Yuya's College Affiliation Competition. Xiaoyi's mind was full of questions. Just fight, why involve Liuya? Nangong Xiao and Liuya, who were chatting animatedly, stopped hurriedly when they saw Xiaoyi coming down. The two of them moved closer to the virtual screen. Liuya frowned and said, Kokathis lie. These students are really stupid, they have nothing better to do than come up with such a weird title. She explained the cause and process of the incident to Xiaoyi and Nangong Xiao, and then pointed out that Hong Tao was the mastermind behind the incident. Nangong Xiao was furious when she heard this, and she clenched her hands and said, this Hong Tao is too much, he really doesn't respect Sister Liuya. Xiaoyi frowned and agreed very much. Hong Tao was probably too confident, thinking that Liuya would definitely agree to his requests, but needed time to consider. So he released the news and spread rumors in advance, making everyone think that Liuya had agreed to his request, in order to force and urge Liuya to agree quickly. Liuya, whose delicate body was next to Xiaoyi, curled her lips and said mischievously, let us, Kunpeng Tianjiaoyi, teach Hong Tao's disciples a lesson. At this moment, on the virtual screen, there was a prairie battlefield transformed from the internal rules of the virtual God Tower. There are two groups, one side is led by Scarface Tattoo, which consists of 12 pairs of talented students from Titan Academy. On the other side, there were a large number of people, including the geniuses on the Kunpeng Prodigy list, led by the student union president, as well as student union members, and followed by more than 300 spectators. Between the two groups of people, a huge fence-like arena appeared. The scarred and tattooed young man of Titan Academy was very arrogant and said with contempt, Assistant Instructor Liuya, you will belong to our Titan Academy from now on. Cheng Yi's veins popped up when he heard this. Go ahead and beat them up hard. Then each side sent up a pair of contractors and transformed them into summoned beasts. A giant thousand-blade mantis, and the poisonous Spider King. Ranked 10th on the Kunpeng Prodigy list. After just one encounter, the mantis was entangled in the huge web sprayed by the Spider King like a dumpling due to the strong toughness of the web. The giant mantis could not break it. The winner was decided in just 1 minute. Kunpeng Academy wins. The scarred and tattooed young man's smile froze. Cheng Yi laughed happily. The second match was between the leopard from Titan Academy and the porcupine, who ranked 5th on the Kunpeng Prodigy list. 10 seconds later, a leopard, which was pierced by many spikes, was seriously injured and forced to exit the summoned beast form, losing its combat effectiveness. Kunpeng Academy wins. The scarred and tatted young man froze his smile and shouted angrily, they are all a bunch of rubbish. Cheng Yi said sarcastically, what's wrong? Are you angry because you can't win? Your Titan Academy is still ranked first, rubbish? Kunpeng, the genius on the genius list, was overjoyed. Even though this isn't a formal competition, it feels so damn good to step on the Titans. Really? These Titans are so proud of themselves. They still want to snatch our goddess assistant teacher away from us, forget it. Goddess teaching assistant Liuya seems to be very famous in all 10 colleges. Yes, Goddess Liuya was a famous beautiful professor of Kunpeng College 100 years ago. She has also been a famous teaching assistant of Kunpeng College for 100 years. Her fame has spread to all 10 colleges. The players on the Kunpeng side are all the top 10 geniuses on the Kunpeng Academy's prodigy list, and their realms are all at the Grandmaster level of 7 stars or above. As for the Titan side, they were just the students that Hong Tao was currently teaching. Except for the scar-faced deed-hatted young man who was a 10-star Grandmaster, the highest level of the others was only for stars. The scarred and tattooed young man looked gloomy, and stopped a pair of Titan contractors who were about to go on stage, saying, I can fight alone in the rest of the battle. As he said that, the scarred and tattooed young man walked onto the ring with his contractor girl, transforming into a giant Titan ape of SSS level template. The player on Kunpeng's side is the 8-star Grandmaster who is ranked 4th on the Tianjiaoyi list, Raptor Vulture. Chirp! The raptor vulture rushed down from the sky like a meteorite from outer space, its sharp eyes fixed on the Titan ape, its steel claws ready to capture at any time. The huge Titan ape raised his middle finger. And when the vulture arrived, he grabbed the high-speed moving vulture at a strange angle and threw it to the ground. With a bang, the earth shook. Then, the titanate pulled hard to the sides with both hands, and with a ripping sound, the raptor vulture was split into two halves and was directly forced to withdraw from the Void God Tower. In less than 10 seconds, the Titans won. The titanate slapped his sturdy chest and laughed. Kunpeng Academy. Keep going, I'll take it all. Chapter 80. Assistant Teacher Liu snatches the sachet. Seeing that the boss won, and won so easily, the Titans' pride grew, and they all became happy and excited. Boss is awesome. Fuck them hard. Now that the boss has taken action, Titan will surely win. We can go see the mistress. That's right, Master's wife belongs to our Titan Academy, and a bunch of rubbish are trying to stop us from seeing Master's wife. Those derogatory and disdainful words, and the reversal of the situation on the ring, made the faces of the Kunpeng geniuses change and become bluey. A nameless flame appeared in everyone's heart. A powerful strength and strong aura of the Titan Ape made the Kunpeng geniuses think of the scenes in last year's college championship when they were crushed by the Titan geniuses. I couldn't help but feel a little stage fright and didn't go on stage right away. But it'd be that the same terrible situation as last year will happen again today? The Titan Ape laughed wildly, and a beast stood in the center of the ring, looking down on everything like a victorious king. Kunpeng Academy? They are all garbage. There are so many people, but no one dares to go up. You rubbish, you still want to stop us from seeing Master's wife, bah. Being ruthlessly ridiculed, Cheng Yi and the other students turned pale. Cheng Yi looked at the top 5 of the Kunpeng prodigy ranking and said, "This concerns the reputation of our Kunpeng Academy. If we lose today, we will become the laughingstock of the 10 academies for the next year. Everyone, please get on stage and defeat him." Kunpeng Tianjiaui contractor, who ranked second on the Tianjiaui list, snorted coldly and stepped onto the stage with a serious expression. The last person to take the stage was the fourth on the Tianjiaui list, the raptor vulture, who had been forced to withdraw from the Void God Tower. Xiao Yi and Chengbing Shi, who were ranked third on the Tianjiaui list, were not present, so the only one who could go on stage this time was him, who was ranked second on the Tianjiaui list. The Titan Ape praised his middle finger, his eyes full of contempt. "One move, just one move, and I'll defeat you." The second on the Tianjiaui list had an ugly expression on his face and said angrily, "How arrogant." In the blink of an eye, immobilized the power of the contract and transformed into summoned beasts. Armored demon crocodiles, their huge and long bodies lay on the ground, covered in golden armor, and their huge mouths were filled with sharp fangs. Grandmaster 9 stars, armored demon crocodile. Roar! The armored demon crocodile rushed forward suddenly and activated its innate skill Indestructible. The hardness of the whole body increases 5 times. Its sharp fangs in golden armor greatly increased its attack and defense power. Its bloody mouth was about to bite the Titan Ape. But in an instant, the Titan Ape changed. Frenzy, body size increased tenfold. All body attributes increased tenfold. As if it were the law of nature, the already huge Titan Ape suddenly grew 10 times its original size, reaching a height of 100 meters in the sun. Its huge shadow covered the entire arena. Crunch! The bloody mouth of the armored demon crocodile was like a small ant at this time, unable to bite the gigantic Titan Ape at all. From the outside, it looked like it had just crashed into it head-on, without causing much damage. Instead, it made itself dizzy. The Titan Ape suddenly jumped up to a height of 300 meters, like a mountain falling on top of the head, and stepped on the armored demon crocodile with its huge feet. The excessive pressure caused the dizzy armored demon crocodile to spit out blood, and he fell into a coma due to severe injuries. One move. Defeat. The Grandmaster 9-star armored demon crocodile with an SS level template and the Grandmaster 10-star Titan and Giant Ape with an SSS level template are both superior. The difference can be judged at one move. Well, a terrifying Titan Ape, which was 100 meters tall, roared, and the deafening sound spread throughout the entire prairie. Titan Tianjiaui cheered. Kunpeng was in a low mood. Kunpeng, the number 1 on the Tianjiaui list, smiled bitterly and said, "Admit defeat. I lost to this Titan Giant Ape in the competition last year, and he lost completely. In just 3 moves. A difference in combat power between SS level templates and SSS level templates is innate." As he spoke, the Kunpeng genius, who was ranked first on the 10-star Grandmaster Prodigy ranking, withdrew from the Void God Tower, leaving the student union and the crowd of onlookers looking at each other in bewilderment. Cheng Yi's mouth twitched. "What the hell is there to fight after this? I left. There is no one left. The members of the student union are all contractors outside the top 30 of the Tianjiaui list. As for the Tianjiaui within the top 30 of the Tianjiaui within the top 30 of the Tianjiaui list, none of them bothered to join the student union. And the second one loses, so the first one exits the Void God Tower. Is it really just a matter of admitting defeat? You really want Cheng Yi to personally lead these titans to meet the goddess assistant teacher?" On the other side, Xiao Yi, who was watching the battle in front of the virtual screen, raised his eyebrows and looked at Liu Ya beside him with a puzzled look. Why did the teaching assistant put his hand on her leg? And she grabbed his hand and rubbed her stockings on her legs. It feels very soft and good. Fortunately, Nangong Xiao on the other side was concentrating on watching the fight on the ring and didn't notice this side. Xiao Yi leaned over and whispered, "Teacher assistant sister, what do you want to do?" Liu Ya lifted up Xiao Yi's hand, put it in front of Xiao Yi's nose, and said with curiosity on her face, "Oh, is it? Does it stink?" Xiao Yi took a breath and shook his head. "It doesn't stink." Liu Ya happily raised the corners of her mouth. That arc was harder to suppress than AK. She snorted softly. "You know it doesn't stink anymore, huh?" Xiao Yi's face was dark, and he retorted, "Teaching assistant sister, you were talking about legs. Of course legs don't smell." Liu Ya's smile froze. Does Xiao Yi mean that her feet smell? I really wanted to kick him in the mouth. Seeing Liu Ya's murderous eyes, Xiao Yi took out the Yunbing brand black sachet from his pocket, put it in front of his nose and smelled it. With a look of enjoyment, he said, "It smells so good. That unique fragrance is one of a kind." Liu Ya pouted with a dissatisfied look on her face. It was obvious that Xiao Yi disliked her stink, so he took out the sachet to distill the odor. However, this unique fragrance smells a bit familiar. Moreover, the material of the black sachet is a bit like. Liu Ya looked down at the gauze black stockings on her legs. While Xiao Yi was not paying attention, Liu Ya snatched it and took a look, and discovered a shocking secret. "You are so perverted, this is the vice president's." Her beautiful mouth was covered by Xiao Yi's hand. And Xiao Yi said seriously, "Assistant sister, be careful with your words. If the deputy dean hears this, she'll kill me." Liu Ya widened her beautiful eyes and quickly shut up with Vice Dean Yunbing's hot temper. He might really do such a thing. After breaking free from Xiao Yi's hand, Liu Ya took the black sachet and sniffed it. The result was amazing, and he whispered in shock, "Student Xiao Yi, can you give me this? I fell in love with it as soon as I smelled it. It smells so good." Xiao Yi shook his head fiercely and firmly disagreed. "No, I spent a lot of effort to get this one," Liu Ya threatened. "If you don't send me off, I will tell the vice president." Xiao Yi refused again. "No, you have one too. Why don't you just make one?" Liu Ya's beautiful eyes widened, and she suddenly said, "That's right." Then, under Xiao Yi's stunned gaze, she took off the stockings on her legs. Chapter 81: The Secret of 1,000 Years of Killing. Chapter 81: Secret Technique, 1,000 Years of Killing. Revealing the originally white and tender skin, the smooth curves of the legs, and the crystal-clear jade feet. Xiao Yi quickly turned his eyes away, as if he would explode if he looked at him again. He took out the sachet and wanted to compare the difference in scent between teaching assistant Liu Ya and Vice President Yunbing. But what Xiao Yi didn't expect was, the teaching assistant's sister Liu Ya actually took a fancy to his precious sachet and wanted to snatch it from him. As a result, things developed to this point. Do not look at or listen to anything indecent. Xiao Yi looked straight at the virtual screen to watch the ring match, but out of the corner of his eye he saw Liu Ya's extremely perverted scene. Liu Ya deftly rolled the indescribable black gauze she had taken off into a small ball of thread. "No, I just said that. Are you really coming?" Liu Ya also used energy to form beautiful characters that fit perfectly on the little ball. They were called Xiao Yi's special sachet. Xiao Yi was shocked. Could it be that the teaching assistant wanted him to give it to someone? This someone is it him? Sure enough. The development of the matter was within Xiao Yi's expectations. Liu Ya looked at her work with great satisfaction, and put it in front of Xiao Yi's nose and asked curiously, "Does it smell?" Xiao Yi sniffed it with a bit of awkwardness in his heart, which made him glare at it. Surprised, "It smells good. It is another unique fragrance. Although it cannot be compared with the Yunbing brand fragrance, it is also very distinctive." Liu Ya curled the corners of her mouth, feeling very happy, and the arc was harder to suppress than a cannon. "Well, of course my beautiful feet smell good." Xiao Yi finally cleared up his prejudice against her. Without prejudice, she would be one step closer to defeating Xiao Yi. However, why did Xiao Yi say actually? Liu Ya's beautiful eyes turned bright, and she put the Yunbing brand black sachet into her pocket, and said with interest, "Student Xiao Yi, I'll trade mine with yours. Yours is mine now." As she spoke, she placed the indescribable little ball of gauze engraved with Xiao Yi's special sachet in Xiao Yi's hand. Xiao Yi felt like crying but had no tears, so he could only accept it silently. "I'll go ask the goddess Vice President Yunbing for another one someday. I believe she will be generous enough to give me another one. If you don't give it to me, I will use threats. If you don't give it to me, I won't give you the massage to eliminate the violent Taoist rhyme." When Liu Ya saw that Xiao Yi did not refuse, she was even more delighted. This shows that in Xiao Yi's heart, her importance is no less than that of Vice Dean Yunbing. At this time, Nangong Xiao cried out in surprise, covering her mouth with her hands and said, Oh my god, this Cheng Yi is actually on the field, can he beat the Titan Ape? Liu Ya and Xiao Yi's attention was attracted. A LED broadcast on the virtual screen showed that Cheng Yi and his contractor girl came on stage and personally fought against the terrifying Titan Ape. Xiao Yi frowned. It is rumored that Cheng Li has always been an arrogant and domineering student council president. No one has ever talked about his realm and combat power. This battle is very suspenseful. Liu Ya sat cross-legged, leaning next to Xiao Yi, and analyzed. We can win. Cheng Yi is an SS level Azure Dragon Implet. He reached the Grandmaster 10-star realm 10 years ago now. After 10 years, his realm has long been promoted to Grandmaster. As for how many stars of Grandmaster he is, I don't know. This Titan Giant Ape is the Dean of Titan Academy. He is the son and daughter-in-law of the Titan Supreme, but Cheng Yi is also the son of the Supreme. Upon hearing this, Xiao Yi and Nan Gong Xiao became very interested in this battle. The battle between the Supreme Sons should be exciting. On the virtual screen, after Cheng Yi and his contracted girl came on stage, they looked calmly at the terrifying 100-meter-tall Titan Ape and said inferently, I haven't taken action for many years today. I will use you as a training ground. The Titan Ape sneered. Come on, I also want to see to what extent King Kong Supreme has trained you. Cheng Yi and the other person surprisingly mobilized the power of the contract and began to summon the SS level template Azure Dragon. Yin. Roar, a rough and violent voice floated from the sky. Then in the sky, a giant dragon with wings and covered with green scales suddenly appeared, looking down at the Titan Ape. Grandmaster 5 stars, the vast power of artistic conception spread out, almost reaching its substance. It was your master who personally said that Aunt Liuyo is your master's wife? Asked the double-winged green dragon. Titan Ape. Of course, otherwise you think we are yelling nonsense? The double-winged Azure dragon snorted coldly. If your master does something reckless and ruins Aunt Liuyo's reputation, he will be dead. The Titan Ape sneered. How shameless. When did my master ever want to ruin the reputation of his master's wife? The sound of explosion rose into the sky. It was the Titan Ape that took action. Its fist, as big as a mountain, smashed towards the double-winged green dragon with unparalleled ferocious momentum. The king long flapped its wings violently. A strong wind suddenly arose, and a violent hurricane passed by, and in an instant it was behind the Titan Ape. The Titan Ape's fist as big as a mountain bag missed, but it roared with excitement. Good. Finally I met someone my own age who can do a few hand gestures with me. This guy is also a battle maniac. The conscious body Cheng Yi's face turned dark. He was 10 years older than the scarred and tatted young man, but he was treated as their peer. Isn't this an insult to him? This guy must be taught a lesson. Talented skills: hurricane force, control the power of wind, forming a storm attack, greatly increasing speed and attack power. The double-winged green dragon flapped its wings rapidly, and the power of artistic conception became extremely rich. The air blades spun into a violent hurricane, scraping towards the Titan Ape's head, aiming for its eyes. The Titan Ape has thick skin, muscular body and abundant hair. The only weak spots are the buttocks or cheeks. Seeing the Titan Ape was in a menacing situation, he quickly protected his cheeks with his palms, then raised his terrifyingly huge hairy legs and kicked. With a air was kicked and exploded again. A two-winged blue dragon is a giant dragon from the west. It flapped its wings violently and easily avoided the attack of the Titan Ape. It then went around the back of the Titan Ape's butt and quickly launched a skill. It is a 5-star Grandmaster and a speed-type summon beast in terms of speed. Even the 10-star Grandmaster Titan Ape can't catch up with it. Hurricane force full power. Hundreds of wind spears, hundreds of them, were formed in the air. Go! The double-winged green dragon gave an order, and the wind spear shot towards the butt of the giant Titan Ape like a sharp sword. Cheng Yi smiled slyly, and used a sinister move, secret technique. 1,000 years of killing. Because the Titan Ape was shielding its face with both hands to resist the hurricane attack in front of it, its legs were still kicking in the air, and its vision was limited. It had no time to resist, and the wind spear hit a certain part of the Titan Ape as Cheng Yi wished. An extremely miserable scream rose to the sky and spread throughout the prairie. The Titan Ape's eyes were about to pop out of its head in pain. It covered a certain part of its body with both hands and jumped with both feet, jumping several thousand meters high like a monkey. Chapter 80. To which student can withstand this test? Ouch, it hurts. It hurt so much. The Titan Ape's face was filled with pain. It jumped up and down in agony, and rolled on the ground on the ring, holding its butt in agony. As the saying goes, the fingers are connected to the heart, and the buttocks are directly connected to the heart. You can imagine how much pain it is in. That's too cruel. Oh, my God, that's miserable. It's better to be miserable. Beat him hard. It's satisfying. Seeing that arrogant guy suffer so badly. I feel really good. That's right. We're sure to win this time. Titan rubbish. Get back. The Kunpeng geniuses felt extremely happy when they saw the Titan Ape summoned by the scarred and tatted young contractor. jumping up and down in pain. Aiden is trash. He deserves to be severely beaten up for daring to come to Kunpeng Academy and act so arrogantly. The Titan's reaction was different. Insidious to insidious. Unworthy of being a human being. That's right, he has no moral principles and actually launched a sneak attack. Let's have a face-to-face fight if you dare. This is so shameless. The 10 pairs of contractors on the Titan side were so angry about the way the two-winged blue dragon attacked, that it was really infuriating. How can someone be so insidious as to specifically attack other people's shameful parts? In the sky, the two-winged Azure dragon felt his butt exciting when he saw the miserable appearance of the Titan ape. It's so miserable. The two-winged blue dragon looked at the Titan ape rolling on the ground in pain with a playful look, and shouted in a sarcastic tone. Hey, I haven't beaten you enough if you can't even bear this little pain. Are you still a Titan ape? No way, no way. Is this all the Titan ape can do? This is to rubbish? A Titan giant ape spat out a mouthful of blood in anger. He barely stood up with red eyes, as if he was about to spit out a raging fire. It endured the pain and said word by word with gritted teeth. You are very good. I was careless just now. I will beat you up. TSK. The two-winged green dragon made a TSK sound and looked at it in surprise. It didn't expect that it could actually stand up again. This mouth is really hard. He was clearly almost exhausted, yet he insisted on fighting again. But the dark eyes of the double-winged blue dragon suddenly stared at the Titan ape. Crotch. The double-winged green dragon laughed wickedly. If you can handle this next move, then I respect you as a man, a real man. And give you a thumbs up. In front of the virtual screen, the most beautiful widow assisted Liu Ya and the fruitful young woman Nangong Saya, who were watching the late broadcast, chuckled. The smiles of the two beautiful women were like to fresh flowers blooming, making the atmosphere on the scene lively. This Cheng Yi is so mean. Nangong Sayo was very happy to see the Titan ape suffer a defeat. Assistant instructor Liu Ya said with interest, the difference between the two rounds is too great. They are not at the same level of combat power at all. The double-winged Azure dragon is playing with the Titan giant ape like a monkey. Moreover, judging from the look in the double-winged Azure dragon's eyes, it seems that he will use an even more sinister move soon. Xiao Yi's mouth twitched as a man. He could feel how painful it was. But why are Nangong Saya and Liu Ya smiling so happily? Could it be that these two women have some strange attributes? Hearing Xiao Yi's voice, Liu Ya and Nangong Saya's beautiful eyes both looked towards Xiao Yi's back. A curious look speaks for itself. Xiao Yi felt something tighten somewhere. Then he raised his hand and gave Shuoji Oskul's Nangong Sayo a slap on the head. Ouch! Nangong Sayo cried out in pain, touching her head with her little hand and said, Xiao Yi, what are you doing? It hurts. Xiao Yi glared at him and said seriously, you are not allowed to give birth to any strange attributes. If Nangong Sayo had some strange attributes, then the person who would suffer in the end would still be him, Xiao Yi. So when this attribute is just born and is still in its infancy, it must be extinguished. Nangong Sayo's pretty face was stunned, and she shook her head violently. She just felt it was interesting. And there was really no strange attribute born. At this time, Liu Ya, who was sitting cross-legged, spoke up and said softly, Student Xiao Yi, this is very normal, so don't blame Nangong-san. Xiao Yi widened his starry eyes and suddenly glanced at the back of the most beautiful assistant Liu Ya. Is this a serious topic? Could it be that the teaching assistant has some strange attribute? Feeling Xiao Yi's seemingly indecent gaze, Liu Ya blushed and said, Koketh is lie. If you look at me again, I'll dig your eyeballs out. And Liu Ya sneaked over and said something in Xiao Yi's ear. What she said was, don't look at it now. It's up to you during the massage. After hearing this, Xiao Yi's eyes widened and his jaw dropped in surprise. Oh my god. Which student can withstand this kind of test? Which student can resist such temptation? After Xiao Yi realized what was happening, he said seriously, Sister Assistant, please don't distort my noble character. I am just trying to help others and practice traditional virtues. Liu Ya gave him a charming look. You little bastard, you're taking advantage of me and still acting like a good kid. If anyone dared to look at her, Liu Ya, like that, she would have kicked that person so hard that he would have no descendants and would have kicked him tens of thousands meters away so that he would be reborn soon. Nangong Sayo chuckled again and said, hurry up and watch the late broadcast. Cheng Yi is acting weird again. That Titan ape will suffer for what it has. Liu Ya and Xiao Yi's attention was attracted. On the ring, the Titan ape finally caught his breath and realized the power of the double-winged green dragon. It said solemnly, you are very powerful, a worthy opponent. But I'm not weak either. Let's fight again, and one move will decide the winner. How do you think? The double-winged green dragon's dark eyes revealed a teasing look, and he said nonsensical lie, one move. But I just finished warming up, and I haven't had enough fun yet. You won't be unable to hold on, right? No way, no way. The son of Titan Prime, that's all? That's it? The Titanate's eyebrows jumped and he gritted his teeth. I'm about to die of pain, and you've just finished warming up? Damn it, the gap between Grandmaster and Grandmaster is so huge, damn it. The defense is about to be broken. We must resolve this issue quickly, it will do me no good to drag it out. I am the son of the Supreme Being after all. I can lose the battle but not the person. I will do what I say. The Titanate roared angrily, and a strong power of artistic conception emanated from his body. He immediately used his innate skills. Roaring shock, sonic attack, shocking the enemy's mind and making them dizzy for a certain period of time. Carrying a strong power of artistic conception, the sonic attack spread out. This move is mainly to catch the enemy by surprise. If the enemy is not prepared for the attack of music, it is easy to be hit. But who is Chengyi? He is the son of the Supreme Being, and has been the Student Union president for 10 years. He has already collected the information of many students in 10 colleges, including the information of the Titan Ape. Therefore the double-winged Dasher Dragon had already prepared for this sonic attack and used the power of wind to form a series of sound barrier boundaries, which greatly weakened this sonic attack. By the time the sonic attack reached King Long, it was already the end of the attack and there was little effect left. Then, the double-winged green dragon laughed heavily. Hundreds of sharp swords formed by the power of wind flew towards the crotch of the Titan Ape. With it came with the sharp momentum of thousands of swords being fired at the same time, flashing a cold light. Direct hit. Everything passes. Ouch. A cruel roar rose to the sky. Chapter 83 Liuya. The second plan is being implemented. A Titan Ape covered a bloody part of his body, and his terrifying giant face became extremely distorted due to the pain. The scream spread across the entire prairie, ringing in the ears of all the talented students. No matter they were boys or girls, they all felt a chill in their crotch, and looked at the double-winged green dragon with a hint of awe. Before the Titan Ape could finish his words, he fainted from extreme pain and was forced to cancel his summoning form and leave the Void God Tower. Fortunately, it happened in the virtual God Tower. If this battle took place in reality, this Titan Ape would be crippled from then on, which would greatly weaken its combat power. And both contractors would be greatly affected. Kunpeng side wins. The double-winged green dragon was about 20 meters in size. It flapped its wings and hovered in the air. Its eyes, full of invincibility, scanned the Titan Fangtian Zhaoyi and said calmly, "Are you convinced?" Titan Fangtian Zhaoyi didn't dare to look King Long in the eye and lowered his head without speaking. Even the Titan Giant Ape, who was a 10-star Grandmaster, lost so completely. These geniuses, who were only a 4-star Grandmaster at their highest level, would definitely lose if they went. The double-winged green dragon made contact and turned back into Chengyi and the contractor girl. Chengyi looked at those Titan Fangtian Zhaoyi and said, "You lose, get out. Aunt Liuya, you are not worthy to see it. Also go back and tell your master that Aunt Liuya is a good friend of my father, King Kong Supreme. And also the teacher of my uncle Xiaoyi to better not mess around, otherwise he's dead." The Titan's geniuses withdrew from the Void God Tower. The geniuses from Kunpeng's side were overjoyed and extremely happy. Especially the group of students from Kunpeng College who participated in the college competition. They all had smiles on their faces. It felt so good to be able to step on the Titan prodigy. After the incident came to an end, everyone's opinions of Chengyi changed. If Chengyi had not participated in the competition, last year's champion would probably have been student Kunpeng. Everyone realizes how powerful the student union president is. After finishing the job, Chengyi remembered something and happily pulled his contractor girl away. On the other side, in front of the virtual screen watching the live broadcast, Nan Gong Xiao slapped the table with her little hand and shouted, "Good, head fight." The young woman seemed to like that insidious way of attack very much, and an expression of extreme excitement appeared on her face. Xiaoyi began to feel worried. Could it be that Nan Gong Xiao's wife really developed and strange attributes? He raised his hand and pinched Nan Gong Xiao's delicate face, but concern in his eyes was evident. The young woman Shuo Jiuo looked at Xiaoyi with a silly look on her pretty face, her beautiful eyes revealing a clear and foolish look. Liuya leaned her sexy body on the sofa, fiddling with the Yunbing brand black sachet in her hands. She looked at Xiaoyi's handsome profile thoughtfully, and the second plan quietly emerged in her mind. The king forced itself. That's right, that's the second plan on T-Steel Hearts. It as to troublesome. Just be direct. After exchanging the sackets, Liuya was able to confirm that Xiaoyi was not rejecting her and had a good impression of her. If Xiaoyi's character is good enough, then the second plan can be implemented. As long as Xiaoyi has good character, he will naturally be responsible for her, and she could be considered to have conquered Xiaoyi. Although the means were a bit dishonorable. Then the next step is to observe Xiaoyi's qualities directly, or to inquire about Xiaoyi's deeds indirectly. Otherwise, if she implemented the second plan, what would Xiaoyi do if he pulled out the hook? How will she face Xiaoyi then? Will she be able to defeat Xiaoyi? Or did a pair of scissors snap the culprit? Ding dong! At this time, the doorbell rang. After Xiaoyi opened the door, Cheng Yi and his contractor girl came. Cheng Yi looked expectant and asked, "Uncle Xiao, have you watched the live broadcast of the Void God Tower?" Xiaoyi nodded and welcomed Cheng Yi and the other person in. "Hey, Uncle Xiao. I did a great job this time. I successfully stopped those Titan rubbish that wanted to harm Aunt Liuya," Cheng Yi said with great joy. Liuya said, "You did a good job." Cheng Yi was surprised to see the most beautiful teaching assistant here. My goodness, they all worked so hard in the Void God Tower just to stop Titan Yan Zhaoyi from seeing Liuya. As a result, Liuya came to Xiaoyi's place to watch the live broadcast for fun. Cheng Yi expressed his envy. "Thank you, Aunt Liu, for the compliment." The contractor girl smiled shyly. Cheng Yi is very domineering and arrogant, but his contractor seems to be very shy and even a little introverted. Xiaoyi looked at it and had no idea how these two people could have signed a contract. "What do you want from me?" Xiaoyi asked. Cheng Yi rubbed his hands and said excitedly, "Uncle Xiao, Aunt Nangong, can we delete the video we recorded yesterday? I promise, the student union has been completely reformed. The work style has been improved across the board." Xiaoyi's mouth twitched. "You came all the way here just for this?" Nangong Xiao tilted her head and thought for a while, and finally asked Xiaoyi, "The student union has indeed changed a lot, Xiaoyi. Do you think we should delete the video?" Yesterday, Nangong Xiao used a video recorder to record the domineering and overbearing side of volunteers and the student union forcing freshmen to pay money. Cheng Yi came here to request that the evidence be deleted. Cheng Yi saw that there was hope. His eyes lit up and he quickly patted his chest and promised, "Uncle Xiao, the improved style will continue forever." Xiaoyi rubbed his chin and said, "It's okay to delete it. We have indeed noticed the change in the student union style." Nangong Xiao got up from the corner, found the video recorder and threw it to Cheng Yi, saying, "Yes, it's all in here." Cheng Yi was very happy and laughed. "Thank you, Uncle Xiao." He walked out holding the camera as if he was holding a treasure. The shy contractor girl hurriedly followed. Xiaoyi scratched his head and said puzzled, "Lie, are you so happy? If you do something bad, I just need to tell Brother Cheng. There is no need for a video recorder." Nangong Xiao nodded in agreement. "Yes." When Cheng Yi reached the door, his legs went weak and he almost fell down. It was his contractor girl who supported him and he didn't fall down. Cheng Yi and the other man came in a hurry and left in a hurry. Liuya saw everything, and she covered her mouth with her hands in surprise and said, "I was wondering how the student union, which used to be a stinking place, became a hot topic on the official website these days, and received praise from all kinds of freshmen and compliments from seniors. It turns out that it was you two who made President Cheng Yi make comprehensive reforms." Nangong Xiao retorted, "It's not me. It's all because of Xiaoyi that the student union was reformed." "Really?" Liuya was even more surprised. It seems that Xiaoyi is very positive and has very good values. After coming to this conclusion, Liuya's beautiful eyes revealed a deep joy. Chapter 80 for Class Teacher. This is a manifestation of responsibility. The world, values and outlook on life are very good and full of positive energy. Liu gave Xiaoyi a quality score of 60 out of 100. Liuya really wanted to know what Xiaoyi's sense of responsibility was. Being patriotic and protecting one's family are both manifestations of a sense of responsibility. If someone is the kind of person who throws away things after using them, keeps them if they are valuable, and throws them aside if they are worthless, he is a typical egoist and it is difficult to say what his sense of responsibility is. So Liuya wanted to focus on verifying Xiaoyi's sense of responsibility. At this time, Xiaoyi and Nangong Xiao received a message at the same time. When I opened it, it was a message from the teacher of the Tianjiahui class. The lecturer for tomorrow's class will be the class teacher, who will focus on introducing the Tianjiahui list and the Tianjiahui list rankings. Please make sure all students are present. Liuya moved closer to Xiaoyi and looked at him, then said thoughtfully, "For freshmen, the Tianjiahui list is usually not introduced too early. I wonder what your class teacher's purpose is in introducing the Tianjiahui list so soon." They were so close that Xiaoyi could clearly feel Liuya's breath and that unique body fragrance. "When I looked down, I couldn't see my feet. The saying 'you can't see your toes when you look down' is the most beautiful thing in the world. Liuya, Yunbing and Nangong Xiao are such beauties in the world." Liuya noticed Xiaoyi's gaze and snorted. Time passed quickly and it was the next morning. There are still 10 minutes before class starts, and all the contracted geniuses in the genius class have arrived, including Xiaoyi, Nangong Xiao, and Cheng Bingshi. The same is true for the class teacher and Liuyan in a maleered girl form. Perhaps it was because the Tianjai class was different from the others. Before class even started, the two class teachers had already begun teaching the content of the lesson. The Tianjiahui ranking is a ranking of the comprehensive strength of all the contracted students in Kunpeng College, from 1st to 1. 200th. Yes, all the contracted students from freshman to senior year are on the list. At the lower the grade, the lower the ranking on the Tianjiahui list. Most of the top 300 in the Tianjiahui list are seniors, and most of the 300th to 600th are seniors, and you freshmen are at the bottom of the Tianjiahui list. From 900th to 1200th. The Tianjiahui contractors were speechless and talked among themselves. What kind of genius list is this, since he is a senior and older? Of course his realm is higher and he is ranked at the top. That's right, the Tianjiahui ranking should be divided into 4, one for each grade. Or maybe the Tianjiahui ranking is ranked based on talent and potential, rather than strength and realm. These young-looking genius contractors were all complaining about the shortcomings of the ranking of the genius list. They used to be the top students in their high school, but now they are ranked after 900th, which makes them very dissatisfied. Xiaoyi shook his head. These students had not yet experienced the cruelty of the end of the world. Hearing the contempt of these geniuses and Xiaoyi's actions, the two class teachers' eyes flashed and they shouted loudly. Quiet! There was a deafening sound as if a bomb had exploded in the ears of all the students, and then everyone fell silent. The male class teacher smiled at Xiaoyi and said, Student Xiaoyi, what do you think about the Tianjiahui ranking? Xiaoyi smiled calmly and said, I think the ranking rules of the Tianjiahui ranking are very appropriate. Oh? The male class teacher's eyes lit up. What do you mean? The other geniuses looked at Xiaoyi with confusion. The genius list was not in their favor. As the chosen ones of heaven, who could tolerate being ranked after 900th? Xiaoyi explained, now is the end of the world. The era summoned beasts, the strong are respected, and the weak are just ants. The weak are reduced to vassals, and only the strong have the right to speak. A genius is one who can grow up, otherwise he is just a corpse. So I think it's appropriate to rank the Tianjiahui ranking based on overall strength. Quiet! The Tianjiahui contractors were silent when they heard this. They were all shocked by Xiaoyi's words in the last days. The strong are respected. Only the strong have the right to speak. The weak can only become vassals. This is the most realistic portrayal of this apocalyptic era. Clap, 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 cat-eared girl you took the lead in applauding. And the geniuses followed suit. Suddenly, there was thunderous applause among the teachers, rising and falling like the tide. After the applause died down, both class teachers said, well said. So, do you still think that the ranking of the Tianjiahui list is appropriate in this way? The Tianjiahui contractors all agreed, it's appropriate. Yes, the strong are respected. The ranking rules of the Tianjiahui ranking are very suitable for this era. It's right. We are just being pedantic. Yeah, at worst, we can top the Tianjiahui list again in 3 years. After all, we are on the Tianjiahui list and are the top students in the freshman year. The class teacher narrowed his eyes, then raised his hand and waved. And suddenly a list appeared on the virtual screen in front of the teacher. Tianjiahui list. First, Holy Golden Himalayan, Grandmaster 10 stars. Big 4 Prodigy, Lidan Epic. Second, Armored Demon Crocodile. Grandmaster 9 stars. Top 4 Prodigies, Guiche, Sheng Mei. Third, Nine-Tailed Heavenly Fox, Grandmaster 7 stars, Great Prodigy, Xiao Yi, Cheng Bingxi. No, 900, Dark Knight Wolf. Rank 7, Great Prodigy, Bai Jun Hao, Mo Shu King. No, 1200, Psychedelic Disc, Level 3. Day 1 Prodigy, Hong Wei, Shanya. After looking at the entire ranking from top to bottom, some of the genius contractors suddenly gasped. Are the third place Xiao Yi and Cheng Bingxi from our class? It seems so. It is marked as a great genius. Damn, Xiao Yi and the others are already at the Grandmaster 7 stars, I'm only at the 3rd level. I'm ranked 900th. And I'm only at level 7. At this time, all the students looked at Xiao Yi and Cheng Bingxi in shock, with admiration rising in their hearts. The two class teachers laughed. The main purpose of this class was to set an example for these arrogant and conceited geniuses. Let them see clearly that there are always people better than you. A smile flashed across Yuya's beautiful eyes. She understood the teacher's intention. At this time, the class teacher waved his hand again, and the content on the virtual big screen changed, turning into a grassland. A golden dragon and a two-tailed white fox used their innate skills to control the beast tide, allowing other summoned beasts to kill the monsters. Xiao Yi raised his eyebrows. Isn't this the scene when he took the college entrance examination? The voice of the class teacher sounded. Xiao Yi, Nangong Xiao, and Cheng Bingxi, the 3 top scorers in the college entrance examination, single and action raised the comprehensive college entrance examination ranking of their base city from last to 9th in the country. There are 10 super base cities in the country, and the low-level wilderness base cities even have more than one super base city. The geniuses present all wide in their eyes. I didn't expect that the top scorer in the college entrance examination was actually born in a low-level base city. From the last to the 9th in the country, how many monsters did he kill? The class teacher continued. This is not the point is that the three top scorers in the college entrance examination used their own advantages to help other students in the base city get better grades, so that the base city can enter the ninth place in the country in terms of comprehensive results. This is a manifestation of friendship and responsibility students must learn from them. A video extracted from the virtual screen was playing, showing the golden dragon and the two-tailed white fox controlling the beast tide, and other candidates killing monsters. The beast-eared girl Yuya, who was standing behind the crowd, yelled in surprise. Yes, this is a reflection of my friendship with my classmates and my sense of responsibility towards the base city that raised me. Xiaoyi looked at her in astonishment. Why was she shouting so loudly? And why was she so surprised and happy? Chapter 85. Liuya, boss, pour out a glass. Liuya was very happy. She finally confirmed that Xiaoyi was a man worthy of trust. With her more than 100 years of teaching experience, she had never seen geniuses as outstanding and of good quality as Xiaoyi and the other two. She has always been very good at judging people, and this time she would give Xiaoyi a score of 100. Liuya was so excited that she forgot she was still in the classroom when she came to her senses. She found that all the students were looking at her in shock. Well, what do the classmates think? Liuya's pretty face blushed. A most beautiful assistant teacher looked over, and all the genius contractors lowered their heads in shame. Damn it, I only cared about myself during the college entrance examination. Killing one more monster was a profit. How could I care about others? Well, everyone is like that. When I was killing monsters, I even had to fight with others for them. Well, compared to the three top scorers in the college entrance examination, we seem like clowns. At this time, the two class teachers led Xiaoyi and the other two to the high platform and said, "The reason why we humans were able to survive the apocalypse thousands of years ago is because we have predecessors like Xiaoyi, Nan Gongxiao, and Cheng Bingxi who sacrificed their lives for humanity, allowing the human race to continue. We is our role model and a model worth learning from." Suddenly, the geniuses in the genius class present had a higher evaluation of Xiaoyi and the other two. Very good, the two class teachers felt that the desired effect of this class was achieved. These genius contractors now have a goal and a role model, and they will pursue them without stopping. Time passed, 2 hours went by quickly, and today's class was over. At this time, the class teacher walked up to Xiaoyi and the other two and said with a smile, "The realm of the three of you has reached the 7-star Grandmaster. From now on, you only need to take the big exam. It doesn't matter if you don't come to class on weekdays. As for cultural knowledge points, you can arrange your own time to study them." Nan Gongxiao and Cheng Bingxi jumped up happily. Xiaoyi frowned. What if I encounter knowledge points that are difficult to absorb? If I don't come to class, I won't be able to see the teacher on weekdays. Liuya blinked her beautiful eyes, stared at Xiaoyi eagerly and said, "I'm the best at these, leave it to me." Nan Gongxiao and Cheng Bingxi were still happy about not having to go to class no matter which area it was. They hated going to class. But Xiaoyi was frightened by Liuya's fiery eyes. It was like a helpless sheep being targeted by a hungry wolf that had been starving for months. It's changed. The way the teaching assistant looks at me has changed. Xiaoyi could clearly sense that Liuya's gaze was really scary. A bye-bye class teacher and teaching assistant's sister. Xiaoyi hurriedly pulled Nan Gongxiao and Cheng Bingxi away from here. Liuya saw her sheep running away, and she hurriedly followed it with her long legs folded. The female class leader asked the male class leader, "You allow them to skip classes, what if they do poorly on the exam?" The male class teacher said confidently, "Impossible." Female class teacher. The male class teacher pointed at the teaching assistant Liuya who was chasing after them and said, "But the most beautiful teaching assistant here, do you think they will fall behind in their cultural studies?" No, the female teacher suddenly realized. Liuya is far superior to the two of them in terms of both knowledge and teaching ability. In private, both of them would always respectfully address Liuya as senior. With senior Liuya following them, Xiaoyi and the other two will only achieve better and more outstanding results than if they were taught by them. On the main street below the teaching building, a graceful figure followed Xiaoyi and the other two. "Xiaoyi, Xiao, Bingxi, you have just entered school and you have ranked 3rd on the Tianjiaoi list. I decided to hold a party to celebrate." Liuya, who has a hot body, put her hands on her hips, stood in front of Xiaoyi, and said with a smile on her pretty face. Xiaoyi looked at the teaching assistant's bright smile, but a bad premonition arose in his heart, as if something bad was going to happen. And the source is the teaching assistant's sister Liuya. Great, great. And must be a lot of delicious food at a party. I love parties the most. Cheng Bingxi's beautiful eyes were sparkling with stars. Nan Gongxiao also echoed with excitement. I agree, I totally agree. Xiaoyi looked at the two of them helplessly. These two were foodies and really had similar tastes. Otherwise, Cheng Bingxi would not have accepted Nan Gongxiao's existence so quickly. Wait, Xiaoyi raised his hand. Nan Gongxiao and Cheng Bingxi looked at Xiaoyi eagerly, and said with grievance, "Xiaoyi, you won't disagree. right? Hearing this, Liuya also became nervous. Holding a party was just an excuse. The real reason she wanted to hold the party was to implement her second plan. As long as the second plan is successfully implemented, after tomorrow, she will be Xiaoyi's third contracted beast girl. So Yu attaches great importance to this party. Xiaoyi choked and said helplessly, "Of course not." "Oh yeah, that's great, that's really great." Nangong Saya Yo and Chengbing she jumped up and cheered. Yuya was delighted, her lips curled up in happiness. The curve of her mouth was so high that even a cannon could hardly suppress it. Xiaoyi took out 3 small kunpeng figures with lanyards from his pocket. Small and exquisite, only the size of a thumb. He hung 2 of them on the slender necks of Nangong Saya, Wen Chengbing she respectively, and instructed. "This is a protective amulet given to us by Dinyan Shi. As long as we are in danger, we will be teleported to Dinyan Shi instantly, and Dinyan Shi will ensure our safety." As he spoke, Xiaoyi also hung the last small kunpeng figure around his neck. "Really? Thank you very much, Dinyan Shi," the 2 girls said gratefully. Xiaoyi nodded and glanced at Liuya, who had a sexy body. His eyes spoke for themselves. Liuya's mouth twitched, and a hint of anger flashed in her hungry eyes. Great, Xiaoyi must think she has bad intentions. What? She didn't want to put him in danger, and she didn't want to kill him. Then Liuya personally took Xiaoyi and the other 2 to the Magic City for shopping. This was the first time that Xiaoyi and the other 2 went out of the Magic City Academy. First, at the strong suggestion of Nangong Sayo and Chengbing Shi, they went to the World of Warcraft market and purchased more than 10 kinds of Grandmaster level World of Warcraft meat, all of which were plump and fragrant. There were both land and ocean World of Warcraft meat, commonly known as seafood, and they purchased several meals in total. It only took a low-grade crystal core from a Grandmaster, which was provided by Liuya. You don't have to carry back several meals of monster meat yourself, just hire someone to deliver it. Then, at Liuya's suggestion, the 4 of them entered a street full of shops selling alcohol. A cunning look flashed in Liuya's beautiful eyes. She excitedly pulled Xiaoyi to pick out various fine wines brewed by soaking in high-level monster meat. The higher the level of the monster meat, the higher the alcohol content and the better the aroma of the fine wine brewed from it. Some get drunk after drinking. Boss, take out the most valuable treasure in your store. Liuya put her hands on her hips and ordered in a very generous tone. Chapter I Texas Xiaoyi. I've suffered such a loss, I must return it. After buying everything, Xiaoyi and the 3 stunning beauties returned to Villa No. 1 in the Sanzai Lakeview Villa District. A party was held at Xiaoyi's villa. Villa No. 10. The most beautiful widow assisted Liuya, is decorated in Syrian style, which will greatly affect the atmosphere if you hold a party there. Liuya was full of complaints about this. This is not her main battlefield. Liu, Yan Nangong Sayo and Chengbing she entered the kitchen and began to prepare dishes and fruits. Xiaoyi also wanted to go in to help, but was pushed out by Yuya. Just let us do it, little brother. Liu glanced at him with her beautiful eyes and said something indescribable. Xiaoyi was very dissatisfied and retorted, I am not small. He is already 18 years old. And Xiaoyi is very dissatisfied when being called little brother. Yuya rolled her eyes at him and said, I haven't tried it, how would I know? Xiaoyi glared. Yuya must be talking about age, right? But her words sounded a bit inappropriate. Seeing that Xiaoyi looked very unconvinced, Yuya thought he was angry, so she comforted him. Oh, although the teaching assistant sister has never seen it, there will be a chance in the future, I promise. Xiaoyi. Assistant teacher, what are you talking about? Does she want the cow to eat tender grass? Xiaoyi quickly fled and returned to the living room to wait. Nangong Sayo and Chengbing she quickly came out with fruits and drinks, but they looked disappointed. When Xiaoyi asked, he found out that the 2 girls had very poor talent as cooks and had never cooked before. The 2 girls only hindered others in the kitchen and even cut their fingers with the kitchen knife. Half an hour later, all the dishes, drinks, wine, cakes, fruits and vegetables were ready. Looking at the delicious dishes on the table, Nangong Sayo and Chengbing she's beautiful eyes sparkled with little stars as they said, Wow! This is my favorite cake. This is my favorite python meat. Liuya looked at the 2 girls' pretty faces full of joy and said happily, if you like it, I'll make it for you every day in the future. It's called a party, but in fact it's just for people having dinner together. Liuya glanced at Xiaoyi and said, Xiaoyi, you are a man, you drink, and we 3 weak women and drink beverages. Xiaoyi had a question mark on his face. Are you weak women? Nangong Saya eased. Yes, the 3 of us drink beverages, and men drink wine. Chengbing she winked and said Kokethis lie. Oh, husband Xiaoyi, just listen to sister Liuya. Okay then. Xiaoyi nodded. Before he traveled through time, he could drink 1,000 cups without getting drunk, so this life shouldn't be much different. And the 4 of them started to move. Half an hour later, Xiaoyi underestimated the power of the high-level monster meat premium wine and fell asleep. In a dream. Xiao Yi had a spring dream. This spring, dream thief is so fucking real, it feels like it's really happening. He actually dreamed that the most beautiful assistant teacher Liuya was honest with him, and then he was like a puppet, being manipulated by Liuya. Wake up the next day. What the hell? Xiao Yi was shocked. Liuya was hugging him like an octopus, completely uncovered. And they were both, still on the bed. This is a second bedroom, not the master bedroom. Xiao Yi hurriedly pushed away Liuya, who was hugging him. And while doing so he touched something indescribable, then he dressed neatly and came to the living room, sitting on the sofa in an uncertain state of mind. Fuck. I'm the top scorer in the college entrance examination, but I was pushed back. And the target is the most beautiful teaching assistant, Liuya. It's such a loss, such a loss. I just don't know if Nangong Xiao and Cheng Bingshi found out, otherwise it would be hard to explain. In the second bedroom, Liuya opened her beautiful eyes. In fact, she had woken up a long time ago. Her pretty face was slightly red, and she thought to herself, bastard, you just ran away like that. No, absolutely not. You must be responsible. Cursing, Liuya didn't even bother to put on her clothes. She rushed out of the second bedroom and came to the living room. She pointed at Xiao Yi's nose and said, "Kokathuslai. Xiao Yi, you did this to me? Don't you have anything to say? How am I going to face people if this gets out? Being a widow already brings a lot of rumors. If one more comes out, I won't leave anymore." As she spoke, Liuya's eyes turned slightly red, and a look of grievance appeared on her beautiful face. Xiao Yi was shocked. The surprise was not in Liuya's words. And the thing is that at this moment, she actually came out without any cover? Xiao Yi pointed at Liuya's delicate body and reminded her, "Teacher assistant, before you say this, shouldn't you pay attention to your appearance?" Liuya followed Xiao Yi's gaze and hurried back to the bedroom with a cry of. 10 seconds later, she came out fully dressed. She pointed at Xiao Yi's nose again and said, "Kokathuslai. Xiao Yi, you must be responsible for me. Otherwise I will not live." Xiao Yi. He felt a little regretful. He should not have reminded her the scenery was so beautiful and he had not appreciated it enough. Especially the most beautiful teaching assistant, one of the 3 goddesses of Kunpeng College. Liuya. However, Xiao Yi was very unconvinced by Liuya's words. "Teacher assistant sister. Don't think I don't know it was you who attacked me? I didn't move at all." Liuya's pretty face turned red with embarrassment. It turns out he knew everything. But how could Liuya let Xiao Yi go? She said with a disappointed expression. "I don't care. It happened." Xiao Yi said with a serious expression. "Assistant sister, this is wrong." "What's wrong?" Liuya felt very wronged and was about to cry. At this moment, she is not the most beautiful and confident teaching assistant. Nor is she the top professor who is in charge of everything. She is just a delicate little woman. Xiao Yi's irresponsible rebuttal made her feel very lost and lonely. Did she misjudge him after all? Xiao Yi's mouth twitched, a little impatient. "Why the hell are you crying? If Nangong Xiao and Cheng Bingshi find out, I'll be in trouble." Seeing Xiao Yi's somewhat impatient look, Liuya felt even more aggrieved. A drop of crystal clear water flowed from the corner of her beautiful eyes. He looked so pitiful that he felt sorry for him. Xiao Yi's face jumped, and he raised a finger and said, "Of course it's not right. Sister assistant teacher. It's easy to ask me to take responsibility, just one thing." Liuya's dull eyes suddenly brightened. As if the world was bright and beautiful at this moment, and she asked weakly, "What?" Xiao Yi curled his lips and said, "If you and I have a clear movement, I will be responsible for you. I didn't see anything yesterday. I was like a puppet. I suffered so much." Liuya was stunned. Xiao Yi cursed. "As a man, there is no reason for me to be manipulated by a woman. I can't take this loss. I must give it back." Liuya covered her mouth with her hands, chuckled, and said, "Kokathuslai. Damn it. If you take responsibility for me, we'll be together. You can do whatever you want then." Xiao Yi shook his head. "This is different. There is no wild fragrance at home. Not good. I've said too much. Oops, Sister Liutha, listen to my explanation." Liuya put her hands on her hips. Her mood became cheerful, and she pouted and said, "Okay. Xiao Yi, so this is what you think." Xiao Yi held Liuya in his arms and said, "Don't worry. Since the teaching assistant trusts me, Xiao Yi, of course I will be responsible." "I feel relieved when you say that." Liuya's heart finally settled down. From then on, she was no longer a widow. She was also a married woman. Chapter 87 To Women, smash the tools used in the crime. However, how can there be wild fragrance at home? Liuya secretly remembered what Xiao Yi said. Her husband 100 years ago, after signing the contract with her, hardly touched her, and went to see his old lover outside every day, so she still remains a virgin. The reason why Liuya is so thick-skinned and tell dirty jokes and knows a lot of color puns is because she has a little hobby and likes to watch some indescribable short videos. Her husband, who had never touched her and had been dead for more than 100 years, Went out to hunt for sex every day and ended up dead. So Yuya raised her white little hand and grabbed Xiaoyi's indescribable place, with a vicious expression on her beautiful face, and said tenderly, "Now I am also your beast mother. If you dare to come looking for me, I will kill you." Xiaoyi's neck shrank in fear. Yuya's serious look didn't seem like she was joking. "No, no, absolutely not," Xiaoyi assured repeatedly. After getting the assurance, Liu Yan nodded and let go. But then she became distressed again, with a bitter and troubled expression on her pretty face. "But how should I explain this to Sayo and Bingshi? Besides, I am your assistant. I am over 100 years old, and it is time for an old cow to eat young grass." Xiaoyi shook his head and corrected, "It's the cows eating tender grass. Liuya has the beauty of Nangong Saya, on the long legs of Qingbing, she is a combination of double advantages." Hearing this, Liuya rolled her eyes at Xiaoyi, her expression flashing with 1,000 kinds of charm in an instant, and said cockathiously, "You are still joking and amusing yourself at this time, huh? What is Sayo and Bingshi don't accept an old woman like me?" Xiaoyi corrected, "You are not an old woman, you are a big cow. Considering that great venerable Liuya has a lifespan of 800 years, she is only over 100 years old, less than 200 years old, which is equivalent to an ordinary person of 20 years old, who has just reached adulthood." Seeing that he didn't take her words seriously, Liuya stamped her feet anxiously and said angrily, "Hey! Be serious. After all, I am the third party. If they don't accept me, I will be very upset." Xiaoyi's expression became serious, and he frowned and said, "It is indeed very troublesome." After thinking for a while, his eyes suddenly lit up, and he clapped his hands and said, "Got it! There is a way." Liuya's pretty face lit up. "What do you have in mind?" Xiaoyi pushed Liu Yam into the kitchen and asked her to display her best cooking skills to prepare Ningong Saya Yo and Qingbing's favorite dishes and foods. Liu Ya was very happy. Cooking was what she was best at. "If successful, you can do whatever you want on our wedding night tonight." Liu Ya came over and kissed Xiaoyi. Xiaoyi's heart was pounding. "You said that?" Liu Ya pushed Xiaoyi out of the kitchen and said, "It hasn't worked yet. I'll talk about it when it does." Xiaoyi raised his hand and rubbed his chin, then returned to the sofa in the living room. After thinking for a while, he went upstairs to the master bedroom with a 3-meter long and wide bed. When the door opened, Nangong Sayo and Qingbingshi were hugging each other with their eyes closed. From Xiaoyi's perspective, they should still be asleep. After taking a look, Xiaoyi closed the door and returned to the living room on the first floor. Wait for Yuya to finish cooking before calling them. After all, the dishes are the killer. When Xiaoyi left, Nangong Sayo and Qingbingshi opened their eyes instantly, then sat on the edge of the bed neatly dressed, with raging anger bursting from their beautiful eyes. They were pretending to be asleep. Just now, their feet were scratching themselves under the quilt. "This scumbag really makes me angry. He is touching grass again." "That's right, let's find an opportunity to destroy his weapons," Qingbingshi said with her claws and teeth bared. "That's exactly what I meant." Nangong Sayo nodded her chin in a fierce manner. "And let's find an opportunity. Let's do it tonight." Qingbingshi was still in a state of anger. Nangong Sayo blinked. "So soon? I'm a little reluctant to cut it off. It would be such a pity to cut it off." Qingbing's eyelids drooped. "Actually, I don't want to do that either. But he betrayed us, so we must punish him, otherwise he will be a troublemaker in the future." The two of them discovered what happened between Xiaoyi and Liu at midnight yesterday. It's just that the incident had already happened, and nothing can change the fact. And then he will harm others. Qingbingshi pulled Nangong Sayo downstairs. As a result, they saw Xiaoyi sitting with his legs crossed and eating fruits leisurely. He was still humming a little tune at this time, lying on the sofa alone, looking very enjoyable. Nangong Sayo and Qingbingshi became angry instantly. "Okay, he doesn't take it seriously. I'm going to bite him to death." Qingbingshi rushed over angrily, grabbed Xiaoyi's wrist and bit it. Nangong Sayo also imitated the action, ran over, lifted Xiaoyi's foot, and bit it. "Bite very hard." Xiaoyi took a breath of cold air in pain and said anxiously, "Fuck, you are born in the year of the dog." Qingbingshi bit her wrist without letting go and said, "Zanan, I'll bite you." Nangong Sayo bit her foot and refused to let go, saying vaguely, "It's this Ci Nan." The corner of Xiaoyi's mouth twitched. It turned out that they had known it for a long time. "Xiao, if you hold it in and bite it, what should you do if you get athlete's foot? You will have bad breath," Xiaoyi tried to explain. Nangong Sayo opened her beautiful eyes wide and said in disbelief, "What can Booker do?" Qingbingshi loosened her wrist at this time and said, "Saya, Xiaoyi is right. There is a chance that she will get it." Upon hearing this, Nangong Sayo hurriedly left and ran into the bathroom to rinse her mouth. She came out 10 seconds later and pounced on Xiaoyi like a beast, growling like a hungry wolf. "Danan, boss scumbag. I told you not to mess around with grass. I'm going to kill you." Xiao Yi trembled all over when he heard this, and hurriedly controlled Nan Gong's Xiao, saying, "Don't mess around. I was also a victim of yesterday's incident, as you know. I passed out after drinking one glass." Nan Gong Xiao and Cheng Bingshi looked at each other and said in sudden realization, "It seems so." Cheng Bingshi hurriedly touched the 2 rows of tooth marks and said distressfully, "Does it hurt? I'll get some medicine to wipe it off for you." Nan Gong Xiao also wiped the saliva from the teeth marks on the instep of her foot and pressed it gently, trying to relieve the pain. Xiao Yi shook his head. Seeing that the 2 women were no longer entangled, he breathed a sigh of relief and tried to pave the way for Liuya, saying, "A teaching assistant wants to be my 3rd contracted beast girl, what do you think?" Nan Gong Xiao and Cheng Bingshi widened their eyes and asked in shock, "Did Sister Liu really say that?" Xiao Yi nodded. "What else?" The 2 women shook their heads fiercely and said firmly, "No, absolutely not. That's right, the 2 of us are enough. How can we contract a 3rd one?" At this time, Liuya came out with hot cakes and dishes and arranged them neatly. The rich fragrance filled the entire living room. Liuya ran into the bathroom with a nervous look on her face, not daring to face them. Nan Gong Xiao and Cheng Bingshi stared at the cake and python meat dish in front of them with great desire. When they picked up the chopsticks to pick up the food, Xiao Yi raised his hand and knocked away their chopsticks, saying, "Xiao, Bingshi, this is what the teaching assistant prepared. Do you want to eat?" Gurgle, gurgle. Nan Gong Xiao and Cheng Bingshi stared at the fragrant cakes and dishes in front of them with longing eyes and swallowed their saliva. Chapter 88 Successful Persuasion, a Happy Day. I want to eat. Gulu, my favorite, Gulu. The plump girl Nan Gong Xiao and the long-legged girl Cheng Bingshi both had saliva constantly secreting from their mouths and they kept swallowing their saliva. "No, that won't work. How can you eat the food that the teaching assistant's sister carefully prepared for you if you are so hostile to her?" Xiao Yi placed their favorites, durian millfuel cake and red ginseng python meat roll, in front of him. He scooped a piece of cake with a spoon, put it in front of his nose, sniffed it with great enjoyment, then put it in his mouth and chewed it slowly, saying, "It smells so good. I've never tasted such a delicious durian crate cake." Slurp, the beautiful eyes of the beautiful girl, Nan Gong Xiao, were filled with desire, and saliva was flowing from the corners of her mouth. Xiao Yi scooped a full spoonful with the spoon again, put it close to Nan Gong Xiao's mouth, and said, "Do you want to eat? If you want to eat, open your mouth." Nan Gong Xiao opened her little mouth, leaned forward, and was about to put it in her mouth. And at this moment, Xiao Yi suddenly took back the spoon, and the fruit girl took a breath of air. "Damn it!" Nan Gong Xiao bared her teeth and claws. Then, Xiao Yi picked up a piece of red ginseng python meat roll. With Cheng Bingshi watching the whole process, he ate it with great enjoyment, and said while eating, "This meat is only available in heaven. You can only eat it a few times in your lifetime. It's fragrant, tender and chewy, and your mouth will burst with juice after one bite." Nan Gong Xiao said angrily, "Great? How infuriating." Cheng Bingshi nodded with empathy and said through gritted teeth, "That's right, it's so infuriating." Xiao Yi sighed with regret, "Alas. I guess we won't be able to eat these 2 dishes anymore. The teaching assistant won't cook for us anymore." As he spoke, Xiao Yi picked up a piece of red ginseng python meat roll, placed it in front of Cheng Bingshi's cherry-like mouth and said with a smile, "Eat it if you want." Ouch! Cheng Bingshi ate the meat in one bite. Delicious! After finishing eating, she raised her white chin proudly toward Xiao Yi. A fruit girl Nan Gong Xiao stared at the girl in a daze and said angrily, "Sister Bingshi has eaten it. I want to eat it too." "No, no, no." Xiao Yi shook his head. He picked up the durian millfuel and red ginseng python meat roll in each hand and walked to the trash can under the witness of the 2 women, and even threw the plates into the trash can. Nan Gong Xiao and Cheng Bingshi widened their eyes and asked anxiously, "Do you want to eat the oil cake?" "Xiao Yi, are you crazy? Why did you fall down?" Xiao Yi sat down at the table again and said in a dark tone, "Since the 2 beast wives don't want Sister Liu to join us, it is estimated that she will never see us again in the future, so pour out the things and stop thinking about it." Gurgle, gurgle, their stomachs roared with protests of hunger. Nan Gong Xiao and Cheng Bingshi's beautiful eyes darkened and they muttered, "It's not that we don't accept Sister Liu. Yes, we are just afraid that you will start messing around in the future." Xiao Yi's eyes lit up. There was a chance. So he stepped up and said, "Sister Liu is of course my last contracted beast girl. Besides, this durian 1,000-layer cake and red ginseng python meat roll are very expensive. One dish requires a Grandmaster crystal core. Hey, Sister Liu is a rich woman. If she joins us, we can eat it every day. Grandmaster level crystal core." Hearing this, both women shrank their necks. They didn't expect it to be so expensive. Xiao Yi continued to deceive. "And you have seen Sister Liu's cooking skills, which are at the level of a state banquet. Each time she cooks, she needs a Grandmaster crystal core. If she cooks for us every day in the future, It will be equivalent to us earning 365 Grandmaster Crystal Cores in a year. It seems so. The two girls swallowed and their beautiful eyes lit up. After thinking for a moment, they looked at each other as if they understood each other, nodded and said, Xiaoyi, we agree that you can contract a third beast girl. Yes, but Sister Liuya must be the last beast girl you contract. Xiaoyi patted his chest, repeatedly assured, and said, that's for sure. I, Xiaoyi, have always been trustworthy in what I say. Have I ever lied to you before? Let's deal with the current situation in advance, and as for the future, everything will work out when the time comes. So Xiaoyi made the guarantee without any psychological burden. The two women nodded. They still trusted Xiaoyi's words very much. Sone Gongsayo and Cheng Bingshi said in unison, we agree that you can contract a third beast girl. In the world of foodies, eating is ultimately the most important thing. Xiaoyi nodded in satisfaction. Got up and found Liuya in the bathroom, and put a plate of durian millfuel cake and a plate of red ginseng python meat rolls in Liuya's hands. Throwing cakes and dishes into the trash can is just an illusion, they are actually collected into the system space. Xiaoyi kissed Liuya and said with a smile, it's all done, it's up to you next. Liuya licked her red lips. Feeling very warm inside, she said with a sense of relief, Xiaoyi, you are so good to me. From now on, I will be your beast mother. As she spoke, Liuya was pushed out by Xiaoyi and faced Nan Gongsayo and Cheng Bingshi again. This is? Wow, Sister Liuya. You made 2 more dishes. When the two girls saw the cake and meat rolls in Liuya's hands, stars almost popped out of their beautiful eyes. Liuya's mature and steady feeling returned. And she said confidently and calmly, yes, do you want to eat, madam? Second, madam? The two girls took the plates and ate directly with their hands, their mouths full of the cream from the cake and the oil from the meat rolls. Yes. I'm dying of greed. Yes, thank you for the hospitality. Madam. Looking at the 3 women living in harmony, Xiaoyi smiled. Look. These are all my concubines. Each of them is stunningly beautiful, and each of them is an SSS level beast girl. How rare. After the meal, Nan Gongsayo and Cheng Bingshi lifted up their clothes, revealing their white, bulging bellies, and kept saying, it's delicious, can I really eat it every day? It's really expensive. Beautiful things are always short-lived and precious. Saya, oh, don't be too greedy. At this time, Liuya, who had just finished washing the dishes, smiled at the two girls and said, of course you can eat it every day. From now on, just tell me what you want to eat and I'll take care of it. The two girls were very surprised, and their beautiful eyes narrowed into crescents when they smiled. Then, Nan Gongsayo said to Liuya, Sister Liuya, you will be Xiaoyi's third beast mother from now on. Let's move your things over here and live together from now on. Cheng Bingshi thought for a moment and said, I'll go buy a wedding dress and a headscarf. Today is Sister Liuya's wedding day. So of course we have to decorate our house to make it more festive. What was Xiaoyi doing? He was sitting with his legs crossed, hugging Liuya's delicate body, and cracking melon seeds leisurely. An hour later, all of Liuya's things have been moved in, and Villa 1 has been decorated in a festive red by Cheng Bingshi. Another half an hour later, Liuya finished her bath and wore an extremely festive off-shoulder red wedding dress with a red headscarf on her head. Nan Gongsayo and Cheng Bingshi pushed her into the master bedroom on the 2nd floor, which was the master bedroom with a 3-meter-long and white bed. The most auspicious day is of course the wedding night. Yes, Sister Liuya, go quickly. Don't let Xiaoyi wait anxiously. With a clang, when Liuya entered the bedroom, the door was locked by the two women outside. Xiaoyi's mouth twitched, and he said, it's broad daylight, not even night yet. Liuya jumped over and took the initiative to attack. Don't talk nonsense, I have wanted to take you down for a long time, and today finally got what I wanted. Chapter 89, Family Members, who understands? There is no way to break through the defense. If the mortal realm is likened to a sewer, then the Grand Master realm is a stream. The Grand Master above the Grand Master is the river. The Venerable above the Grand Master is a river that is wider and longer in scope. A higher level of Great Masters are like the vast and profound ocean. Xiaoyi, who is only at the Grand Master level, is like a small stream. In front of Liuya, who is at the Great Venerable level, he is like a drop in the ocean, like a solitary boat. The Great Venerable realm is far stronger than the Grand Master realm in terms of both physical strength and energy. Half an hour later, Xiaoyi was exhausted. He hugged Liuya, who was barely breathing, and said helplessly, your body is too strong, I can't break your defense at all. Yes, Xiaoyi tried hard for half an hour but couldn't even break that layer of membrane. Liuya chuckled and comforted him, it's okay. I have other ways. Alas, Xiaoyi's eyes were dull and he could only be a puppet again, allowing Liuya to manipulate him. Xiaoyi was unwilling to accept this. The most beautiful treasure in the world was right before his eyes, but he was powerless to fight for it. After all, it's still a low level. The Great Venerable Realm is separated from the Grand Master Realm by three major realms: Grand Master, Grand Master, Venerable, and Great Venerable. The strength difference between them is hundreds or even thousands of times. To put it simply, if a strong person at the Great Venerable Realm does not move, even if a person at the Grand Master Realm uses all this strength, he will not be able to hurt a single hair on his head. After all, the passive defense of the Great Venerable Realm cannot be broken by a mere Grand Master. What a sin! A battle is over. After a while, on the sofa in the living room on the first floor, Xiao Yi looked depressed. Family members. Who understands? It's impossible to break through. Yu Ya chuckled. Your realm is too low. You need to work hard to upgrade. Nan Gong Xiao looked at Liu Ya, then at Cheng Bingxi, and then looked at herself again, comparing them and discovering the third lady's realm is at the level of a Great Venerable. However, the realm of their first and second wives is only that of a Grand Master. A sense of strength rose in Nan Gong Xiao's heart. From now on, we must practice hard. Cheng Bingxi opened her mouth and said in confusion, we are already Grand Masters 7 stars, which is already very good. Nan Gong Xiao shook her head. We are the first and second wives. How can our realm be lower than that of the third wife? Sister Bingxi, we have lived our lives not being inferior to others. We can't say we are better than the third madam, but we should at least be on par with her. Xiao Yi stood up in an instant. His eyes were determined, and he said in a firm tone, practice, you must practice. Xiao Yi never wanted to experience the pain of having meat but not being able to eat it again. Liu Ya rolled her eyes at him and thought, it will be yours sooner or later, and you can't run away, so why are you in such a hurry? At Xiao Yi's urging, the three of them entered the underground training room. The space in the training room was very spacious, enough to accommodate the nine-tailed heavenly fox and the three-two-head golden dragon. The three of them immediately mobilized the power of the contract and transformed into summon beast forms. Suddenly, a three-two-head golden dragon appeared in the air, and a two-tailed white fox stood on the ground. He took out the three top-grade Grandmaster crystal cores that Yun Bing had given him, and began to absorb the mixed energies in them. He then slowly refined them in the body of the summoned beast, and finally could use them on himself to improve his own realm. An hour passed and his realm only increased a little. Xiao Yi estimated that he could improve one small level in a week. To ascend to the Great Venerable Realm, it would take decades just relying on this kind of crystal core with mixed energies. Xiao Yi's defense was broken. It would take decades. He couldn't eat all the meat he got in decades. What a sin. At this time, Yu Ya came down holding a pile of blue medicine bottles. Xiao Yi's eyes suddenly lit up. He figured out what kind of potion it was. Liu Ya twisted her sexy waist and walked in front of the holy two-tailed white fox. She put the energy liquid bottle in her arms on the ground and said with a smile, these are the remaining pure energy liquids I used before and you owe. Xiao Yi took a look and found that there were about 20 bottles in the pile. Looking at the labels on it, there are a total of 8 bottles of Grand Master's top-grade energy liquids, 8 bottles of Grand Master's lower-grade energy liquids, and 4 bottles of Grand Master's middle-grade energy liquids. Xiao Yi was overjoyed and controlled the two-tailed white fox to move over and kiss Liu Ya. With these energy liquids, he can quickly be promoted to 3-star Grand Master. Compared to the crystal core with mixed energy, the speed is more than 10 times faster. Liu Ya felt strange after being kissed by that furry mouth, so she changed the subject. Unfortunately, energy liquid has always been in short supply. I have given all the energy liquid above the Grand Master level to my disciples. This is all I have. Only two-tailed white fox, forget it. If you don't have it you can't force it. These are enough for a while. Then, the golden dragon and the white fox used the energy liquid that had been successfully purified through hundreds of processes using advanced technology. Without any refining, it can be transformed into one's own energy foundation. The realms of the golden dragon and the white fox are rapidly improved in an instant. All the absorbed energy is gathered in the spiritual core that produces the power of artistic conception, and control the power of artistic conception to form a circulation throughout the body to increase the speed of pure energy, and quickly run the magic beast training method to allow the spirit core to absorb energy. Liu Ya transformed into a spirit cat-eared girl, guiding from the side. Her two furry cat ears stood on both sides of her head, and a delicate gray tail swayed behind her. The three-two-head golden dragon and the holy two-tailed white fox tried Liu's method and found that the speed was increased 3 times again. Plus 10 times the pure energy. It is 30 times the original. It used to take a week to advance one level, but now it only takes 5 hours. This speed is simply amazing. Nan Gong Xiao and Cheng Bingxi were shocked. It's so terrifying. Xiao Yi was overjoyed. They, who were at the 7-star Grand Master level, could be promoted to the Grand Master level within 1 day. In the past, it would take at least a month. The time has been shortened by 30 times. Liu Yi is not only the most beautiful teaching assistant, but also the most beautiful professor 100 years ago. With her guidance, Cultivation can achieve twice the result with half the effort. If you can skillfully use the power of artistic conception to promote the flow of energy, your cultivation speed can be doubled. However, we must not act too hastily, otherwise, in our eagerness to improve our realm, we will neglect the accumulation of our foundation. Liuya folded her arms across her chest and continued to give instructions. Suddenly, she was startled. The golden dragon and the white fox had finished using the first bottle of energy liquid and grabbed the second bottle and drank it in one gulp. Liuya asked in amazement, "You guys absorbed a bottle of energy liquid so quickly?" After Jinlong finished drinking a bottle of energy liquid, he nodded and said, "Yes, Sister Liuya, what's wrong?" Liuya took a breath and said in shock, "Their speed is at least 5 times faster than that of an average SS class template summon beast." Liuya was surprised and circled around the golden dragon and the white fox. She kept looking at them with her beautiful eyes and kept saying, "Amazing, so amazing." Xiao Yi understood what was going on. The 3-2-head golden dragon is the second form, which is upgraded using the system's evolution points. The white fox is also the second form, which is equivalent to an upgrade of bloodline. The training speed and combat power of both are certainly much stronger than the general SSS level template summon beasts. However, it was actually about 5 times stronger, which surprised Xiao Yi a little. This is only the second form, there will be a third form, a fourth form, the fifth form. How powerful it would be when it reaches that point. Chapter 90 Infinite Contract Talent, Multiple Bodies Coexist. The highest form of the 9-tailed heavily fox is the 9th form. How awesome would that be? Also, open the template adjuster. SSS level 9-tailed fox template upgradable. SSS level 5 clawed golden dragon template upgradable. After the SSS level template is upgraded, it becomes mythical level, which is an upgrade on 2 levels compared to the form upgrade. If the form upgrade is to unlock the bloodline, then the template upgrade is to sublimate the bloodline, and the benefits it brings far exceed the form upgrade. Xiao Yi couldn't help but ask the system what the connection was between the two. Upgrade the form to the 9th stage to automatically unlock the mythical level. Xiao Yi's eyes lit up, and he thought to himself, so using the template's upgrade function to directly upgrade the template to the mythical level is equivalent to upgrading the form to the 9th form? Ding! Congratulations to the host, you understood correctly. Xiao Yi took a breath of cold air. It turned out that the template adjuster was so awesome. It is worthy of being a treasure of the origin of the universe. If he could upgrade the template level directly, Xiao Yi certainly didn't want to upgrade the summon beast form slowly step by step. So I checked the template upgrade conditions for the 3-2-head golden dragon and the 2-tailed white fox. SSS level 5 clawed golden dragon template upgradable. 10 fire elements, 10 water elements, 10 wood elements, 10 wood elements, 10 earth elements, 10 gold elements, 50 good fortune elements, 50 supreme elements. That is, there are 10 crystals of each type of 5 elements rule fragments, then 50 of creation type, and 50 of supreme type. SSS level 9-tailed fox template upgradable. 50 life type, 50 creation type, 50 destruction type. After seeing these upgrade conditions, Xiao Yi choked up. The creation and 5 elements items are easy to find, but where can I find the supreme items? They are rare at first glance. Life and destruction types are also hard to find. But Xiao Yi was very cheerful. He thought that things would work out when the time came, since it existed, even if it was rare. He would definitely be able to find it and get it. 4 hours passed quickly. The 8 branches of mid-grade Grand Master Energy Liquid and the 4 branches of high-grade Grand Master Energy Liquid were consumed, and the realm of the holy 2-tailed white fox and the 3-2-head golden dragon reached the 8th star of the Grand Master. It is equivalent to consuming 2 mid-grade Grand Master Crystal Cores and 1 high-grade Grand Master Crystal Core. The animal-eared girl, Yuya, leaned against the wall, her beautiful eyes constantly looking around. Her surprise was evident in her words, and a pleasant voice came out of her mouth. This speed is simply beyond my ability back then. Is this a talent more terrifying than any other supreme being? It takes 4 hours to advance 1 small level. Even the top supreme being would have to stand aside at this speed. The energy liquid on the ground can probably upgrade both of them to 1-star Grand Master. Within 1 day, you can be promoted to Grand Master. Liuya took a breath of cold air. For other SSS levels, it takes at least several months. And for SS level, it takes even longer, 1 or 2 years. Looking at the half of the energy liquid left on the ground, Xiao Yi felt bad. It would be better if there was more, otherwise it would be used up soon. So Xiao Yi controlled the white fox and said, "Liuya, my wife, go to the market and buy some energy liquid so that we can practice seamlessly." This was the first time Xiao Yi called her wife. Liuya was delighted and said, "No, I must be there to supervise you the whole time. Your training speed is too fast. If you neglect to polish your foundation, it will affect the follow-up. If there is anything abnormal in your practice, I can point it out immediately and let you correct it. Hearing this, Xiao Yi looked embarrassed. The host can transfer consciousness and return to human form while maintaining summon beast form. At this time, the system spoke. His eyes lit up. How could it be possible? Immediately Xiao Yi tried to transfer his consciousness into human form. Suddenly, a mysterious light flashed, and a handsome young man of 1.8 meters tall appeared next to Liuya. It was Xiao Yi's human form. Unlimited contract talents, can summon multiple contracted beasts at the same time. The consciousness can exist in the mind of the contracted beast at the same time, can also exist in the human body at the same time, then also exist in the human body alone, can be transferred at any time. Xiao Yi opened his eyes and saw the golden dragon and the white fox at a glance. He was not used to the consciousness existing in multiple bodies at the same time, so at this time the consciousness existed alone in the human body. The golden dragon and the white fox were now only controlled by Ningong Xiao and Cheng Bingxi. Liuya was startled when she saw Xiao Yi appear. Her beautiful face was full of solemnity. She twisted her sexy waist, took 2 steps back, and cautiously opened her flaming red lips and said, "Who are you? Why do you look exactly like Xiao Yi? So do your energy and aura." "No, you are Xiao Yi." Liuya widened her beautiful eyes in surprise. "Xiao Yi? I look exactly like me? That's nonsense." Xiao Yi rushed forward, hugged Liuya's waist, and kissed her red lips. 2 minutes later, the two separated, and Xiao Yi asked with interest, "Who am I?" Liuya's eyes were a little dazed, and she leaned against the wall. "Damn it, you are Xiao Yi, aren't you? You can actually escape from the summoned beast form and return to human form alone. It's really surprising." "Yes, I am who I am," Xiao Yi nodded. Approached Liuya, and then pinched her soft-fleshed waist, with a fierce expression. "I asked you to buy energy liquid. But you refused. I have no choice but to take action myself, your husband." A blush rose on Liuya's delicate face. She slapped his hand away and said angrily, "Then go quickly as still daytime you can do whatever you want at night." Xiao Yi was speechless and looked at Liuya with strange eyes. "My goodness, a few hours ago, in the bridal chamber in the morning, who said it doesn't matter whether it's day or night, and then pounced on me like a hungry wolf?" Liuya rolled her eyes at him, stamped her feet and said, "Koketh the sly. Oh, don't worry, what's yours will always be yours. Okay." Teaching assistant sister. Seeing Xiao Yi agreed, Liuya breathed a sigh of relief, took out 2 great venerable crystal cores from her arms and put them in Xiao Yi's pocket, and then straightened Xiao Yi's collar like a good lady. After finishing, she leaned close to Xiao Yi's ear and whispered, "Actually, we don't have to wait until tonight. You can do whatever you want in private, but don't do it in front of Xiao and Bingxi. I'm a teacher's assistant. And you're flirting with me in public, how embarrassing." Xiao Yi suddenly realized, that's how it is. Liuya is still the same ferocious Liuya, but she is thin-skinned in some aspects. Of course she has to give him face. At this time, his physical strength is also constantly increasing as the 2 summoned beasts become stronger. His human body will also become stronger. Afterwards, Xiao Yi left the Magic City Academy and went to the market in the Magic City Base City, the largest trading market near the Magic City Academy. The buildings made of apocalyptic materials are like cast steel, standing on the ground one by one. The roads extend in all directions, and base vehicles are constantly traveling back and forth. The Red Moon Chamber of Commerce, with stores in all base cities across the country, is the largest chamber of commerce in the country. Red Moon Chamber of Commerce, Red Moon Pavilion. Located in the core area of the market, it occupies an entire high-rise building of shops. Xiao Yi arrived at his destination and came to the cultivation resource area. Grandmaster Energy Liquid. Grandmaster Energy Liquid. The 2 large shelves were filled to the brim with items according to Xiao Yi's calculations. There were several hundred of them in total. Take them all, Xiao Yi decided. Chapter 91. Meeting the Supreme on the road, the frightened President Han Yu. Although the energy liquid is ridiculously expensive, 2 bottles of Grandmaster's top-grade energy liquid require 1 Grandmaster's top-grade crystal core. However, 4 bottles of Grandmaster's top-grade energy liquid are equivalent to the energy of 1 Grandmaster's top-grade crystal core. Grandmaster's top-grade crystal core is a Magic Beast crystal core from Grandmaster 8 to Grandmaster 10 stars. Xiao Yi touched the 2 great venerable crystal cores in his pocket. He can take all the energy liquids on these 2 large shelves. At this time, a shopping guide came over from a distance and introduced with a smile, "Sir, the energy liquid here is all reserved. If you need it, you can hand in the crystal core first and wait for the next batch in a week." Xiao Yi frowned. "There are only energy liquids below the venerable realm level here. There are at least 200 bottles. Are they all reserved?" The salesperson nodded. "Yes, sir. Energy liquid is a rare commodity, and this is the case in all stores." Xiao Yi was in a dilemma. Does this mean that he can only get it next week? The shopping guide watched from the side without saying anything. "Let's make a reservation first. Xiao Yi said. A shopping guide brought over a form, ready to fill out, and introduced. Sir, you are at the Grand Master level, so you can only order Grand Master level energy liquid, and you can only order 4 bottles of Grand Master top grade energy liquid at a time. Xiao Yi. 4 bottles of Grand Master's top grade energy liquid were consumed in just a few hours, and we still have to wait a week? This is fucking outrageous. Helplessly, Xiao Yi had to hand over to top grade crystal cores from a master. 4 bottles of Grandmaster's premium energy liquid cost the same as to Grandmaster's premium crystal cores. Afterwards, Xiao Yi left looking at Xiao Yi's receding back. The shopping guide muttered in his heart. If you pay twice as much, the shop will definitely sell it to you now. You're just a country bumpkin who doesn't even know these rules. He's probably a poor student. I've seen this kind of person many times and I'm too lazy to remind him. If someone is wearing fancy and high-end clothes, he will take the initiative to remind them, and those people will understand even without reminder. Shaking his head, the shopping guide continued to guide other customers. Xiao Yi walked out of the cultivation resource area in a depressed mood and wandered aimlessly in other market areas. Before I knew it, I had arrived at the women's uniform area. Huh? Xiao Yi narrowed his eyes and saw a burly and familiar figure among the bustling crowd. The Supreme King Kong. King Kong Supreme was still a loner. Not shopping with his contractor's wife, just him. At this time, Cheng Gang was strolling outside of a women's uniform store, looking into the stores with a somewhat obscene look in his eyes. He rubbed his hands, his eyes sparkled, and he muttered, "Playing with uniforms is my favorite." Bang! Suddenly his right shoulder was patted. Cheng Gang turned his head and saw a handsome young man standing next to him. "Father Xiao, what a coincidence that I meet you here." Cheng Gang narrowed his eyes, looked Xiao Yi up and down, and showed a look that said, "I understand. I understand. Hey, I understand everything. Uniforms are men's favorite." Xiao Yi's face was full of black lines. "What do you know?" Before Xiao Yi could say anything, Cheng Gang walked arm in arm with him and entered a women's uniform store. Not far from the store, a middle-aged man in a white robe wiped the cold sweat from his forehead and said, "Fortunately, the Supreme Lord knows that boy, otherwise, if that boy patted the Supreme Lord on the shoulder and the Supreme Lord blamed me, I would not be the president of the Chamber of Commerce of the Red Moon Pavilion branch in the Demon City anymore." Every time the Supreme Lord came to the Red Moon Pavilion, he, as the president, would accompany him in secret throughout the whole process. Fearing that they would neglect the Supreme Being, only the King Kong Supreme Being would come often, while the other Supreme Beings would come less often. Who is this kid? It seems like the Supreme Lord has a very good relationship with him. He watched in secret to avoid any unexpected situations. The Red Moon Chamber of Commerce's headquarters is in the Imperial Capital, and the one in the Magic Capital is a branch. And he is the president of the Red Moon Chamber of Commerce's Magic Capital branch. In the shop, Cheng Gang smiled and said, "Brother Xiao, I'm good at this, I'll teach you some fun ones." Xiao Yi saw that he was in such high spirits, and the clothes in the shop were very eye-catching. There are all kinds of styles, and this store mainly sells casual wear. So I became interested. Cheng Gang pointed to a set of bunny girl uniforms and said, "This one is suitable for those with long legs." Xiao Yi narrowed his eyes. "This dress suits Liu Yi very well." Cheng Gang waved his hand and said, "Manager, pack this set and put it on my account." Xiao Yi had a puzzled look on his face. Was Cheng Gang interested in her? Cheng Gang glanced at Xiao Yi's expression, then nodded with satisfaction. "Well, Brother Xiao must like this." Then, Cheng Gang pointed to a set of JK uniforms and said, "Brother Xiao, this is suitable for students." Student? Xiao Yi calculated that it might look more attractive on teaching assistant Liu Yi. Cheng Gang glanced at Xiao Yi's expression, nodded with satisfaction and said, "Manager, pack this set as well and put it on my account." Xiao Yi took a breath of cold air. Cheng Gang is still strong despite his old age. Passing by a hollow skirt with very little fabric, Cheng Gang said, "Wrap this one too." Xiao Yi imagined that Liu Yi seemed to look better in this one. However, he would not buy these. And only a macho man like Cheng Gang would pack them up in public. Xiao Yi will wait until there is no one around and buy it secretly. Finally, Cheng Gang put his arm around Xiao Yi's shoulders and walked out of the store. He smiled and said, "Brother Xiao, those 3 sets of clothes will definitely not satisfy you. I'll ask the store manager to pack up all the uniforms and send them to your Villa 1 in Lakeview Villa District. No. 3 in a while." He pointed his finger and said word by word, "Let me think about it. For example, there are more than 100 sets of uniforms for stewardesses, hips, teachers, etc. They are all for you. How about it? Isn't it nice?" Xiao Yi was stunned, and said with a twitch of his mouth, "Didn't you buy those for yourself?" Cheng Gang shook his head. "Brother, I'm tired of playing." Xiao Yi looked at Cheng Gang deeply. Indeed, Brother Cheng was quite knowledgeable in this area. Sister Yunbing even took dozens of bottles of Optimus Prime potion from him and gave them to herself. Chen Gang's face turned red when Xiao Yi looked at him. He leaned over and whispered, "Well, actually, those are just auxiliary. You cured my illness, and now I don't need them. Speaking of which, I still have to thank you." Xiao Yi nodded. "Brother Cheng, I understand, no need to say more. Hey, whatever you wanna buy, just tell Brother Cheng and he will buy it for you," Chen Gang said generously. Xiao Yi looked hesitant actually. "I really were some, namely the energy liquid." So Xiao Yi asked tentatively, "Brother Cheng, I actually wanna buy some energy liquid but..." Xiao Yi told King Kong Supreme Chen Gang what happened in Hanyu Pavilion. When Chen Gang heard this, his face darkened and he said angrily, "Bullshit. Energy liquid is something that is so common on the street, but you still need to pry, and there is a quantity limit? How dare that old president restrict my brothers? I will tear down his chamber of commerce. Let's go find him together." Chapter 90 to 400 bottles of energy liquid. The Supreme is going to visit Liuya. Just as Chen Gang was talking nonsense, a middle-aged man with a weathered face and silver hair in a white robe broke out in a cold sweat. He ran over quickly and said carefully, "Sir Supreme, please move to the president's attic. I will definitely give you a satisfactory answer." Chen Gang glanced at him and snorted, "You old man are not serious. What's the point of following a grown man like me?" The middle-aged man with a weathered face and silver hair was ashamed. Who on earth was so dishonest that he kept looking around the female uniform area? However, he didn't dare to say it out loud, so he explained, "Your Majesty, I am wronged. I was inspecting the store." "Yes, inspecting the store." Xiao Yi looked at him and found that his face was full of vicissitudes, but his silver hair looked very handsome. "I guess I grew up too fast. I'm not old, but I look old." No wonder Chen Gang called him old man. "Brother Xiao, this is the branch president of the Red Moon Chamber of Commerce. Just call him Old Man Zhu," Chen Gang introduced from the side. Seeing Xiao Yi's strange look, the man with a stern face said with shame, "Hello, Mr. Xiao." Xiao Yi nodded and greeted him, saying with a smile, "President Zhu." Afterwards, President Zhu, who had a weathered face, led Xiao Yi and Chen Gang to the president's attic, the highest level of Hanyu Diachia. Elegant and exquisite furniture, with treasures made of unique materials placed everywhere. "Mr. Xiao, do you need energy liquid? I'll arrange it for you right away." President Zhu, who looked too anxious and haggard, took out a communication device and issued an order. Soon, the shopping guide who had received Xiao Yi came here, holding an exquisite little box in his hand. President Zhu handed the exquisite little box to Xiao Yi and said with a smile, "This is a 100 cubic meter storage ring, which contains 400 bottles of energy liquid, 200 for Grand Master and 200 for Grand Master respectively." "Yes," the shopping guide gasped in shock and widened his eyes in disbelief. "Wow, this guy who looks so handsome is not a poor student, but a guest of honor of the president." Moreover, the shopping guide next to him glanced at Chen Gang cautiously out of the corner of his eye. "I was so scared that my soul almost came out of my body." The Supreme, one of the 10 most famous Supremes in the Magic City, the King Kong Supreme. It seems that this young man has a close relationship with King Kong Supreme. The shopping guide felt a little annoyed and regretful. He was annoyed at his lack of tact and regretted that he had not treated the young man well. Otherwise, promotion and salary increase are just around the corner. What rules, what restrictions, are nothing to the big powers. Xiao Yi didn't know what the shopping guide was thinking, so he made an estimate. Whether it is a golden dragon or a white fox, to advance to a higher level, 2 crystal cores are needed. And 2 crystal cores are equal to 8 energy liquids. A summoned beast at the Grand Master level will consume at least 80 of them. 2 summoned beasts will consume at least 160. There are 200 Grand Master and Grand Master energy liquids each, which seems to be enough for the 2 summoned beasts to be promoted to the Venerable Realm. After the calculation was completed, Xiao Yi took the storage ring and asked, "How many crystal cores do you want? I'll give them to you." President Zhu glanced at King Kong Supreme's face, waved his hand and said with a smile, "This is my first time meeting you, Mr. Xiao. I almost neglected you. You don't have to pay, just consider it as a meeting gift from me." "An old man." Xiao Yi hesitated for a moment. And Chen Gang laughed and said, "Brother Xiao, please accept it as a kind gift from Old Man Zhu." Hearing this, Xiao Yi put it in his pocket and thanked him. "Thank you very much, President Zhu." A smile broke out on the weathered-looking, silver-haired President Hong Yi's face, and he handed over a card that was not even the size of a palm. "Mr. Xiao, this is the Red Moon Chamber of Commerce's Super VIP card. With this card, you can enjoy a 20% discount on all products, and you will have the right to purchase first." Afterwards, President Zhu, with a weathered face, respectfully escorted Chen Gang and the other man out of the president's attic. The man with a weathered face touched his back and let out a breath just now. His back was covered with cold sweat without him noticing. On the street, King Kong Supreme Chen Gang said with a smile, "Brother Xiao, This old man Zhu also rose from the grassroots. He was born in Alai City, and now he is the president of the Red Moon Chamber of Commerce. He is also a very inspiring person. You can get in touch with him more. He's a nice guy. Xiao Yi put the storage ring into the system space and was not very interested in President Zhu. He wanted to go home quickly, give the energy liquid to the two practitioners, and then let Liu Ya try out a set of uniforms, especially the bunny girl, JK group, and hollow skirts with less fabric. That's right, with 2 cultivation girls, Xiao Yi is getting stronger every moment, and he can also free his hands. I'd rather spend some time with Kunpeng Academy's goddess Liu Ya than chat with a rough guy like Qinggang. Seeing Xiao Yi's lack of interest, Qinggang rubbed his hands and suggested, Father Xiao, let's go to Kunpeng College together. I have an old friend whom I haven't seen for a long time, and I just happened to go and meet him today. Xiao Yi nodded thoughtfully and said, Old friend? Qinggang was surprised. Yes. It's the most beautiful teaching assistant, Liu Ya. Qinggang was full of emotion. Liu Ya was his white moonlight at the time. But it was a pity that Liu Ya did not like him and signed a contract with another man. But later, that man died at the claws of a monster. To this day, Liu Ya is still single. By now, Qinggang, who has been married for a long time, only regards Liu Ya as an old friend and no longer has that kind of youthful hormonal admiration for her. Liu Ya called him a few days ago, and she must have been in trouble as an old friend. Qinggang wanted to go and see if he could help. He couldn't get the rule fragments now, but as the Supreme, he was still able to help with other troubles. Xiao Yi choked on his words. Liu Ya has become his wife. Qinggang will probably find out when he goes back this time. He wondered what Qinggang's expression would be when he knew. Chen Yi introduced the story of Qinggang and Liu Ya to Xiao Yi. Speaking of which, Qinggang is a bit miserable. His white moonlight was contracted by another man, and that man has been having an affair and has never touched Qinggang's white moonlight Liu until now. Liu Ya is still a virgin. After that man died, Qinggang had already been married for many years and it was impossible for him to be with Liu Ya. Well, in the end, Xiao Yi, took him down. The smile appeared on Xiao Yi's face, but the smile soon disappeared. He was also miserable. He could not break Liu Ya's passive defense. The middle road was blocked, so he could only take other roads to exercise. It is estimated that only when he is promoted to the Great Venerable or Venerable Realm can we break through his defense and really eat meat. It is so miserable. Let's go together, Qinggang introduced with interest. Let me tell you, my old friend is the famous most beautiful teaching assistant Liu Ya, who was also a famous most beautiful professor 100 years ago. After we get there, I'll introduce you to her and ask her to accept you as her disciple. With her guidance, your talents will be explored and utilized more thoroughly, which will be a good thing for you. Xiao Yi was stunned. Qinggang didn't know yet that Liu Ya had already accepted him as a disciple, and that Liu Ya was already his wife. Good boy, I hope Qinggang won't be so shocked after revealing the 2 layers of relationship. Chapter 93. The Supreme was dumbfounded. The bunny girl Liu Ya. At the gate of the No. 3 Lakeview Villa area, the burly Qinggang and Xiao Yi walked in arm, and the security guard looked at them respectfully and saluted. Father Xiao, let me tell you a coincidence. The most beautiful teaching assistant lives very close to you. She lives in Villa No. 10. How about it? Is it a coincidence? Qinggang hit Xiao Yi's shoulder. Xiao Yi nodded. It was indeed a coincidence that the most beautiful assistant Liu Ya became my beast girl. Arriving at Villa No. 10. Qinggang found that no one was at home. Just as he was wondering, Xiao Yi spoke up. I guess assistant Liu Ya was with me. Qinggang was surprised. Do you know each other? Xiao Yi nodded. He not only knew him, but also understood every aspect of him thoroughly. It has reached the point where she knows my strengths and weaknesses, but I don't know her depth. Why don't you know her strength? This is related to the inability to break through her defense. Immediately afterwards, Xiao Yi and the others arrived at Villa 1. When the door of the villa opened, a graceful figure with a faint fragrance rushed over and hugged Xiao Yi. You're back so soon. Liu Ya's beautiful face was full of surprise. At the same time, she saw the Vara Supreme Qinggang standing next to her with a look of astonishment on his face. Hey, Qinggang. You're here too? Come in. Liu Ya pulled Xiao Yi into the living room on the first floor. The living room is filled with women's uniforms. Some are youthful and beautiful, some are seductive and enchanting, and some are alternative and hollow. These clothes are made of doomsday materials, are highly elastic, and can automatically match a person's size, so they can be worn by women of all shapes and sizes. The Red Moon Chamber of Commerce delivered the goods very quickly, and the goods were delivered to the address before Xiao Yi returned. While drinking tea, Qinggang said in surprise, Liu Ya, have you accepted Brother Xiao as your disciple? Liu Ya looked at the clothes with surprise and answered, yes. Since you two have known each other for a long time, I will save myself some trouble. Qinggang smiled naively. Seeing Liu Ya's delighted expression, Qinggang tried to discuss with Xiao Yi. Father Xiao, There are more than 100 sets of uniform, show about giving a few to Liuya? Xiao Yi's mouth twitched. Do you need a gift? Liuya can choose whatever you want, he nodded. No problem. So he took the initiative to walk over and pick out the most attractive sets. They are bunny girl uniform, JK skirt uniform, and hollow skirt uniform, which were given to Liuya. Teaching assistant sister from now on. When you are at home and there are no guests, wear these 3 sets? Liuya held the 3 sets and looked at them carefully. Her pretty face turned red and she said angrily, "This is embarrassing. The bunny girl uniform doesn't squeeze your butt. The JK skirt is obviously worn by students. How can it be suitable for a mature teaching assistant like her to wear it? The contrast is too great. It would be embarrassing for her to wear it. The last set is even bolder. It is directly hollowed out. And there is no difference between wearing nothing." Xiao Yi raised his eyebrows. "I prepared this specially for you. If Xiao and Bing Shido look charming in it. It will look more charming on you. Do you want to wear it? Prepared specially for me. Wear it." "I'll wear it." Liuya. Chen Gang, who witnessed the conversation between the two, widened his eyes in astonishment and looked back and forth between the two. There is an affair. This is not a normal master-disciple relationship at all. Or flavor. These words sound like flirting between a man and a woman. Xiao Yi leaned over and kissed Liu's fair face, and said expectantly, "Yeah, when there are no customers, put it on and show it to me." Liuya's pretty face flushed, and she said shyly, "There are outsiders here, please restrain yourself." "Outsiders, when there are no guests? Where?" These words echoed in Chen Gang's ears, causing him to stare wide-eyed in astonishment. He finally couldn't hold it in any longer and asked the question in his heart. "Liuya, brother Xiao, what is your relationship?" Xiao Yi choked on his words, not wanting to hit Chen Gang. "Sister Liuya, you go ahead." Chen Gang looked at Liuya. Could it be that it was really like that? A happy smile appeared on Liuya's delicate face. She hugged Xiao Yi in her arms and said, "Of course Xiao Yi is my husband. I have decided to be Xiao Yi's 3rd contracted beast girl." The Supreme was dumbfounded. "Oh my god, this news is so explosive. Let me take it easy. There is a difference of more than 150 years between you two. And your realms are 3 major realms apart." Liuya, don't joke with me. Chen Gang was incredulous. He didn't believe it. So Liuya pouted her flaming red lips and took the initiative to kiss Xiao Yi's mouth, and they kissed for 2 full minutes before separating. "Now you believe it, right?" The corners of the Supreme's mouth twitched constantly. He was in disbelief, but finally nodded. His heart seemed to be surging like a raging sea, and his hand holding the teacup was very stiff. Liuya looked at the tea that Chen Gang was drinking and said, "Chen Gang, this cup of tea of yours can be regarded as our wedding wine. Today is also the wedding day of Xiao Yi and I." Chen Gang. He looked down at the teacup in his hand and the tea in it. "I feel very bitter and complicated in my heart. White moonlight is, after all, just white moonlight, without any other mixture, very pure." "Hey tea?" Chen Gang looked up with a bitter expression and took a sip from the can. Damn it, although he didn't have any evil thoughts about Liu at this time, Chen Gang felt very fucked up that his former white moonlight was married again. Especially the other party is Xiao Yi. This brother is only 18 years old. Life is so fucked up. It's outrageous. "Brother Xiao, congratulations." "Liuya, congratulations." After expressing his emotion, Chen Gang looked complicated and stood up, clasped his fists and congratulated. As he spoke, he took out a crystal core from his pocket. "This happened as suddenly, so I didn't prepare any gifts. This is a supreme level crystal core, which is the most valuable thing I have. Just consider it as a gift to congratulate you." Chen Gang put it on the table and remained silent. Xiao Yi looked at Chen Gang, probably thinking that he was feeling very uneasy. Walking over and patting Chen Gang on the shoulder, Xiao Yi said, "Brother Cheng, now that you have solved the problem of being a superboy, you should be having a very happy time these days. Smile for me." "Hey, of course my wife praises me for my endurance every day." When talking about this, Chen Gang laughed heartily. Liuya came over and asked in a puzzled voice, "What is the fast boy defect?" Xiao Yi explained to Liuya the concepts of second man, fast man and so on. Liuya suddenly realized and looked at Chen Gang thoughtfully with surprise. It turned out that the famous Vara Supreme had such a defect. Chen Gang was shocked and felt very socially dead. "Damn, brother Xiao, you can't talk about topics between men with women. Social death, this time it's real social death. Even if you want to say it, don't say it to my face. Even if you speak softly, I can still hear you from such a close distance." Although his former white moonlight was married, Chen Gang felt ashamed to face people when she found out that he was a superboy. Liuya glanced at Chen Gang and then ignored all this and looked at Xiao Yi. Fortunately, Xiao Yi doesn't have this defect, otherwise what would happen to the 3 beast girls? I guess even I can't satisfy them. Seeing the 2 people looking at each other with affection, Chen Gang felt that he could not stay any longer, so he left in a hurry and slipped away. "Brother Xiao, Liuya, I'll visit you again next time, goodbye." Xiao Yi nodded. "Brother Cheng, come and play anytime." As soon as Cheng Gang left, Liuya went over to close the door. There was no one else around, so she took off all her clothes in the living room and put on a bunny girl uniform. Xiao Yi witnessed the whole process. The bunny girl perfectly shows Liuya's graceful body and her long, white legs. It also highlights the proud and well-proportioned figure. At this time, Liuya's temperament looked both dignified and seductive. On her head, she wore black bunny ears standing tall. Liuya felt that the rabbit ears were a bit redundant, so she took them off and transformed into a girl with animal ears. The screen flashed and her ears turned into two furry cat ears with a cattail behind her. It's too tight. After getting dressed, Liuya lifted up her uniform somewhat uncomfortably. Chapter 90 for Cat Girl Liuya, complete the template. But Xiao Yi looked at the place carefully, and his eyes suddenly widened. My goodness, the meat is so deformed. The main reason is that her figure is too explosive and the clothes can't fit her. Liuya's delicate face was full of distress. How about changing to another one? It hurts. Xiao Yi shook his head, pulled Liuya over and asked her to sit on his lap. Then, Xiao Yi reached out and rubbed that area for Liuya. It's okay, this uniform is very elastic. Once it gets used to the size, it will automatically become loose. Liuya nodded and said, Cocathus lie, that's true, but are you testing me by rubbing it like this? Xiao Yi felt it was smooth and slippery, and said seriously, of course not, I am helping you relieve the pain. Liuya twisted her body a little awkwardly. Finally, after a few minutes, she said happily with a pretty face, okay? It's not tight anymore. What a pity. Xiao Yi took his hand back reluctantly. Uchi. That girl, Liuya laughed. I'll wear it every day at home for you to see. It's just that this uniform has too little fabric, otherwise I could wear it to class. Xiao Yi narrowed his eyes. Wearing it to class? Impossible. The bunny girl uniform not only shows off the figure perfectly, but also completely reveals the long white legs. It is more bold than the leather pants Liu usually wears. If he wore it during class and was seen by those hot-blooded male students, wouldn't Xiao Yi be in big trouble? Xiao Yi, help me put on my shoes. Liuya jumped and sat on the sofa, putting her white, tender and smooth feet on Xiao Yi's legs. Xiao Yi looked over and saw a pair of perfect jade feet that were like works of art. Suddenly, Liuya raised her jade feet and kicked towards Xiao Yi's nose, accidentally coming into close contact with Xiao Yi's mouth. Liuya was startled and quickly put down her jade feet, saying weakly, I didn't mean it. Xiao Yi smiled and said, it's okay, it doesn't stink. It smells good. Everyone knows that whether your feet are smelly or not depends on your face. Then Xiao Yi picked up the crystal high heels on the ground and helped Liuya put on her shoes. Suddenly, the delicate little feet moved mischievously and the shoes were worn crookedly. Liuya's beautiful eyes showed a bright smile. Seeing that he didn't put the shoes on properly, Xiao Yi tried again. But his white and tender feet turned a corner and the shoes were worn crookedly again. Uchi, Liuya covered her mouth and laughed. Naughty. Xiao Yi was angry, looking at the jade feet, and said, this foot is too naughty. It must be punished. So Xiao Yi threw away her high heels, stretched out her hands of justice, and severely punished the pair of jade feet. Liuya was tickled so much that she couldn't stop laughing, holding her stomach. I dare not. Let me go. Liuya begged for mercy. Xiao Yi hit it hard and said fiercely, assistant sister. These feet are too cunning, we must teach them a lesson again. And he educated played with it for 10 minutes before stopping. Well, now you're finally not naughty anymore. Then Xiao Yi successfully put on the crystal high heels for her. Liuya looked at Xiao Yi with resentment in her beautiful eyes and said, it turns out that you guys all like this tune. Xiao Yi shook his head and said, no, if you want to be good at everything, you will only hurt yourself. I was just upholding justice and educating this naughty animal. Liuya snorted, I don't care, you made me angry. Make you angry. Xiao Yi looked over and was shocked. Liuya looked hungry. Then, Xiao Yi was dragged into the bedroom by Liuya for a showdown. After a while, Xiao Yi was mentally exhausted, while Liuya was radiant. The two men dressed neatly and came to the underground training room. A golden dragon covered in brilliant golden light was hovering in the air, exuding a strong sense of artistic conception. A holy two-tailed white fox looks even more noble and sacred. Both of them had their eyes closed, concentrating on their cultivation. Very good, you will soon reach the 9th star of the Grand Master realm. Liuya smiled brightly. But the smile in his eyes, Xiao Yi took out the storage ring from the system space, and then took out all 400 bottles of energy liquid and placed them on the ground. There are more than 60 bottles of lower grade, middle grade, and upper grade energy liquids at the Grand Master level, for a total of 200 bottles. There are more than 60 bottles of lower grade, middle grade, and upper grade energy liquids at the Grand Master level, totaling 200 bottles. So many? These energy liquids are enough to support the two summon beasts to upgrade to the Venerable Realm. Liuya was surprised. Xiao Yi nodded and asked, in the Venerable Realm, can I break your passive defense? Liu rolled her eyes at him with amorous eyes and said, "Kokatha, I was the first person under the Supreme after all. Even if my realm regressed to the great Venerable 1 star, the passive defense cannot be broken by the Venerable realm. That's the ordinary Venerable realm, can I? Oh, I'm in the Venerable realm, break your passive defense?" Xiao Yi's eyes flashed. Liu looked at Xiao Yi and pondered. "You are in human form, but your strength is 5 times stronger than that of an average SSS level beastmaster. Maybe you can really break my defense at the Venerable level." Xiao Yi smiled. "I thought so too. According to the training speed of the 2 summoned beasts, they will be able to break through the Venerable realm within a month." Liu's beautiful eyes were gentle as she consoled him. "No matter what, I am your third contracted beast girl, although I cannot conclude a contract with you yet." Xiao Yi understood that his meat would always be his, and he alone would be able to eat it from now on. But becoming stronger through cultivation is the eternal truth of the end times, so Xiao Yi believes that the higher the realm, the better for him. But how to conclude a contract? Template adjuster exploring. SSS level Phantom Cat template incomplete. Problem: 2 pieces of the law of creation are missing and resolved. Problem: realm regression temporarily resolved. Lying quietly in the system space are 14 creation type, 5 dark type, 1 gold type, 1 fire type, and 1 ice type rule fragment crystals. Every crystal flows with the mysterious power of rules. It's time to completely use template and formally sign a contract with her. But what surprised Xiao Yi was that the crystal cores he stored next to these crystals had actually changed. He took out one of the lower grade crystal cores of a Grand Master and saw that there were several strands of taurine of different types flowing on it, and there was also a crack on the surface of the sphere. "What is this?" Liu came closer to take a look, her beautiful eyes widened, and she asked in surprise. "This is the taurine energy that only the supreme level crystal core has. Why does the Grand Master level crystal core also have it?" This left Liu confused even though she was well informed. She still didn't understand the principle behind it. Xiao Yi smiled and said, "The energy level of this crystal core should be too low. It cannot store too much taurine and is about to crack." Storing taurine? Liu was surprised. Xiao Yi nodded and opened his palms to regular fragment crystals suddenly appeared on his broad palms. 2 crystals of creation. The crystal successfully recognized its master. "Master, Xiao Yi." 2 messages were transmitted into Xiao Yi's mind. What is this? The crystallization of rule fragments. Liu's breathing became rapid. Chapter 95, the contract is formally concluded with the third beast girl Liu. The rule fragments crystallized, and Liu knew what this meant to her. It means that her template problem can be solved perfectly. This means that she will be able to practice and upgrade normally in the future. This means that she can sign a contract with Xiao Yi and truly become his third beast girl, instead of just talking about it. Liu, who was usually mature and steady, felt her heart pounding at this moment. She did not rush forward to grab it, but said cautiously, "Xiao Yi, what is this?" Xiao Yi could see the desire in her beautiful eyes, and immediately smiled and said, "As you wish, these are 2 fake rule fragment crystals. Today, you can solve the template problem." Liu was very surprised. She rushed over and kissed Xiao Yi, saying in a soft and numb voice, "You are so good to me, Xiao Yi." Xiao Yi felt the corners of his mouth cool and said, "Go." At a command, 2 pieces of crystal fragments of the rules of creation turned into 2 streams of light and penetrated into Liu's body. The extremely mysterious power of rules spread. Xiao Yi immediately activated the template adjuster function. Template repair function. Suddenly, a vast force descended and enveloped Liu's delicate body. Those rich forces of rules were guided and trimmed, gradually becoming one with Liu, and then completely integrated into the template. SSS level Phantom Cat template upgradable. Template incomplete solved. Fat girl Liu looked at her own slender white hands and felt full of strength in her body. Her beautiful face was filled with joy. She jumped up and hugged Xiao Yi in her arms, saying gratefully, "Xiao Yi, thank you." Xiao Yi's head was wrapped in the proud posture and he felt he couldn't breathe. "You're welcome," Xiao Yi said in a muffled voice. Liu reacted and wanted to let go of Xiao Yi so that he could breathe more freely. Xiao Yi rubbed his head, found a comfortable position, and said, "It's okay. I can hold it for several hours." Liu hugged him, her pretty face flushed, and said, "Kokatha, let's sign a contract." Xiao Yi said in a muffled voice, "Have you really decided to sign a contract with me? There is a 150-year age difference between us. And you are a teaching assistant and I am a student. If this gets out, you will be criticized and looked at differently." If Liu disagrees, he can take back the rule fragment crystal at any time. But Liu's eyes widened and she snorted angrily. "So what? Why should I, Liu, explain to others what I have done in my life? Since I have decided to be your beast girl, I will definitely sign a contract with you." As she spoke, Liu pinched the soft flesh on Xiao Yi's waist, then fiercely rotated it 360 degrees. and said fiercely with a pretty face, "Xiao Yi, do you dislike me because I'm too old? Do you dislike me because I'm an old cow eating young grass?" Xiao Yi gasped in pain, took a few gulps of the milky air, and said in astonishment, "No, when did I dislike you? And, you are not an old cow, you are a dairy cow. If cows don't eat fresh grass, do they eat dry grass? If they eat dry grass, can they still produce milk?" Liu Yajiaoyi snorted, "No matter what you do, I am your beast mother." Then Liu Ya mobilized the power of the contract, presented the template's power of the rules for concluding the contract and urged, "Make a contract with me." Xiao Yi could only honestly sign a contract with her. Congratulations to the host for contracting the third beast girl. SSS level spirit cat template, Liu Ya. Realm. Great Venerable 1 star. Illusionary realm. Within the realm, reality is transformed into illusion, making everything lose the ability to move. Talent skills artistic concept. Hallucination. The self becomes hollow, immune to any attack to a certain extent. Illusion granted. Enemies who are given illusions will have all their senses replaced by illusions and live in an illusion. There is a time limit. Phantom speed increased tenfold. Morphology upgrade function. SSS level spirit cat, first form 9100, second form. Randomly awaken a life concept talent skill. The message from the phantom cat summon beast appeared in his mind. A realm of the venerable and great venerable is the transformation of the power of the Grand Master's artistic conception. When the power of artistic conception changes to a certain degree, it forms a realm and becomes a force. The innate skills and fields of the spirit cat are all illusion related. Xiao Yi carefully read the introduction of the virtual realm and felt it was extremely terrifying. What is illusion? Anything that does not exist is illusion. This realm can pull everything in reality into illusion. The other side. At the gate of the Magic City Academy. On the road leading to the base camp of the actual combat training base, many powerful people in the Venerable Realm and Great Venerable Realm came today, with the number exceeding 50. Brother Shang. Long time no see, I hope you are well. Very good. Senior Sister Shang, you are still as strong as ever. Sister King Kong Barbie. Can you withstand my fist as big as a sandbag? As soon as these people met, they started chatting and it was obvious that they were very familiar with each other. Soon after, a military green pickup truck drove up and 3 burly men got out of it. The deputy director of the actual combat training base, a 10-star Great Venerable. Everyone please move to the base camp, we will receive you there. I'll contact my junior brothers and ask them to come over and have a gathering. That's right, these people are all Yuya's disciples. They appear in pairs and have reached a high level. Just as everyone was getting ready to leave, King Kong Supreme Cheng Gang walked by with a dejected look on his face. When he saw these people, he stopped in surprise. Why do these people look like the disciples Liu Ya taught? But it be that the news of Liu Ya's remarriage has spread everywhere? Am I the only one who knows in the end? Are all these people here to celebrate? Cheng Gang caught a deputy chief and asked, "Why are you all gathered here?" The deputy chief of the 10-star Great Venerable felt familiar with Cheng Gang, the burly man. And then he was startled and hurriedly saluted respectfully. "Greetings to the Supreme." Cheng Gang waved his hand and asked, "Are you going to attend Liu Ya's wedding banquet?" The deputy director was confused. "What? When did my teacher get married? Did she hold a banquet recently? I didn't receive an invitation. We are here to get together and get to know our junior brother." Cheng Gang suddenly realized that he was not the last person to know about Liu Ya's marriage. "Undo as you please." Goodbye, Cheng Gang left. But after hearing what Cheng Gang said, these people started discussing fiercely. "Oh my god, the teacher is married. Such explosive news, why don't we know anything about it? Damn, the teacher has always been pure and innocent. Which bastard got her? Have no idea." They asked each other, but no one knew who the man Liu Yari married was. They believed in the words of King Kong Supreme without a doubt. A supreme being would not spread rumors about such matters. Liu Ya's remarriage is most likely true. A deputy chief raised his hand and said, "Don't panic. At this stage, a junior brother has the most contact with the teacher. We asked the junior brother to come over for a gathering. He definitely knows who it is." Chapter 96 Liu Ya. That person is right in front of you. A few minutes later, at the base camp of the actual combat training base, more than 50 terrifying and powerful men gathered in the huge reception room. Deputy junior brother, quickly called junior brother over here. We can't wait to learn about the teacher's new marriage. So many terrifying and powerful people were looking at the deputy director eagerly. The burly deputy chief took out a communication device, called Xiao Yi, and told him that he was coming to meet his senior brothers and sisters. After hanging up, the deputy chief smiled and said, "Junior brothers will be here soon, everyone wait for a moment." Hearing this, the restless hearts of these 50 or so terrifying strongmen finally calmed down a little. The purpose of their trip has changed. It is not only to visit their junior fellow apprentice, but also to understand the teacher's situation. Someone said angrily. I don't know which guy took down our teacher. Teacher's realm has been stagnant at the great venerable 10 stars and cannot be upgraded. He also has no background. I hope the teacher wasn't forced. In the Magic City, the Supreme Family is the real force, and the great venerable 10 stars is ultimately weaker. When the others heard this, they immediately frowned and said indignantly, that guy dared to do that, I'll hang him up and chop him to pieces. Yes, the teacher has no backers, we are the teacher's backers. That's right. We have at least 20 great venerable 7. If we fight against the Supreme Family, we won't be too weak. On the other side, in the underground training room, Xiaoyi reluctantly left the broad chest. Sister Liuya, can't I not go? Liuya raised her slender fingers in a reproculous manner and tapped Xiaoyi's forehead. You should go and see your fellow disciples when they get together. The disciples Liuya, have trained have always been united and very friendly to each other. Okay then, Xiaoyi nodded. At this time, the breakthrough of the 3-2-ed golden dragon and the 2-tailed white fox has reached a critical stage and is about to reach the 9th star of the Grand Master Yu and needs to stay here and cannot leave for too long. Afterwards, Xiaoyi went to the actual combat training base. At the gate of the base, after Xiaoyi arrived, a guard was already waiting there and then led Xiaoyi to the reception room. Junior brother is here. The deputy chief called out, and everyone present turned their attention. Junior brother, are you the only one here? Where is Junior's sister? I have to say, it's very handsome. Xiaoyi greeted them. Hello, senior brothers and sisters, my name is Xiaoyi. Kong Barbie pulled Xiaoyi into her seat and said with a smile. I am the senior sister, one of the earliest students taught by the teacher. I'm the eldest senior brother, and I'm a contracted pair with your eldest senior sister. A tall and thin man said beside him. Xiaoyi took a look at them and found that there was a huge contrast between the two men. The eldest brother is 1.9 meters tall and as thin as a bamboo pole. The eldest sister, who is the contractor, is a Barbie doll with well-developed muscles. The other seniors then briefly introduced themselves. Xiaoyi responded one by one. The King Kong Barbie senior sister touched Xiaoyi's wrist and said in surprise, wow, 18 years old, at Star Grand Master level. Everyone present was shocked. An 18-year-old Grand Master with 8 stars? The teacher's current disciple was so awesome. What realm were you at when you were 18? I think I was only at the 7th level then. Well, I'm an SS level template, and I'm only at level 5 when I'm a freshman. I am an SSS level template. And I have just entered the Grand Master level when I was a freshman. Junior brother has already reached the 8th level of Grand Master. This talent crushes us. Let alone us, even if the Supreme is present, we can't compare to him. The people present were at least powerful people at the venerable realm, but the way they looked at Xiaoyi changed. This little junior brother would definitely strive to become the Supreme in the future, or even above the Supreme. In their minds, they had several labels for the little junior brother: peerless evildoer, brilliant talent. Handsome. Some of the senior sisters who had already signed the contract were even bolder to speak. If I had met my junior brother back then, I would have definitely taken him down. Is this a serious matter? Those who understand will understand. I am also moved. Senior sister. Xiaoyi's mouth twitched. There's no need to say this. The 3 deputy directors spoke up and asked about the matter. Everyone, please be quiet. The scene suddenly fell silent. Junior brother. There is something very important that we need to confirm with you. A deputy chief smiled warmly. Teacher, has she recently remarried and signed a contract with someone else? Everyone present had expectant looks on their faces. Xiaoyi was surprised. You all know? That's right. Sister Liu is indeed getting married again. When everyone heard the junior brother admitted himself, they were shocked. This was fundamentally different from what the Supreme King Vara said. The eldest sister, King Kong Barbie, grabbed the eldest brother, Skinny, by the neck in disbelief. Others were talking about it, but their attention was still on Xiaoyi. The 3 deputy directors were relatively calm and asked Xiaoyi, who is he? Do we know him? Xiaoyi felt something was not right when he saw the murderous looks from so many of his senior brothers and sisters, so he hesitated for a moment and said vaguely, you know him, but that person. The senior brothers and sisters around him were staring at him, making it a little difficult for Xiaoyi to speak. What if I get beaten? After all, there is a huge age gap between him and Liuya, and he is also Liuya's disciple. Xiaoyi said in a roundabout way, you can go ask Sister Liuya in person, she will tell you in person. The deputy chief frowned. Could that person be very powerful? Junior brother doesn't dare to speak? Who is the person we know who has great power? Vara Supreme. Not really. When I saw him just now, he seemed a little melancholy. Not as happy as a newlywed. The 50 or so terrifying and powerful disciples present discussed it and decided to go see the teacher in person. So many people followed Xiaoyi and set off in a grand manner. Let's go to the Sanzai Lakeview Villa area together. The security guard was shocked to see so many people and rushed forward to stop them after Xiao Yi's introduction. He opened the door with confidence to let everyone pass. In everyone's impression, the teacher's villa is Villa No. 10. But Xiao Yi took them to Villa 1. Xiao Yi informed Liu Ya in advance, and Liu Ya changed her clothes and came out to greet him. Hello, teacher. Teacher, long time no see. Teacher, how are you? More than 50 strong men all saluted and called out their names respectfully and obediently. Liu Ya had a faint smile on her beautiful face. Well, I haven't seen you for many years. And you haven't changed at all. You have come here with such a large force. Our villa cannot accommodate you all. Let's go to the restaurant together. A deputy chief waved his hand and expressed the doubts in everyone's mind. Teacher, we are here this time to know who you are going to marry? Are you forced to marry him? I hope you won't force yourself. We are behind you and we support you. Liu Ya smiled and said, I volunteered. As for my new bride, that person is right in front of you. Chapter 97 Teacher, prove it with a kiss. Far away in the sky, yet close at hand, everyone looked at each other, the eldest brother, the deputy chief, and the second brother. But they all denied these people and started looking among their own people. As for Xiao Yi, no one even looked at him. The age gap is too big, and Xiao Yi is the youngest among them. His contact time with the teacher will not exceed 3 days after the start of school. How could it be Xiao Yi? The corner of Xiao Yi's mouth, which this was too disrespectful to him. He is 18 years old now. But before he traveled through time, he was also a college student, so his total age is 40. Theft. Liu Ya covered her mouth and laughed, feeling it was very interesting, and went straight to the point. Okay. Stop guessing. His name is Xiao Yi, and he's standing right in front of you. Xiao Yi? Which Xiao Yi? Is there someone called Xiao Yi among us? No, the disciples discussed. Wait, the 3 deputy directors who knew Xiao Yi exclaimed, Teacher, this Xiao Yi can't be. Junior brother? The eyes of more than 50 disciples suddenly focused on Xiao Yi, very surprised. Liu gently tapped her white chin, opened her sexy mouth and said, Yes, it's Xiao Yi. Well, is it surprising? The disciples looked at Xiao Yi with serious expressions. Could it be that the junior brother was a shield used by the teacher? In fact, the real culprit was someone else. The teacher must have been forced. We will give the teacher justice. The 3 deputy directors expressed the thoughts of the disciples. Teacher, we don't believe it. Yeah, how is that possible? Junior brother, school has only been started for 3 days. How many times have you met? That's right, unless the teacher proves your relationship. The smile on Liu Ya's pretty face rose for a moment. Proof? That's fine too. In her opinion, these were all disciples who had a good relationship with her. So there was nothing wrong in proving it, and Xiao Yi should not be questioned. So, under everyone's close attention, Liu Ya threw herself into Xiao Yi's arms and they hugged each other. Xiao Yi felt that he was standing proudly and making people feel very comfortable. After the hug, Liu Ya lifted her drooping hair and said with a smile, Do you believe it? But many disciples still didn't believe it and shook their heads. The deputy chief said, Teacher, what does a hug mean? You should at least kiss me. Xiao Yi felt something was not good. Liu Ya was very crazy in private, but with so many people watching in public, she probably wouldn't do such intimate actions. Liu Ya blushed when she heard that. She glanced at Xiao Yi with her beautiful eyes, pouted her sexy lips, stomped her feet and said, One kiss. One kiss. Xiao Yi's identity cannot be questioned, they must face it. So, Liu Ya suppressed her shyness, and under everyone's gaze, she pouted her lips and moved toward Xiao Yi. Wave. Xiao Yi felt very cool, but it disappeared immediately. Liu Ya glared and said, Lit beauty. Little King Kong, how about it, do you believe it? Many disciples were stunned. Their eyes widened. How deep does the teacher have to hide, and at such a great cost? That person is so powerful that the teacher dare not reveal a single word. They still didn't believe it. The deputy chief shook his head and was about to say something, but Liu Ya glared at him with her beautiful eyes. And he was so scared that he shut up decisively. But the eldest sister, King Kong Barbie, was the most familiar with Liu Ya. She felt that what the teacher said might be true, but she could not be completely sure. It's just a kiss, and it breaks apart in an instant. What's the big deal? Teacher, kiss me. Is that all you want? Kiss me, I can do that too. As she spoke, the muscular senior sister, King Kong Barbie, came toward Xiao Yi and was about to kiss Xiao Yi. Xiao Yi stepped back in fear and waved his hands hastily. Big sister. No need, big brother, you don't care about your wife. Unexpectedly, a tall and thin big brother raised his lips and said teasingly, It's just a kiss, I agree. Damn. Many disciples were shocked by his magnanimity. Damn, Xiao Yi's mouth twitched. That's not necessary. That's not necessary, senior sister. The corners of Liu Ya's beautiful eyes twitched, and she stopped the senior sister of the disciples and glared at her. Little King Kong, You are getting more and more arrogant, you even want to get your hands on the teacher's man. No way, this is my Liuya's man. Isn't it enough to just wave once? How else do I need to prove it? Xiao Yi scratched his head, and an idea suddenly came to him. He thought of a way that could definitely prove his identity. Suddenly Xiao Yi widened his eyes and felt a gust of fragrant breeze coming from his nose. It was Liuya, who rushed over again and gave him a wet French kiss. Soon, Xiao Yi felt his teeth broken and a small fish slipped in. Wow! This shot Xiao Yi Liuya was too bold. 10 minutes. A full 10 minutes. Looking at the two people who were still continuing, many disciples fell silent. The eldest sister said, "They can't be real." Deputy Chief, 9 out of 10. Senior brother, it is likely to be, but there is also a chance it is not. It's still going on. Another 2 minutes passed before Yuya finally let go of Xiao Yi and said to everyone, "Do you believe it?" Many disciples remained silent. Even though they did not want to believe it, they had to believe it now. However, they did have doubts in their hearts. At this time, a disciple of the Venerable Realm said, "Teacher, you are an SSS level Spirit Cat template. You and your junior brother can summon the Spirit Cat summoning beast. We will definitely believe it." His words made all the disciples' eyes light up, and they quickly echoed, "Yeah, why didn't I think of such a simple method? Hey, teacher, do you dare to summon a phantom cat? You are still my junior brother. This is really just a shield you put forward." Liuya was a little angry after being denied again and again by many disciples. She pouted and wiped the saliva off it, not knowing whether it was hers or Xiao Yi's. "Xiao Yi, come on. That's exactly what I meant." Xiao Yi nodded. The method he just thought of was to summon the contracted beast. Immediately afterwards, Xiao Yi immobilized the power of the contract. The surging energy of illusion spread out from the two people, and all the factors around them seemed to be pulled into the illusion and became unreal. An invisible and upright phantom cat appears. Its body is between illusion and reality, switching between the two forms. When the real phantom cat summoned beast appeared before their eyes, all the disciples present wide in their eyes and swallowed their saliva with a gurgle. Really? Junior brother is really the teacher's new marriage partner. This is too fantastical. My junior brother has just reached adulthood. You can't call me junior brother anymore. You should call me Mr. Xiao. Junior brother, no, Mr. Xiao. This damned man actually captured our pure and innocent teacher. All the disciples finally believed Liuya's words completely. Xiao Yi is indeed the teacher's new marriage partner. The great venerable spirit cat snorted, looked around, and snorted coldly. "Believe it. Just believe it. Since you have witnessed my wedding with Xiao Yi, please hand over the congratulatory gifts. One for each of you. Or you won't be able to leave." When many disciples heard this, they immediately wailed, "I forgot to bring the gift." Chapter 98. Liuya was shy. "It's obviously you who likes it. Why do you say you like it?" Everyone changed their positions. In the luxurious private room of the Magic City restaurant, Liuya, Xiao Yi and a group of disciples gathered here. As the waiter served the dishes and wine, Liuya repeated what she had said before, "Come one by one and hand over your gifts." These people made her smell the evil. It's time to show some reprimand. Some people wailed again, and some echoed, "There are no wedding gifts prepared at all." "That's right, we didn't do anything. How about sacrificing my kidney?" "Who wants your kidneys? Go away." The attitudes of those disciples at the great venerable level were different. They came up one after another. First came the eldest brother and eldest sister. They came up holding a camera, and took out a glowing night pearl with a smile, saying, "Teacher, this is a treasure. It can add some atmosphere when you play with your junior brother at night." As she spoke, the King Kong Barbie senior sister activated the night pearl. In an instant, the pearl floated up, emitting a pink romantic light. When the pink light shone on people, Xiao Yi felt much better. It not only adds to the atmosphere, but also has auxiliary functions. The skinny eldest brother grinned. Liuya's pretty face darkened, and a hint of disdain appeared at the corners of her red lips. "This is a serious thing. No, you take it." Suddenly her red lips were blocked by Xiao Yi's hand. Xiao Yi put away the night pearl and said with a smile, "This thing is very good. We accepted it. This thing is helpful to him." Seeing that he liked it, Liuya did not try to stop him, but just glared at Xiao Yi. The skinny senior brother showed a look that you know, and said with a smile, "Junior brother, teacher, we want to record your happy moment. Can you appear on camera?" He pointed to the camera, which was ready to take pictures. "Okay. Let's take a picture as a souvenir." Liuya and Xiao Yi appeared in the camera. The skinny senior brother suggested, "Teacher, junior brother, you are too far away. Get closer, be more intimate." Liuya blushed. "Be more intimate?" She shook her head hastily. But Xiao Yi smacked his lips. The last time Liuya kissed him, he was so stunned that he didn't appreciate the kiss carefully. Now is a chance. We should take the initiative and confuse Liuya. Liu widened her beautiful eyes. Xiao Yi suddenly came closer. His handsome face filled her entire vision. Then she was kissed forcibly. What's wrong with you? As her mouth was blocked. Liu's voice was muffled and unclear. Suddenly, she trembled violently and became confused. Xiao Yi attacked, broke her teeth, and found Xiao Yu. Tasted carefully. The sweet taste is like ice cubes on a hot day. Sweet and smooth. Liu was completely confused. Fuck, junior brother is so brave. All the disciples who were drinking and eating in the box were stunned. The 3 deputy directors didn't even notice that the food they were picking up from their chopsticks had fallen off. The eldest brother who was holding the camera was so stunned that he even forgot to press the shutter. After a long silence, a violent voice broke out. Oh my god, junior brother, you are awesome. Junior brother, you are a role model for our generation. This in hundreds of years. He is the first person who dares to tease the teacher like this. The most beautiful teaching assistant Liu was the goddess in their hearts. She was a pure snow lotus from the Tianshan mountains that no one dared to touch, but now this holy lotus has been picked. After 10 minutes, Liu pushed Xiao Yi away feebly. Her beautiful eyes scolding, you bastard. Xiao Yi wiped the saliva from the corner of his mouth, not knowing whose it was. Is the shooting finished? Xiao Yi asked. The elder brother's thin face turned red. And he said awkwardly, teacher, younger brother, how about you try it again? I just remembered being shocked and forgot to press the shutter. Skinny monkey, you. Liu glared at him with her beautiful eyes. Her lips swollen from kissing him. How could you forget? Xiao Yi looked at her. Do you want to do it again? Liu shook her head hurriedly, covered her mouth with her slender hands, and said coquettously, no. No, if you kiss me again, my mouth will be broken. Xiao Yi discussed. We should be grateful for what we have received. The eldest brother has given us a wedding gift. Let's just take some ordinary photos to satisfy our hunger. No, what if it breaks? Just take a picture. Liu firmly disagreed. Also, skinny monkey, little King Kong, stop calling me junior brother. Xiao Yi is older than you. You have to call me Mr. Xiao. Okay then, teacher. Mr. Xiao. The thin eldest brother was annoyed that he had not done his job well and forgot to press the shutter. Finally, a double headshot was taken, a normal photo with both of them smiling. The next people to hand in the gifts were the 3 deputy directors, who smiled and presented 3 great masters, top-grade crystal cores. Teacher, Mr. Xiao. To stay in the training base all year round there is nothing good here, only this kind of vulgar things. I hope you don't despise it. Liu's beautiful eyes lit up after her template was restored. She would need resources for cultivation. These crystal cores just satisfied her needs. So she collected them. It's a nice gift, Xiao Yi said with a smile. 3 brothers. I may come to the training base more often in the future, and I may trouble you. Under Yuya's gaze, the 3 deputy directors were ashamed and lowered their postures and said, Mr. Xiao, you are older than us, we are younger than you. Just call us junior deputy. Yes, you can call me Xiao Fu. Xiaoer, or Xiao San. Yes, but please don't call me senior brother. Mr. Xiao. If the students of the Magic City Academy saw them like this, they would definitely be shocked. The 3 famous guardians of our Magic City Academy actually humbled themselves and treated a young man with respect. Well, deputy, waiter, and 3rd officer, your gifts are very good and we accept them. Xiao Yi nodded and accepted them gladly. The 3 deputy directors smiled, clasped their fists, and returned to their seats. Next, more than 50 pairs of disciples came forward to hand in their gifts. The way they addressed Xiao Yi changed from junior brother to Mr. Xiao, and their tone of voice was respectful. Mr. Xiao, you have no shortage of common things. This is the Vara indestructible pill. I hope Mr. Xiao likes it. Teacher, Mr. Xiao. This is an encyclopedia of postures, a masterpiece of artificial intelligence. Teacher, this is a night warmer. If you apply it, you don't need to drink boiled water. Mr. Xiao. This is a top-grade crystal core of the Venerable. Teacher, Mr. Xiao. This is the crystal core of the Great Venerable. As the gifts were presented one by one, Liu's pretty face turned redder and redder, and she said shyly in her heart, oh, these students are so frivolous. What kind of gifts are they giving? Xiao Yi accepted them one by one with a smile on his face, cheering loudly as he accepted them. Crystal core. Good, this is good. The Vara pill, your teacher likes it very much. Posture encyclopedia. Liu likes this one even more. Liu stamped her feet, pouted her pink lips and glared at Xiao Yi. The look in her eyes, as clear as autumn waters, seemed to be saying, it's obviously you who likes it. Why do you say I like it? It's so embarrassing. Chapter 99. Teacher likes these the most. Please keep giving me gifts next time. Sister Liu. We all understand you very well and know what you like. Xiao Yi raised his eyebrows at Liu with a smile. Liu's beautiful eyes were dim. What? When did she start to like these things? 10 minutes later, more than 50 pairs of contractors and disciples finally handed over their gifts and returned to the dining table to drink and eat happily. Teacher, Mr. Xiao, do you like the gifts we gave you? Someone shouted. And everyone's attention was once again focused on Liuyo and Xiaoyi. Xiaoyi curled his lips, leaned over to Liuya and blew into her ear. Teacher assistant. Everyone gave us these gifts to celebrate our contract, you can't just say you don't like them, right? Liuya's mouth twitched and she thought to herself. What a little rascal. But she couldn't let down the faces of so many disciples, so she rolled her eyes at Xiaoyi and said to the disciples with a smile. I like it. Xiaoyi and I both like it very much, thank you all for the gifts. Xiaoyi followed up and said, hey, your teacher likes these the most, you can give these as gifts next time. The eyes of many disciples below lit up, and some slapped their thighs and said regretfully. Oh, so the teacher likes those. I actually gave him a crystal corret, it's all my fault that I wasn't prepared. What a pity. Me too. I happen to have a book of knowledge postures at home, the teacher will definitely like it if I give it to him. Alas, it's just a vulgar gift. I can only give you something that the teacher likes next time. They didn't think there was anything wrong with it. Giving the teacher something he liked was the right thing to do. They were all experienced people, and they didn't think it was wrong to like these things after all. They were newlyweds, so why not do these things, sleeping in separate beds? Liuya heard all the frank words of these disciples. In an instant, Liu Yuxi's delicate face was full of blushes, which went all the way to the back of her originally white and small ears. Others